So we're here. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I know I am. And I'm here today with a glorious guest. This is Hines, a fairly regular dude in the chat. I say that modestly. Very
Hello,
regular.
hello.
Yeah. Hines reached out to me and wanted to do
How are you doing?
Introduce yourself then.
Well, I am. I guess I'm a regular member of chat, and I reached out to Len, seeing if he'd be interested in having me on, and he hit me up earlier today, because he's or yesterday,
Yeah.
because he's got a professional operation going on, and here we are today.
Oh yeah, I was very was very respectful to your time with that request. Now, yesterday I felt like shit, man. You stay. It's that similar feeling where you stayed up for too long and you have to drive somewhere. It was that kind of feeling, and I just was not in the mood for Phil. And I didn't want to have me screaming at Phil, and even though he deserves it, but so I just but I wanted to make sure to do something on Wednesday, and I realized, hey, I got to watch this full interview with Craig, and so I was like, hey, I know someone who could help me out with that. And you're endangering your family? Oh, for being associated with me? That's true. You are you've toxified yourself now.
Oh boy.
So you're gonna get a super hound chasing you down.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'll keep an eye out for swatting.
Oh.
And hopefully the Dents will send me some fun emails too.
I hope so. I wish I could get some fan mail from these dudes. Even K Styles won't respond to me. Man, I shit on him on Twitter all the time and he never responds. Bums me out. How's it going, Sandman Sequence? Oh, Throku. But did you catch the stream last night?
I did not. I do not believe so.
Okay, cool. So you can enjoy this moment too. So this is a DSP finally pulled a Hogan, and I wanted to watch this. I actually haven't seen any part of this, but I've just seen people saying this is some of the most intense cringe he's been up to recently. So I thought that'd be fun to start off with that before we get into the interview proper. Shout outs to proper. And don't sip the clone vat juice. That shit's toxified. It's just liquid gout. All right, so let's get cracking on it. DSP, Hines, you don't understand how serious your situation is. There'll be god. It's just violence being advocated in chat. Let's see it. Mega cringe then. All right, I'm here for it. You better have emailed about having him on. I did. Okay. I DM'd him on Twitter and he got pissed off.
Right now, baby. 6-star. It is a 6-star. Who is it? Who's the 6-star? Unbelievable. Unbelievable pull. It's Macho Man Randy Savage.
Look at this goofball.
Yeah. But he's not that good anymore.
Yeah, it's not that good. Macho Man sucks.
Savage used to be good like 3-4 years ago.
Ever since they took away. Yeah, 6-star, man. It should still be good. Your game sucks, Phil, if 6 stars aren't good.
Randy Savage, we pulled. Oh, yeah. 6-star.
Well, big ups, well swayed. Thank you, taking L's. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you. Continue.
Is there anyone who...
There you go.
You're okay.
All right.
Is there anyone who can explain, like,
yes, it's when he was a heel, remember?
Why is this 6-star Randy Savage not good compared to another 6-star character? Like, can someone explain that?
I can't explain it definitively, but my guess would be it's something kind of like what happened with Gundam Battle Operation 2, because I've been playing that game since it first came out, and that was about that's roughly the same amount of time DSP's been playing WWE Champions, and what happened with that game is that you had the kind of rarity system there as well, and they were very much testing the waters with characters. And then as they added more and more characters, you saw a power creep, and a very, very distinct power creep. So the rare units from when the game first released are complete crap. No one uses them anymore because of that power creep. So I imagine it's probably something like that. How's it going, Kitty?
I'm just waiting for the 7-star to drop.
Yeah, we need 7 stars to just completely change the formula.
He was a big heel. Okay.
Was he a heel? I always thought Macho Man was like a good
8
guy.
to go. 8 pulls to go, folks. Here we
I
go.
don't follow
Who's
wrestling.
next? Another. Okay, we need another 6-star bronze right
He
now.
was a
That'd be
heel
amazing.
during
Another
the
one.
the
Yes,
Mega
another
Power
one. Who is it?
storyline with
6-star
Hulk
bronze,
Hogan.
unbelievable pull. It is
Who's this?
Captain Lou Albano.
Who?
He used to be a wrestler. And
You
then
can't
they
just
turned
make
him
people
into
up,
a
Phil.
manager. He excelled at both, and then he became
Cards
the
don't
live
age like
action
Total
Super
Wine. That's
Mario.
beautiful.
Now, in reality, he's not great.
Yeah, he sucks. It's an
There are
ass,
certain
man.
events where you need him, and he's been very useful in the game. So it's
Wait
actually.
a minute, I
I'm
just
just
noticed
laughing
something. What
'cause
the hell
he's
is Dio doing here? What's up?
I'm just like, I'm watching this and I'm like, what pleasure is there?
Oh man, this
Like,
game sucks.
there's nothing
dude.
to say.
This game sucks. It's so perfectly on brand with DSP that he would dump so much money in such a shitty game. There's tons of mobile games that are, well, I don't know about tons of them. There's bound to be a couple mobile games that are actually cool, and there's bound to be far more free-to-play games that are more worth your while. This game's ass.
He's a really good yellow,
Does
yellow
anyone
gem
know
guy,
one worse than this?
showboat.
Yeah, what's
So, hey,
yes,
we're
yes, I
getting
do.
unbelievable
Monopoly Go.
6-star pulls. This
From
is
what I
cool.
understand,
We
Monopoly
actually got
Go
a
is the
few
most
good pulls
insipid
tonight,
game
I would
ever.
argue. All right. All right.
He was a
Let's
stoner
continue.
who loves Slim Jims? Oh, then I like him already.
Wow.
All right, seven pulls left. Stupid currency. 6 pulls left. Come on, brother. Oh yeah, it's a Stone Cold vest. 5
And
left.
Hines,
Here
don't
we
be
go.
afraid to just yell over me,
Give me
man,
his
because
5-star
you know
gold.
I will
It is
talk
a
forever.
5-star
Just
gold.
scream
Who is
over
he?
me. It's cool.
5-star gold. Oh, brother!
where's Trunks?
Oh, brother!
Thanks for the info. What year was that? When
Oh,
did he win the
yeah,
King of the
we
Ring?
did it! All you Hulkamaniacs out there, all you Philomaniacs, we did it! We pulled our first Hogan live on stream! Hollywood Hulk Hogan! Yes!
This is really sad.
Yes, we did it, brother! We did it! Folks, we did it! We pulled our first Hogan. Let's get some likes. Let's get some super
This
chats.
is
Let's
so
get some
shady.
memberships. Let's get some tips. Let's get a big celebration going for our first Hogan
When you
ever
actually
here
want it
tonight
to be
on
clown
the
mode.
WWE Champions stream,
This ain't
brother.
clown mode. This is real euphoria.
This is pathetic, man. He also doesn't get the whole nature of the meme of Hogan pulling. I brought this up on Twitter. It's like DSP doesn't get the joke. He doesn't get any joke, really. The joke isn't about Hogan. No one actually gives a shit about Hogan. What it is, it's about the addiction, you know, and everyone knows who Hulk Hogan is, so you just say pulling Hogan's. It would be completely different. It was like pulling whoever that last dude was. You know, no one knows who that guy is. That's not true. But you know, I don't know who he is. I'm a normie. But I know who Hogan is. But DSP doesn't get it. He thinks that this is celebratory. No, it's really sad.
If this was like a physical collection, I could actually get it in some way, and there was actually some real rarity to it. Obviously, because there's figurine collections. People collect figurines.
Yeah.
What happens? What's he gonna do when the servers shut down? Because he obviously didn't sell that third account.
No.
You know.
No, he didn't sell it. That's a lie. So, okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. That even amongst the tier list of dumb things to spend money on, which, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't spend my money on dumb things. At least I can show you physically what I have. Like, I can go get my folder full of magic cards and hold it up to camera and look at this one. This one's really rare, and I can twist it around and you can see all the holographic foiling on it. It's something. This is just pixels, bro, and they're not even permanent pixels. They're going to go away someday. Say what you will, but we finally found something even dumber than what are they called? The big headed things with the black eyes. God, Funko Pops. I know a lot of people think Funko Pops are dumb. I'm kind of one of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is worse. This is far
No,
stupider.
but they have resale value.
Yeah, you know, and people
Yeah.
will have the ability to show you them. You can't put this on your bookshelf.
Come on, brother. Arrow Squirrel just gifted
Yeah.
5 memberships to the
Yeah,
community.
economics, exactly.
Congrats
This is,
to Boba
this
Jet,
is some
Ashton, Chip
weird,
Bear, Soap, Steven
life
Higgins,
breathed
Wonder
into
Cash,
Phil
and
here.
MyMonk91. Congratulations to all of you.
The
Let's get some more
Philomania
going.
shirt's
Come
gross
on.
to me.
Let's
Like,
get it going right here tonight. We
Philomania
got
just
our
sounds
first
creepy.
Hogan ever. 5-star gold Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Holy
Philomania.
shit.
It sounds like something that Derek would be interested in.
In reality,
worse than NFTs,
he's a
kind of, because
good
at least you can
fighter,
sell them
but
for
he's
something.
one of
Well,
the
you
best
could.
trainers in the entirety of the game. He is.
I
Basically,
didn't watch
whenever you
Pokemon
break
past,
gems,
I think,
you
the
get
second movie,
double
Stefan.
the amount of MP towards your
Not that I had
special
anything
moves
against it, I
if
just
you have
didn't
him
watch
as a
him.
trainer. So we just get that's a really good pull. He's super useful.
Pulling them loose,
Thank
yeah,
you to the
exactly.
Shin Black.
We're
Gifted a
pulling
membership to the community. It went to
John
Sejong
Cena's.
the Great. Congrats. Woo!
Should go.
Do the NW
What do you mean he's paying for 2 graphic artists? What is he paying them with? There's no way he's actually paying people for anything.
Man.
Oh,
Well,
I
that was
understand what he's saying. He's saying indirectly. The
We're not done
DSP is
yet.
basically keeping some of these artists employed by doing all these polls. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. I actually would not be surprised if Scopely knows about Phil and actually includes him in their meetings or whatever, or discusses them. They say, hey, man, this guy, Dark Side Phil, the guy who masturbated? Yeah, that guy. That guy is playing our game like crazy, and he's getting back into it. He's on his 3rd account right now. We got to make sure he gets a Hogan. Pull the lever.
We still have 4
he might
more
be
polls.
one
We're
of
not
the
done
bigger
yet.
whales.
All right.
He is. He's one of their
When
top
he-
whales.
Like,
Man, we
we've
got a
seen-
Hogan. That's
yeah,
pretty
but
epic.
we've seen
that
it
we got a
before,
Hogan.
like when TJ
Absolutely.
Gamebox
Well, let's
reports on
seriously.
it. He's
Let's
only
get some
in
support
like
for the stream
40th
for pulling our first
place.
Hogan ever.
There's
We
like
got over
39
200
people ahead
likes.
of him,
Let's get it to
at least
250.
usually.
Let's get some super chats.
But think about the nature of
there's bigger
leaderboards,
whales.
though. Think about the nature of leaderboards. I would say if I ran a business, I'm very interested in, say, the top 200. Because you still have to put in some money to even get in, say, like 90th place. And DSP, if he's getting past 40, he's dumping some money on this shit. Now, I bet the top whale is just writing checks for, 20 grand every day. But this is still really outrageous.
It's life-changing money that he throws away.
It is. I would think that it's a good thing people don't know about Phil more. Hey, big ups, Biga. It's a good thing people don't know more about Phil because I think that a lot of people would get pissed about this because, you've got people out there who don't know where their next meal is going to come from. I was there at one point in my life. And this dickhead is just dumping, new car money into this shit. That's insane. I'm feeling better, Casper. Thank you very much. All right, DSP, continue with your Hogan rhetoric.
Let's do it. Are we ready? Everyone,
told Champions he could have bought a decent Lego set for stream and not asked for one like an e-thought on it. Dude, that's so pathetic, man. You could have bought a really badass one. You could have bought like the old Death Star,
Come on.
That'd been kind of cool.
All right, we got to continue. You ready? We got to continue.
Is that why he lost all his hair, Game Master? That shit is stressful.
All right, let's do it. That was too. All right, 4 more to go. Here we go.
Well, it's not going to be the same thing.
Oh,
sweet boots.
Okay, 3. Give me a
Are those like an
character.
equipment?
Yes.
You equip them to your dudes?
5-star gold new character. 5-star gold. Who's it going to be? 5-star gold.
Native
Who is it?
Mamba, are
It's
you a collector of
DX Triple H.
sports cards?
We've completed the tag team of DX Triple H and DX HBK. This Triple H is pretty good.
I never really got
especially
into
for lower
sports
tier
cards. I was
players.
too much of a
He's
nerd
not
about
good
it.
in
I
that
thought, like,
meta of
well,
the game
on the back
policy
of their
anymore,
stats, what does that
excuse me?
mean? Like, if he
Alright.
has a higher batting average, does he have a higher
But
tax
he's still
stat? What does
pretty
that
good.
mean?
That's not a bad
My dad
pull
would
at
just
all.
roll his eyes.
All right. DX Triple H.
I don't know, man. I was like, can I fuse
Alright.
my batters together like
Continuing
Blue
on.
Eyes White
2
Dragon
more to
during
go.
Blue Eyes Ultimate
No
Dragon?
character.
How does
Nope.
that work?
Unbelievable.
I'm a fuse
It's just
my
shards of a head
Babe
string,
Ruth
big
with my
deal.
Ken Griffey
And the
Jr.
final
He's
poll,
basically unstoppable at
Here
this
it comes.
point.
Give me a character for the final poll. Yes. Who's it gonna be?
They should do that. That'd be kind
5-star,
of
at least
sick.
5-star silver here. I'm not even gonna
Battle
talk to you. I'm gonna let
baseball,
the game do
the
it.
new card game,
5-star silver. No,
instantly bankrupt.
Ah.
DSP would like it. He'd dump money in that.
Oh.
You could get the Millennium Falcon if you wanted, the big one. Yeah. Like, he could have gotten some cool shit. Oh, wait. I just lost Hines. Where'd he go?
That was terrible.
Oh, there he is.
That's the last pull.
Minosky particle interference.
That was absolutely
Yeah, exactly.
terrible.
Honeymoon in
I thought the
Japan.
last
Like,
pull
this dude
was
could have gone to
good.
Japan and balled out. And
Go. I got
he doesn't get it. He doesn't know how to actually have revenge on people. Because that's revenge. We could talk all this shit about, he's spending all this money on WWE Champions. But if DSP went to Japan and started just live streaming from the street, in the middle of Akihabara, and he's got Cat there, he's like, shout outs to the trolls. You're not on vacation in Japan right now, fucking losers. I'll be like, hey, you kind of got me there. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but when DSP's begging for money while dying in Wukong, that's not revenge. That's not victory. It's pathetic. And that was pathetic. That dude got so hyped for that. He got his Hogan, he got his dopamine. Everyone got to see him freak out and kind of have a little miniature seizure. That really. Philomania. Such a gross sounding name because Phil is Latin for love. So, what is it? Love-a-mania? No, I don't think I want to be part of Love-a-mania. That sounds kind of upsetting. Dale's probably there already. Time for men and all. All right, you ready for the interview? You said you watched this already?
So yes, I did watch. Well, I didn't watch it. I listened to it. And I gotta say, the fact that Craig stayed through this for even more than 30 minutes is just a testament to his patience. And he really could have been a mini John 2.0.
He's really good.
If Phil and him got along, because he's clearly a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. He is Phil, kind of a dickhead about certain things, but with Phil, he's never been nothing but kind.
Exactly. And Phil is just at his worst here. Because if you go back and you listen to the interview, it's basically Craig and what was the other guy's name?
Adam.
The one who really grilled him well. Adam, thank you. It was these two basically trying to extract the first step in solving his addiction, which is just admitting that he was an addict. Mm-hmm. And he was denying that he was an addict the whole time.
Yes.
And they were using that word, addict. And just the way that Phil is just playing this at this point is just... He just is lost. I'm stunned. But go ahead.
No, I was going to add on to that is that because you're absolutely right. The addict angle was the correct angle that they were going with here because DSP does remind me of a crackhead or a drug addict or any sort of addict. You know, they'll find ways to justify whatever they're doing. You know, I had a hard day today, so I'm going to smoke some crack. Well, actually, I had a really good day, so I'm going to celebrate with some crack. You know, it doesn't matter. And so addicts, they don't want to be told that they have a problem. They always want someone to just be agreeing with them. And that's what he was hoping that Adam and Craig would do. It's like, oh, you're an addict? That's cool, man. And he got that from the Kino dudes. They love it. Go for it. Be an addict. We don't care. So, yeah, he's got his enablers.
But this is the thing, I guess, sliding into this topic just for now, on this one brief moment. It's for an addict to really try and stop. It's a scary thing. So you have to have someone that you know, that you can trust, that you can go to for help for things. And Phil just doesn't have that. He doesn't have a support network to even start. So,
no, he chased everyone off, man. He chased off every single person who could have potentially cared about him. And he still tries to chase them off. Like okay, King Be Cruel. All he really did was say, hey, DSP, you're kind of coming off a little silly right now. That was his sin, was saying, Phil, you're coming off silly. And DSP wanted him dead. What? That's still a support network. It's still a support network to have someone tell you that you're coming off a little silly. Doesn't want him. He only wants enabling. The Roku, an answer to your question, what's your theory? Do you think Kat and his parents know about WWE Champions or not? I would guess that Kat knows. I would assume that she would have to know just being there for so long. Unless she has to have some sort of super willful ignorance to not know that DSP is dumping all this money on stupid shit. And it could very well be that...
What can she do about it?
Nothing.
What can she do about it? She don't pay the bills.
And you know DSP would just wear her down into basically being okay with it. He would say, "Well, I work all day, and I'm
That's where we're
I'm
at.
feeding you, and I'm
That's where we're at.
feeding you, and you're fat asses, whatever." And he does it anyway. Now, his parents, I don't think so. I don't think his parents know. He said that he used to call his mom every week. I haven't heard him talk about calling his mom in years, so I don't think she knows shit. All right, Ray. All right, let's get it cracking. I still can't believe how he thinks the interview was another. I've been saying it for years, and everyone else has been saying it for years before me, that DSP is crazy. And it's kind of hard to really think about it, but yeah, DSP is actually completely mentally unwell. This interview we're about to watch, man, I would have laid low for a couple weeks after this. DSP came away, thought he was the winner. All right, let's see you're winning.
The hate army trick. It's the hate army, bro.
Hate army. Well, like you already have. But for me, I feel like I've been perpetually stuck
Oh, that's
in
true,
this
bud.
one spot for a very long time. And the only way that I can get out of this spot is to essentially move past the baggage. And that's what we're trying to do. My hair
Craig right there is
like
looking pretty
3 days.
suspicious of that claim right there.
It's bothering me. This right here, this patch has been sticking up for 3 days and will not go down no matter what I do.
Yeah, exactly,
I don't use
Nana
hair
Mama.
gel. Usually
He
it's not
says
an
it because
issue.
he
I don't
wants to
really
give
go
off
out
the
in a
impression of
weird
looking
direction or
like a
something.
nice kid. Honestly,
I know,
for
it's
real,
stupid.
I
Why
don't
do
call
I
my
care about
parents
how
that
I look,
often
right?
because
It's
they're
dumb,
busy
dumb.
as shit.
Anyway,
They're doing their own thing.
Okay, hold on. I think I've
Yeah,
done
and he
it,
thinks that he was
but
treating them
hold on, I have
nicely,
to see
Lackey
if,
Bracky.
well, I'm on screen.
I wish we could
he's
hack
such
that.
a good...
Oh,
How do
God.
I invite him?
Hines disappeared again.
Hold on.
Where'd you go? Oh, there he is. Oh,
Hello,
how'd you get
sir.
over there?
Hello, how are you?
Ack.
Whoa. Oh, we cannot. Can anyone hear Craig?
Um,
I cannot hear Craig, so let
Craig
me see. I
died.
have technical issues here.
and DSP and I are both having technical issues. There he is.
Can you guys hear Craig? Because I can't hear
That was weird. We had 2 technical issues going off
No.
at once.
That's,
Okay,
so
hold
this
on.
is
Maybe he's
on my
muted.
end. I'm still trying to figure out
You can figure
a
this
good
out.
setup for me on this, so
Hold
I
on.
apologize.
Very cool, man. There's no audit here. He already hid for a year because of Craig. Yeah. And then he comes in swinging at Craig. Craig didn't even know there was a battle going on. Oh, god dang, DSP. Why can't you try this shit out before... Oh, where'd he go? DSP's got his cloaking device on.
You guys can't hear him? I can't. Craig, I cannot hear you.
Why don't you
we're
just
not sure what's
call
going
your
on.
wife, DSP?
It's not
Test this
showing
out. I was going to say the
anything
stream
here. It's very
fucked up, but
odd,
of course it was
because
Phil's fault. It is.
It's not playing audio through Discord either.
Phil needs to get his shit together.
Like, it's not showing you talking at all. As if your microphone's not working in Discord right now. See, if you were talking in Discord and it was working, the border around you would turn green. See how it turns green on you?
Yes, Phil, we see that.
Let's try that. Is that better?
There you are. There you are.
Exactly, like
In-
Greg,
in all
get him out
I
of
defense-
there.
don't use Discord very
What's up?
often.
In all defense of
Um,
Phil, I had my
It's
own
all good.
Discord
You
difficulties
probably use
just
it more
now,
than me, and I've made
but
a million
I don't get
mistakes
paid
with Stick,
$100,000 for
dude,
this.
No, it
boomers,
happens.
right?
It
Trying to
happens,
use
but it also
technology
shouldn't
like-
happen as often. DSP has technical
Yeah,
issues
right.
every time he
Alright,
tries to do
so
something
first of
new.
all, I
Every
think I can
time.
make you a little louder. Let's see, because
You would
I'll
think.
turn
You would
my
think.
clip up real quick. Is
Hey,
that better?
okay.
I have a history of
Is that
having
better?
problems with technology.
Check,
Maybe
check,
I should
check.
give myself some
how's he
extra
sounding,
time.
guys? I can hear
Never
him now. Can
cursed
you guys
him.
hear him?
Never.
Good.
Good.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Cool.
Finally.
All right. So.
All right, now commence the
I think we're
screaming.
Good. We're full screen.
Just like it feels like yesterday, Phil.
Which yesterday?
Man,
we
I
were
hate
hanging
DSP's
out
talk show
like
host
15,
laugh.
16 years ago.
Oh,
at
that's so
Magfest,
good of
or
you, Craig. That's
yesterday when I was
veritable.
on your
Anyway,
podcast.
commercial
I mean,
break.
we actually have a history that a lot of people don't know
Hate
the
that
whole
shit.
history. You know what I mean?
That's his most
So-
annoying
so-
laugh. What's up?
I mean, I guess, but at the same, like, I got to be honest, 15, 16 years, I don't remember
I know.
much of that, right? So if you say we were hanging out, then we hung out. So I mean, we
Yeah,
probably
exactly,
played a few
Ramen
games
Brahma. He
together, I
thinks that
imagine,
these
over the
interviews
weekend.
are some sort of
Right. yeah, and
I
you know,
guess
actually,
duel?
if you remember, I was a guest.
He's
at,
dueling Craig right now.
Screw
Of course, he
Technique
wins
in-
every duel.
In 2012,
he's like Kaiba.
2013, I was actually a featured guest. I even was one of the finalists at the Iron Man.
And this is the
gaming
issue.
competition we had.
The Iron Man of gaming, yes.
you-
that
if you
was
could pause quickly.
so far.
Yeah,
ahead
yeah,
of
I
The
its
gotcha.
time.
whole
What's-
way he's just going, the whole way that he's going into this conversation is not at all to reconcile. I mean, he advertised this as a confrontation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So this was a completely, I mean, especially for Craig, this was a complete waste of fucking time.
Yes, yeah. If you look at it from the perspective of what they could have gained from all this and what they ended up gaining, I mean, Craig, even though Craig comes away with the W, he didn't get anything from this. Not really. I guess maybe he got the capacity to defend himself from some of his shitty claims, but really, you know, it's status quo for Craig. DSP definitely didn't come away with anything. So, yeah, it was pretty pointless. And you're absolutely right. It's not a reconciliation. It's an inquisition. Answer for your crimes, Craig. Willie?
No ketchup
I'm
for you,
also
Morgana.
still being 20 years too late.
Who has ketchup on their shawarma?
People are saying your
Mods,
mine's still a little low.
you know what
Is there
to
any way
do.
you can boost it anymore?
Yeah, sure. Let me see what I can do on my end. Let's see.
You got shekels in the after show, I guess.
So I don't use Discord very
I suppose
often.
I suppose that
Kind
counts.
of
Yeah.
go into my settings here and check things out.
Yeah, it's a revenge tour. I kind of like
output
that.
volume,
I like
let's
that
see.
framing of it.
How about
DSP
this? Is
should
that
get
better?
shirts made.
Did I boost me at all?
It sounds about the same, I think.
Okay,
Well, I
change
wouldn't
this.
buy it
Here
if
you go. Is this
DSP
full?
made it, but I'd buy it if someone else made it. You know, DSP's
Now you're
revenge
muted.
tour. Pro Jared, Craig, Adam, everyone.
I don't know.
Everyone who's wronged him.
I'm still
Put him
muted?
on there.
Now you're unmuted.
Okay. Well, I think this is what's gonna have to do right here.
All
Hey,
right.
look at there's a picture of me in your background. Look at that.
Of course. I've
Wow.
upgraded, sir. Look at my setup
Oh
now.
my god. Look at all how
Listen,
cordial
I'll
it
tell
is
you
before
what,
he starts
what an
screaming.
upgrade. Great job.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you. All right,
Yes.
so let's get started because I want to respect your
All right.
time.
He's
I know that
so
you might
fake.
have stuff going on today.
He is.
And just to
He's the
forewarn
fakest
everyone,
asshole ever.
And just to preface the whole
I
conversation
would love
we're
that,
about to
Trevin.
have. Stuttering
I
Craig
don't
is on
think
here
Tevin would
today,
do it, though.
and thank
I don't
you for
think
your
you'd be
time, Craig,
interested.
for being on my level 1 podcast. To have a conversation with me about last year, what happened.
Okay. I got a question for chat. And I insist, just because you're here, you don't have to say my name. Give me a detractor that interviews DSP, and DSP cannot leave the room or disconnect the call. Who would you want to interview Phil? I mean, I would want to interview Phil, but I think someone more qualified would be someone like well, what do you think? Who do you have, Hines? And again, you don't have to say me. It's okay. My feelings aren't going to get hurt.
I think Steve of the Dead. In my opinion, I think Steve of the Dead he's my favorite detractor, just because he goes about things calmly and really surgically in a way where there's nothing that Phil can really come back and attack him on, like, oh, like, you attacked my family. Like, you don't really see Steve doing that. Like, Steve really, like, sticks to the point.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be Steve, or the one that isn't alt on the podcast.
You mean
the other one, Meerkat.
Meerkat. It's no disrespect to Meerkat, but I almost wouldn't want Meerkat because Meerkat's just going to go for the throat right away, which will be funny. It will be funny, but I would want someone to draw more shit out of Phil, and Meerkat's just going to be like beating on him, which again would be funny, but that's just not what I wanted. And it would still be good. I think if I had to pick someone, it would be and I see what you're saying about Steve. That's a good approach as well, that he doesn't get necessarily sidetracked with stuff, even though his videos are pretty long. Just messing with you, Steve. I would think Alt would be a great choice because Alt seems to have that kind of patience, and he has a very encyclopedic knowledge of DSP's antics. So he would do a pretty good job of calling DSP out with receipts and stuff. But aside from him, who else would I pick? I mean, obviously Tevin would be super funny because he would have a great way of insulting Phil right to his face and DSP not even noticing it. That'd be pretty fun. Agent Proper would be good.
With Tevin, he'd be too aggressive. Redbird UJ76 kind of hit it right on the spot with he needs a soft approach. Kino really revealed that so long as you kiss his ass and you're nice to him, he'll join your Nazi parade.
Yeah,
so
he's got no problem with it, man. He's down. DSP is
Fred
kind of like
Fox.
one of those third world dictators, where all you have to do to really get DSP to like you is just send him a gold plated AK-47. Man, he will make your own section of the country just for you. Now the people who live there, oh, you know, they'll find something to do with themselves. Yeah, all you need to do just send DSP a gold plated AK-47. He'll be your friend forever. Or
Timothy
kiss his ass.
Grimley, do you mean one of his parents, or just someone who is a parent? Because I think that would be helpful too, because has Phil really talked to someone ever about having a real family? Like, has someone with a real family told him that he doesn't have a real family?
Yeah, definitely not to his face. Definitely not anyone he's heard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'll also receive. I mean, I will too.
With the events leading up to, including.
Yeah, I don't
and
think there's
after
really
my
anyone who's going
appearance
to
on the
necessarily
Side Scrollers
bomb a
podcast,
DSP
because
interview.
there's
Except
been a
for,
lot of
actually, probably
stuff
me.
said,
I would probably bomb
all right,
it.
on my
But,
side, particularly for sure.
yeah, there's some
A lot of
people in
heated stuff I've
particular
said.
that I feel like
Greg
we
has
could get
responded
something
on his
specific
content,
out of Phil.
and
That'd be
we
fun.
never really sat down to have a conversation about it publicly.
I
And
don't
I feel
think
like
you can
this
do
is
it
the
on
best
your
way to do
own.
it is to have a forum where we're just going
It's
to
a
be cordial with each
two-person
other. We're
job,
going to
'cause
talk
you need
about it, hash
someone
it out, figure out exactly
who's got
what
the
happened,
book
and figure out how to move
of
forward.
bullshit he said in the
This
past.
is not
Mhm.
an
And someone
attack
who's
session on
paying
Craig.
attention
I've
to the
already said
bullshit
this
he's
right
saying
before
right
Craig
now.
showed up, so I'm going to say it
Mhm.
again because now we're actually
You
have
also
him on
need
the
someone
show.
who's got a
This is
decent.
not,
Maybe a
oh, I
team.
don't like Craig. Let's all in the chat rally
ahead.
against him and insult him and stuff. This is not, oh, you know, let's all take pot
No,
shots
sorry.
on Craig.
Go ahead.
There is no
I actually really didn't
surprise
have my thought
guests that are
formulated.
going to
That's
show
why I
up.
deferred to you.
There is no shocking gotcha questions here. It's literally not about anything about Craig's background or nothing. This is about just our
He's still
interaction last
introducing
year.
us, by the way.
That's
Yeah,
So
it.
he's
And I want
still
you to know
getting
that up
the
front,
the
'cause I know you
laydown
had
of
said
what
that,
the theme's
of course,
going to be
my
here. Yeah.
detractors have to interject themselves into every piece of anything I'm involved in, and they've been.
I'm
contacting
watching
Craig,
his eyes
saying,
the whole
oh, he's
time.
gonna get
Craig's
you.
eyes.
He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that.
He's very
It's not gonna
expressive with
happen,
his eyes.
all
He
right?
can't hide
But
it very
now-
well.
Oh, go ahead.
And that's great. I was going to say, and to be fair, I mean, I have invited you. I've tried to do this probably 3 or 4 times since the
Yeah,
end
but
of
I
the
was too
show,
pissed.
to kind of have this exact conversation. So I am glad we're actually getting
Turn
around.
this off.
Like
I don't-
said,
I don't wanna pay
I
attention
said
to this right
multiple
now.
times.
Shit,
I don't care
that's
if it's on
not
our
right.
show or if it's on your show. I don't care. I think this is great. I'm glad we're able to.
All right, good. Now that being said, I'd like to
Shoutouts,
introduce
sweet.
Handsome Tom and Perfect Liz to the show.
why-
No, I'm just kidding. That's not happening.
Listen,
He has
I
to
would
know
love
about
to-
it.
That's correct.
I would honestly love it. Great.
Okay, so I think what we should do to start the conversation is give a little bit of background about Craig, because a lot of people, you know, on my show may not know.
Why don't
But
you let
Craig's
him
been in this
talk about
space
it?
for a very, very
Why don't you
long
let him
time.
talk about it? He's a
Craig,
guest.
in my opinion,
Just
he's one of
check
the innovators of
donations,
making
Phil.
video game content on
You
the
seen
internet.
this, you don't
I mean,
play
in the
Marvel vs.
mid-2000s,
Capcom 1 and
right?
3?
You
No,
were
I'm not.
making big view content on your Screw Attack website. And this was before
I could
the
see that
era
little
of
shadow.
like YouTube being prominent and everything. Like you were there in the forefront, covering video games, doing countdowns, news stories, going to conventions.
Okay,
doing all
next
kinds of
question.
stuff.
Who outside the
You've always
Detractorverse
been
would
a
you want
prominent
to interview,
person
Phil?
in that space.
I
It's
would
not
want,
like you come out of nowhere now with the
Baltec rep.
side scroller show.
Feel like he would have
year.
some
You
fun with
actually had a
DSP.
history, a big established history of making very prominent content. That's how I
Who would you want,
Because I
Hines,
used to
outside the
actually watch-
Detractorverse? It could be a celebrity, it could be anybody. Who would you want to interview, Phil? It has to be
I would
non-fictional.
have-
Otherwise, the answer would just be Columbo.
No, I'm gonna be serious. Oprah, because he
Oprah?
needs a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs a therapist slash interviewer at the same time.
Yeah, and she could hook up that with some that medication, you know. That would be pretty funny. But then again, remember that time that she had that dude on who lied about his entire life, and then it came out that he lied, and she invited them back on the show and just shit on him the whole time? That would be. You're right. Oprah's the best choice because we could get a follow up of him getting shit on by Oprah. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, you could lull him in. Well, no, you could like have it be like, oh, this is gonna be a nice, calm interview for you, Phil, and then she just ambushes him right away.
Yeah, she smacks.
Doesn't even give him a chance.
Well, maybe not smacks, but it'd be pretty good. I think it could be
Dr. Phil, yep.
Dr. Phil, and from one Phil to
Side
another,
scroller
you
show
know.
way back in the day in the mid 2000s. And I was a fan of the
Taylor
video
Swift
game
just
nerd who was
endorsed Dark
associated
Side
with
Phil.
Screwtack
John
Collab.
God.
So that's kind of how I got turned onto their content and started watching. Over the years, I did have association.
Why don't you
with
just let Craig
and
talk?
Screwtack.
Let
For
Craig
example,
tell his
I
own
went to,
story.
which I know
don't
Craig
get
says he
those.
doesn't remember. I don't blame him. Way before I was even a YouTuber, I went to MagFest. This gaming convention.
This is what I
and we
don't
hung
get
out,
about like the
whole
first
time.
half of this is he's like introducing this situation like that like it actually even fucking matters. Like really all this is about is I lied to you, Craig, and come talk to me about it, and that's it. That's all that this is about. We don't need to talk about, oh yeah, Screwtack started back up. Like, how is that relevant?
No. And it's to add to the irrelevancy, he already went over this. He's been over this so many times. Why do you need to tell people this shit over and over again? Doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, you're right. It's just window dressing. I guess he's trying to get Craig comfortable before he starts screaming at him.
Like I was with these guys and we were playing Street Fighter. We played Call of Duty together at the
Oh,
time.
definitely Little Shadow. Hey, big up, Shadow.
Competition, and we even judged a rock band.
The Irish interview.
I don't know
I
if you
agree.
remember
Did
that.
we?
Yes, we did. We were
Wow.
both judges on the panel,
Yes.
judging people doing rock band and stuff.
Man,
It was
Craig
fun.
doesn't remember any of this
that
past
was
with
like
Phil.
our first personal.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Fast forward to years later, I was a YouTuber. I was a big YouTuber in the gaming space. I was
Welcome,
like, not
Jaha.
top, but
How are you
I was
doing?
bringing in 10 million views a month on my DSP gaming channel. And I wanted to go to conventions. And
I guess
stuff,
he
and
does
I
kind of need to
contacted you and you said
remind
you
them
were
though,
reviving,
because his
the
viewers
Screwtack
tend
Gaming
to be
Convention,
rather low
bringing it out of
functioning.
retirement. And I said,
They
I
would come
love
into
to
the
be
stream
there
and
as
say,
a
"Hey,
guest,"
wait a
and
minute,
you
who's this
had me as a
guy?
guest.
What
And
history
let me
does he
tell
have
you,
with
Craig,
Phil?
you
I'm
were
so
the
lost and
gracious
confused."
dude. Like,
Settle down,
I knew
Jade.
that you didn't really remember me from MagFest at the time. You were
How's it
like
going,
the
Lake?
most
So
nice
damn
guy to me. You were
disoriented.
there, and you had a table, a vendor booth, and there was a little misunderstanding
start
about a
rolling
vendor
out
booth
of
with
the
someone
room
else,
from
and we hashed
disorientation.
all that out. And basically, you were so cool. And so from my history,
I'm sorry, Jade.
of
I
knowing
don't
you,
mean to be
Craig,
mean.
you were just a really nice guy.
Jade,
were a
you can
good guy
come
in
on
the
too if you
gamer
want.
space,
We can
making this
discuss
content.
wrestling.
When you got
I
to
don't know
MagFest,
anything
you were
about
so
wrestling.
personable.
You
You're
can
such
tell
a
me
nice
all
guy.
about it, Jade.
Meet you at
Tell you
Screwtack
what, I'll
Gaming
race
Convention.
you.
So all the history I
I
know
bet
of
you're pretty
is that
fast.
You're just a really solid dude, right?
So what changed? What changed, Phil? When did I
That's
become
such a
so
weird
irrelevant?
thing to do.
Oh, well, they kissed my
irrelevant. Not
ass. That's what
irrelevant.
happened.
That's absolutely not. But basically, I want to preface this of how this whole thing came about, why I would even want to.
Oh
be on
God,
your show and
Little
stuff like
Shadow,
that.
that's a really
So-
funny skit idea. DSP introduces himself to the neighbors. Okay, so here's your setting, Hines. You just bought a new condo in Renton, okay? And you're kind of moving in, you're putting your stuff around, what have you, and you hear a knock at the door. I'm like, I wonder who that is. You go and answer. It's this dude right here on the right. And he starts introducing himself and welcoming you to the neighborhood. I would love to see that. This guy's rocking back and forth on your step, T-posing, telling you about the trolls, mentioning how he had a helicopter job but got fucked over. And who was that at the door, honey? I actually don't know. I think it was a lunatic. Some crazy dude who, I guess we got a homeless problem here or something.
Oh, I heard. What was it? Early. It was either late 2022
I would
or
start
early
looking at
2023.
the
I heard through the grapevine. Hey,
contract.
Phil, did you hear that?
Yeah,
Sideswipe
how
wanted
much
back?
should I have to stay
And
here?
I was like, no, I didn't know that. Let me check it out. So I actually did my research.
Yeah, that's funny.
And
I
I
like that.
saw that you had announced that you were going to bring back side scrollers. It was going to be a
because
fun
because
podcast about
he's
gaming,
screaming with his windows
all
open.
this stuff. And I got
Oh, yeah.
interested.
So the whole
because I was like,
neighborhood's
wow, that's
hearing
cool.
me out.
I used to listen to the show.
Dude, I
with
want to
just
talk to
audio
the
only
Mexican,
way back
the
when,
Mexican
and it was cool to
gardeners
see
he
a
has.
revival. Now I didn't know if you were going
You
to have
guys
anyone
hear him
back from the
screaming
whole
up there?
show or
Oh,
anything.
yeah,
I was
we
like,
hear
I'm just
it.
curious. So I actually started listening to and watching your show when you revived
He's
it.
talking about his
And I
inputs
just was thinking
dropped.
in the
What the
back of my head,
fuck?
now I know
Formless-
at this point, everyone hates me, right? Like, I'm the
Formless
guy you love
payment,
to hate on the
locally
internet. I'm the guy
centric,
everyone
more
dumps
like the
on
Renton
as a content
recluse.
creator. But I'm like, man, it would be fascinating if out of nowhere, out of the blue,
I would
if
love to know
Stuttering
what his
Craig
neighbors think about
contacted
him.
me and asked me to be
Anyway,
on
what
the
are we
show.
talking about, Phil? You've droned
Because
on
that
for
would
so
be
long,
wild,
I
'cause
lost
don't go on
interest. What's
shows,
going on?
right? I don't do interviews. I don't do anything. It would be such
This
a
is what they
cool
think
thing
about him.
for a guy from my
They-
past who,
this-
I
they
have a good
all say-
relationship.
I've never fucking seen the guy, but I see his car every day, see it moving. They'd never see him, but they hear him.
Wait, why is his car moving? Are you telling me the DSP goes on midnight joyrides? That could explain why he's so
Well,
tired
he's got
all
to
the time.
drop his. Well, he's got to lug the horse to work.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so they comment on that and they say, yeah, well, you see his car driving around. There's a bunch of sparks shooting out the side, but other than that, nothing.
Oh yeah, they can only hear him. And yeah, they hear the scraping of their bumper going down. Yes.
The car's going up on two wheels like in Last Action Hero. That was probably the funniest troll message that was directed towards Wings of Redemption, was when he got that Mustang and someone said something like, hey man, be sure to rotate your tires. They're probably all bald on the driver's side already. I mean, come on. Bad jokes are always good. You think Phil is up that early?
No,
I don't know. What's up?
If they roll into the wrong side of Renton, someone's gonna ask, "Damn, what kind of hydraulics you got in that fucking thing?" And Chad's gonna fucking get out of the car.
And he just straight up jumps into the air.
Yeah, put them in a competition. Yeah. Put them in.
Oh man, DSP! Look, man, I'll hook you up. I'll find a way to make this work. We can get you on a lowrider. Well, we're gonna have to bring Cad. We'll do it, Phil. We'll make this happen. You and I got to collab. We got to do.
10 years since I talked to the guy, but it would be pretty cool if that.
Oh, how are you doing, the one who hates?
And then lo and behold, you actually did.
Enjoyed those games. They sound fun. I heard Bannerlord's cool.
So what I'd like to preface is that now we're getting to.
Okay, finally. What are we doing, Phil?
What happened last year? What actually happened that you reached out to me like that out of the blue after 10 years of no contact?
Yeah, I think that, when side scrollers were starting,
why did you reach out?
The show's evolved.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
I kind of have to keep track of the questions. Thank you, Hines.
Now a decade later,
Let's
you
do
can't be doing the same thing that you were doing a decade before and expect success. Evolving life. So, side scrollers. The old show used to be it was once a week for 30, but that was podcast 2006, 2000.
Craig.
It was like,
Craig, your audio is breaking up a little bit, and I don't know.
I think it's
your
Minosky
settings or
particle
your mic.
interference.
Oh yeah,
It kind of sucks. It is breaking up a little.
Yeah, he has audio issues for a while.
So, the long and short of it was.
Yeah, exactly, Banana Jones.
Yeah.
The long and the short of it is silence.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Craig, we can't hear you now at all for some
Craig,
reason.
just call me,
I
man.
don't know what's going on.
Just call me. We'll put you on speakerphone.
The long and short of it is, you're a low cow, and we wanted some milk.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, still you're breaking
You're
up.
just a weird
People are saying
dude.
if you talk louder, you get closer to the mic. I don't know. It could be sensitivity settings in Discord as well.
Should I get closer to the microphone?
Actually,
Is it better?
that's actually good.
All right, then I will sit right here the entire
Seriously,
time.
that's like really good.
Okay.
Oh, God.
We'll just hold my microphone up right here. Okay, so when side scrollers, when I was like, okay, we got to bring back side scrollers, and the idea behind it was, I left the video game space in its entirety.
Yeah, Banlord is
for
DSP's
better
game,
part,
by the way.
for about a year. I went and I worked in the firearm, and when I left that startup, I looked back at the video game, and I didn't really have a whole lot of intention of ever going back. But I looked back to the video game industry places, like what happened, and that was the origin story for side scrollers.
I don't know what happened. Was Dark Side
the
Phil,
idea
this dude
of
right
bringing it
here, he
back
made
was
games
really like,
stupid by being
there needs to
stupid.
be
I guess it is a good
back
idea to interview the
and,
source of the problem,
when we
huh?
first did the show, the idea was we were going to try to mimic.
How's it feel to ruin
Wolf.
gaming?
Pretty
And
good, actually. I feel like I've
The
done a
internet's
lot
not
of
the same as it
damage.
was 10 years. So naturally, the show had to shift, and the show has shifted.
Do you think DSP
And,
got
you know,
confused
become
about his
more of
shopping
a
carts because there was no yellow
live-
paint on the
It's
shopping
not
cart?
necessarily a podcast. People do listen to the audio version of the show, but
Maybe.
it's more about being there.
That's why
in
he
a
lost
live
his bags,
experience,
man.
Right? So there's always 3 of us, 4 of us. The
Phil's not paying any attention right
Chad-
now. It's just all
Chad always has a
white
voice
noise
as
to
well.
him.
So
Yeah, we're still throwing off
I
questions.
just
right
like back at Screw Attack, I knew that just how you got to know Screw Attack through the video game nerd, or people got to know
Yeah, exactly, Little Shadow.
any of the number
Because
of partners
Keem
that
wants
we've had
content,
throughout-
and
throughout
Craig
the
didn't
years
really
through
want that. I
Screw
don't think
Attack.
so.
It's always good to grow through association and whole rising tides aspect.
I don't get
And
whenever
that was
you
always,
ask him
something from the
to
start
cite
was,
Exodus, he has to
I
start
wanted-
at Genesis.
That's a very good quote, Hines. I really like that.
To be a base crew, and we'll have
Based
guests
crew.
every
Oh,
day.
DSP should be on there.
Rotating-
I heard he's pretty based.
rotating cast characters.
I want
And that's
DSP to
where it
use
came down
based
to,
so much that we have to
did
find a
I
new
did few
slang.
interviews beforehand, and And
Exactly, Richard Parker. There was no instructions. There was a tutorial.
And see if they're interested. So you were brought up.
Oh,
Oh my god, he uses the
I
Logitech
had
G
not
headphones.
heard or talked to you in a decade, as you said. I certainly didn't know.
Yeah, he can't be using those either because he
Multiple-
said he gets ear infections.
And kind of really anything. I didn't know if you'd seen success on YouTube. I didn't know if you'd seen. I certainly didn't know about the detractor stuff. So that was, when we announced it, and I reached out to you, and you're like, sure, I was like, okay, cool. And the intention was for you to come on and just be a regular.
I like the
regular
toilet
guest
seat
on the show.
headphones.
Right.
They were dumb, but they really did
and-
suit Phil.
Keep in mind, I think we're like.
I
2
actually
weeks into the
invented
show.
Skibbity Toilet.
And we launched February 5th. And I think I announced you like the 1st of March.
Oh, can we
maybe,
just
like,
get to the
February
screaming?
or whatever. And when I announced you, and I announced several people.
And
on
what
that
is Phil
show,
thinking of right now? He's clearly not thinking
like-
about whatever the hell Craig's talking
I
about.
remember almost
He's
immediately getting emails that were
anticipating the
like,
felting.
Dude, you sure about that?
He-
Like, are you sure? Do you know what's
He's
going on? I was
thinking
like,
about
no.
what he's
I
going
didn't-
to
I didn't
say.
know.
Yeah.
That's
your
what
entire
that's the kind of guy
background.
he
So
is.
then
He's
the flood
thinking
of
about what
communication
he's gonna
comes-
say
And some people are like, you
after
should not
you
have Phil on
finish
your show. You
talking.
should not. And I was like,
Yeah,
my
he
thing
just
is
hears the
communication. I like having
peanuts,
conversations. Once again, which
parrots
is why I reached out to you.
droning
In
on.
past about like, hey, well, let's just hash this out.
Two
And,
times
so
speed.
naturally,
I'm starting to
people
think that might be
reach out,
necessary.
Do you know this about Phil? Do you know this about Phil?
Oh,
No, and it became very obvious that there was a lot of lore to you and a lot of questions about you that people didn't either
There's a
were
lot of lore
assuming
to
or
you.
didn't know the. Which is why I reached out, and I remember saying like, okay,
I don't feel
listen,
like that's correct.
the
I feel like
intention
it's not a lot of questions on our side. We know what DSP's about. We know what his behaviors and mannerisms are about. DSP has never been unclear as to who he is as a person. He's a piece of shit all the time. And he's a liar and he's an asshole. I guess the questions exist in the fact that he has these things that he has still lied about to this day, such as the WWE Champions and the bank leaks and all this and that. But other than that, there really is no confusion about DSP. There's no mysteries to be held there. What the hell's he talking about?
I mean, there is. What is Derek's sock?
That's true. I want to know where he's at. What's he up to? Has he been reported to the feds yet?
was to have you on the show, but it's very obvious. Like, we just have this show,
That's a
do
scary
a
thing.
normal show. and
Redneck
not
Ogre,
address the
that's an
elephant in the
interesting
room,
bet.
which
Place
is,
your bets,
you know, the
everyone.
fact
What's
that you
DSP's
haven't been
new,
going a decade, that you
stupidly
have all
overused
these
phrase?
questions about mobile games.
I'm
and
gonna say
blah, 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 and
collaboration.
all this stuff. Like, then number one, it's a missed opportunity for you, and I don't want to be the guy who just,
He's
like,
gonna call
ignores
everything a
all
collab.
these questions.
You know, I was collabing with my wife the other day
'Cause,
over
no, it's
dinner.
interesting. So that's how it. And I was like, well, then we need to do it.
Oh, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, LTG has some new slang, and it is collab. What does he use that for? Having sex. I'm not messing with you. I'm not joking with you. Dale has recently started using collab to mean having sex with a woman, which to me is hilarious as hell that he would call it that. It's actually kind of funny. What do you think? Is it a good one? I think it's pretty solid.
the interview came about. Right?
If we're lucky,
And,
it'll be
so
audit.
We did the
Audit?
interview.
Oh, yeah.
You gave us 5 hours, which very nice. I think you probably would have gone
Launch
longer
on the
had,
convo? Oh, God,
had,
no. Please, no.
You know, everyone not kind of been tired. I mean, talking 5 hours and doing that for 5 hours was a lot.
Right.
And, you know,
Oh, yeah. I heard about
you
that
told
video,
us
so
you were
I
very professional. You
need to
really
watch
enjoyed
it.
the interview.
Yes.
I remember you saying in particular you wanted to do it again. Like,
Right.
okay, cool.
Okay, hold
and-
on, because people are making some very positive suggestions. They're saying if there's anything in your settings that's like noise cancellation.
Yeah, he wasn't
or
listening to any of
stuff
that,
like
which I
that,
kinda
because
understand.
that
It
means
is
you're
kind of
talking,
annoying.
And as soon as you stop, it's dropping the next word you say, as if noise cancellation is like kicking in on your mic. That seems to be the issue.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know if it's
gotta
actually
rotate
distance,
the
some kind of a
phrases,
noise
Floyd, because
cancellation
you know
filter,
once the
or,
kids
you know what
start
I mean, like a
using
noise
a
gate.
phrase too much,
Yeah,
we
that's
gotta
a bit
rotate
weird.
it out. Now I know what you said was horrifying, and kids shouldn't be saying that, but you gotta understand
Good.
Dale appeals to children because they think that he's like a tough guy. and
Dio
it's cool and
says
all that.
there is
Dio,
a settings gear icon in the lower left of Discord. You click on that, there will be a voice and video tab or menu, and then there's an input sensitivity all on the left.
man,
That
what the
will fix
hell?
it.
Why are we
So
listening
if
to
I unput
Dio?
that, will that be better?
Let's see.
Is that better now?
That
Dale
sounds
is
great, actually. I think
Black
we did it.
Andrew
Thank goodness.
Tate
That
on a
apparently
budget.
that was
Yes,
apparently the
very
correct
true.
word.
All right.
He's like this
done.
red pill
Discord.
dropout.
Okay, so that leads us to we do the interview and
Right. Well, actually, let me jump in because I do want to talk a little bit about my perspective.
Exactly.
Hey,
Interview
is
and the
that just a
conversations we had?
conservative?
All right, because we want to be transparent about this.
Do it
and
now.
Red pill dropout. Haven't heard that term before.
I think it's more in the line that Dale he wants to latch onto the red pill movement, but even they are too intellectually advanced for him. Which you can take that as an insult in either direction, but Dale just doesn't know anything. And he's very stupid. And so even the things that red pill people talk about, even the more like I guess you could say legal standpoints that they have, like for example, men's rights in terms of custody. Dale has no statement to make about that. All he basically says is that women should basically just be killed. He's got nothing to add to the conversation. He's too stupid to formulate an opinion. So he managed to wash out of being red pilled, and I find that really funny.
I want to hear your perspective, and I want to give my perspective.
He's going to kill
Let's
someone
be honest,
someday.
the truth is probably somewhere
Yeah,
in the
maybe.
middle. That's what happens.
He's been threatened a lot recently.
Okay. So from my perspective, you contact me out of the blue, and you say, I want you to be a guest on the show. And I'm
Bill
thinking
got
in
in
my
trouble
head,
for collabing by himself live on stream. Oh, God.
These
Now
guests
collabing
kind of
is just going to
showcase
catch on. It is a good one. I'll give Dale that. Dale has a much better command of goofy rhetoric than Phil does.
And then they get to kind of talk about their brand or whatever they're working on. And for me,
sometimes LTG makes up a phrase that is legitimately kind of good. I like it.
I was going to try to use this appearance as a way to kind of launch this channel. I had all these ideas.
DSP has had a couple.
And everything.
DSP has had a couple phrases that I legitimately like. Toxified is probably my favorite.
See some kind of
because there are things that get toxified. I was toxified yesterday.
Originally, I was just supposed to be the guest, and then you said, well, there's an elephant in the room. All these people want me to...
Like right now, Discord is being super toxified.
Because
you
might not realize this, but the year before, a lot of other prominent YouTubers have been talking about me in a very negative light.
Cat at 10
and one of them was actually voice critical. And he had called me out.
I suppose he feels compelled to say it.
I was e-begging too much, and how could I do this to my viewers and stuff like that. And when he had done that, I was like,
not on stream, Casper.
How I was talking on a particular stream, like I agree with this guy. Like I'm being a miserable wretch. I'm being an ungrateful jerk. I said, but the thing is, if that's the case, right, why don't you ever interview me? Like, if everyone has a problem with me and the way I conduct myself or whatever, I would just like to be interviewed and treated like a person rather than yelled at across the internet from people's high perches. It's kind of like punching down, right? I'm just a little...
It's an interesting statement there from Phil.
It's literally what he said.
He wants some sort of discussion with people. But this dude bans everyone. Dude blocks everyone, and multiple detractors, including me, have reached out to Phil and said, hey man, why don't you just talk to me? You want to talk to a detractor, get this all sorted out? No. So he's just lying. What he wants is an ass-kissing session. That's it. And he wants it with someone that he has no fear of it turning into anything other than that. That's it. This dude's such a fake-ass individual, man.
Little rinky-dink guy, and I got these giant YouTubers talking about me in a negative way. And I announced the year before I want to do an interview. Well, of course, who contacts me? Who wants to do an interview? All my detractors, all these assholes.
Oh, okay, I'm an asshole.
Like, you know what? After thinking about it,
I mean, guilty, but I'm not.
They're just going to waste my time. It's just going to be really unfair treatment. So then, when you reached out to me, and now all of a sudden
I would have turned to your side.
I'm thinking, dude, I know Craig. Craig is a straight guy. He's a straight shooter. He's not going to do anything to screw me during this interview.
And he didn't.
And I want him to hit me with hard questions. I think
that's why you face him in person. Yeah, exactly.
Previously, when we were talking,
coming from the man himself.
Whatever the heck you want. You might not like the
answer. You said you wanted.
I feel like Phil felt the need to
DSP
emphasize. Craig is a straight shooter after saying that he's a straight guy, just to make sure no one thought that he was talking about his sexuality.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he's so repressed.
Yeah, maybe DSP. Darkside Dale here was thinking, well, hold on. I've given a lot of people reason to suspect stuff about me. Let me just let me ease people into that.
And just to be clear,
you will hang up, disconnect, mute if you talk honestly.
Did I do anything during that interview?
He's a child. He's a brat.
Was dishonorable, or did I hit you at anything that because like I said, you finished that interview and you thought it was very fair. So
Now, guys,
did-
don't
I
show
would
Craig any
say
clips of me shitting on
there
him.
were
And
a
if you
few
do, you
times
got to
that things
include
were
all the
suspect,
context.
But at the same time, it was never outright like, oh, disrespectful gotcha moment or something like that. The one thing everyone's going to say is when Keemstar showed up, right? Now,
You
I
let
don't
him
know
come
how
on,
that came
Phil.
about. You know what? Let's clear the air about that right now.
Sure.
How on earth did Keemstar end up in my interview?
It was through
'Cause obviously
Discord.
that was a shock. And if you remember how it happened, it was really questionable circumstances. Someone DDoS'd me off the internet. So I couldn't even continue the interview.
DSP
And
said
as I
that
got
he wasn't
DDoS
really
attacked,
sure at the time.
Keemstar showed up on the show.
I guess the
and
internet
everyone's
reached
like,
out to him.
What the heck is this? Like, I'm sure this is a coincidence, right? So what actually happened?
Yeah, well, if and
Yeah,
once
see,
again, it's been 18 months.
going off
How
that
did
thing,
Keemstar-
I'm sorry, go ahead, Hines.
He's asking, how did Keemstar end up on my interview? He fucking reached out to him, you idiot.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of question is this?
And it's well, DSP was just slandering the shit out of him. He just wanted to have his side of things and not have the other person. Now, I will say that it was kind of messed up that they brought him in before asking Phil. I feel like that was a little bit messed up. But then after DSP said, sure, he can come on, it's over, man. The discussion's over. Your complaints are gone because you let him come on.
Well, but here's the thing. He asked for this interview. So he doesn't really have any right to bitch about how he's getting treated in an interview that he's just openly asking for in thin air from people.
Yeah.
They just throw into the void.
Absolutely. He also, I mean, I'll go ahead and defend DSP on this. He does have the right to just leave the interview at any time. You know, we give him shit for that he's such a coward, but it's true. If Keem came on and DSP really had such an issue, why didn't he leave? I mean, people would still shit on DSP no matter what, but it's still within his rights to do that. Instead, he just let it happen. Well, okay, then.
Because the reason is he's such a coward that he doesn't want to be called a coward after being a coward and leaving an interview.
Yeah.
So he's more scared of what will come later.
I suppose.
Just taking it in the moment.
I had something I wanted to say. It's just kind of an observation I had. Since Jaw is here, I wanted to ask him, or not even so much ask him, but like agree with him. When with that clip of you telling DSP shut the fuck up, it really was a very frustrating moment for watching that whole moment, because DSP's inability to read social cues was very frustrating for me, because the dude was making it pretty damn clear he did not want to have this conversation, but DSP was insistent upon it. So I thank you for yelling at him, because that's pretty much what was screaming in my head. And it's weird that DSP, the fragile little shithead that he is, still didn't understand that he was just being an obnoxious shithead. Oh, it's just wild, me. Dude has no social cues or social graces whatsoever.
So I'm actually going to go through.
It's a good thing none of his friends got divorced or something. You would be talking to them about it all day.
But from what I recall,
Anyways, about your divorce. So my suggestion is you should drink gin.
Had reached out via DM, and let me see. I don't like to divulge private.
They offered not to have him on
the
same night. DSP waiters, right? He did.
Let's see, we did that on what?
FYI, because I don't know if you know this, Craig. I had Keem on the show last week, and we hashed everything out. We're good.
Cool. Excellent.
So, there's no issue. There's no bad blood between me and him.
Well done, Joe.
So it's not like, oh, you're going to divulge something
why are
that
you
he's going to be pissed about. Nah, we even talked about the appearance and everything, why he was on the show. So it's all good.
We're all good, man.
From your perspective,
you know, Keem and I, we add each other as friends on Facebook.
Somebody had mentioned
We're good
the
now.
idea of having him on, and I was like, well, if you're watching, then DM me. So he DM'd me, and the idea was,
that's a very good point, Imbo. There's never really been a case that I wanted DSP to just be knocked offline while he was talking to someone.
You said your internet went out, right? So that was like, okay, well, let's take this opportunity to, you know,
the world
we got Phil here. Let's take this opportunity to bring Keem in, because he had DM'd me, and he was like, let's talk. And if you recall, during that interview, like, I was attempting to honor your word there. You said you didn't want to talk to Keem, so I went out.
Especially when he's talking, whenever DSP is having social interaction with people, I'm always there.
And the intention,
because I love just seeing how weird DSP is with actual humans.
Right? Was to build and to think about this. You probably
right now, this is fascinating me. Watch this dude pretend to be human, nodding his head. Yeah, whatever. That's whatever the hell you were saying.
Right?
I disagree. I would have had Keem on regardless. I don't think that him being on the interview had anything to do with him being on this show.
Look at the arrogant face.
Totally
Look
fair.
at that.
But
No,
like I said,
I hate
I'm
it.
just,
I want to slap it right off his skull.
I don't know.
That's fine. I want to hear your perspective. So this is good. This is good.
So the idea was to build
you
a bridge,
could care
right?
less about his perspective,
whether it worked or not, that's fine. So
DSP has been pretty consistent
and when
on
your
that
internet
message,
came
and
back,
he does not care
you
what
know,
you
it was
think.
like, okay,
Unless you love him,
believe,
then he kind of cares.
Like I said, been 18 months. I believe we pulled Keem back, brought you back on, and said, hey, we have Keem here. Are you okay with this? Before Keem
Bill
came
loves
back
to toss in little condescending phrases like, I don't know
the
if
way
you
I
know
like
this.
to think of it is probably like,
yeah, because my life is
it's
complicated.
halftime of a basketball
Craig, I don't
game,
know.
right?
Well,
So
then
you go
again,
down
he's
to the
kind of
sideline
justified because
reporter
Craig
and talk
did
to
say
the
later
coach,
on,
right?
dude,
Or
I don't
something
watch your
along those lines, and
content.
you get
So
there.
you
And,
might
like,
not have
Keem
known
being
this.
the color commentator at the time to provide, hey, how do you think this is going, type of thing, you know? If that's the best analogy that I can get, like off the cuff.
Superfluous.
But, yeah, it wasn't meant to be.
Another one of those is.
What's it?
Holy fuck!
You got it.
I'm forgetting.
All right. We'll keep going.
This is what you're not getting.
Oh, okay, there you go.
This is what you're not getting.
Yes.
That's
that
what
kind of.
This is what you're not getting, though.
You don't understand. No, Phil, I actually like super understand. You're the one who's stupid in the room. I agree. That one's annoying as hell.
Malicious by any means, and nothing that we've ever done has meant to be malicious.
I wonder if DSP
or
has a piece of paper and it has stuff like nod your head and agree.
Meant to be
it's
to
tips
tear you
to
down
show
or
social interaction.
as your words, make money off your misery. That's never been an intention at all.
And it's funny because his human behavior is just
okay. So
the most unsettling of anything.
I understand what you're saying. I get it, but you have to understand that
So he's
from
got
an outsider's
horrible
perspective.
Yeah.
Even what you
Game
just said,
plan's
a lot
terrible.
of people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know.
Do you think
that I told
DSP
you
ever
beforehand
confuses himself?
That I didn't want to talk to Keem on this.
Because I think that happens to the best
So
of
you've
us.
been
I confuse
told
myself
ahead
all
of
the time.
I don't want an interaction with this man. Literally, one of my trolls
that
who works
is
at
a
Comcast.
symptom of wet brain. Korsakoff, Wernicke encephalopathy.
Dude, why not? You kind
butchered
of have to
it
break that
totally,
down for
but
me.
Well, you can get neurological issues if you have heavy. If you consistently drink and abuse alcohol, you can develop neurological issues.
Okay.
And one of those, among the symptoms for those, is being lost and fucking confused. So yes, I absolutely do believe that Phil is confused 98% of the time in life. And that's why he's angry all the fucking time, because people hate the things they can't understand.
There's some truth to that. There's if you put yourself in a Twilight Zone situation. Imagine you never had any idea what was going on at all times. I think, yeah, most of us would get pretty pissed at that after a while, because that goes against our human brain. The human brain seeks out patterns. And for Phil, nothing ever makes sense, so he's lost and frustrated. But I do think that DSP probably does confuse himself sometimes. I bet DSP writes down like a note for something that he has to do, get bread. But then he reads it and he's super confused what the hell it's even talking about. Is it a threat? Is it a suggestion? Or is it a dream? Or is it a t-shirt idea? I don't know. He's completely lost. I mean, I get confused sometimes. You guys want to hear one of my notes that I got confused with? I sent it to my friend a couple weeks back while I was super stoned. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Steve O. Isake. That's it. That's all I wrote down. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. I guess it's supposed to be like, Steve-O from Jackass gets transported to a world of knights and magic and he has to deal with it. I don't know what the hell I was going on about.
So you're saying you're like DSP?
Yeah, maybe. But I also just kind of, I feel like it's a matter of empathy. I'm agreeing with people. I'm very confusing.
DDoS is me. I'm serious. This is proven it happened. There's actually evidence now, and the person's been fired. So the troll who works at my
the name of the guest right there.
It's
Hines.
And you bring specifically the guy I told you I don't want any involvement in this interview onto the interview stream. So I think you can understand how that looks, right?
So while you're gone,
yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
Looking at our DMs with right now, he said, He said, "Let me pop on." So
I
when
feel
he
like
comes
I should
back,
work
he
as a
can
consultant
respond,
in some
right? Because
way.
I believe, and
I do have good ideas, but I don't have any energy to
Um,
actually act on them
I believe
whatsoever.
we were talking about Keemstar before.
Nor do I really
Right? So
care.
he
Once
was,
I have
he
the
was
idea, I'm
broached,
more or
the
less done with
conversation
it.
about him was brought up, right? So I'm of the mindset that if you're, I would rather talk with somebody than about somebody, right?
I think most people are that way. They're good at giving advice for others, but not able to give it for themselves.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what your situation is.
Do you feel that you also tend to reject advice given to you?
Do I feel that I reject? I try not to, especially in the past year and a half since I've been trying to get my shit together. No, I try to seek out disagreeable opinions because I don't like being in echo chambers because
You get Phil.
it just kind of dumbs you down. Yeah, you get Phil, and the only way you can open yourself up to new ideas is by being around people that you don't really agree with.
I find that I tend to reject a lot of advice based on pure laziness, which I've said this a couple times. That DSP and I are very parallel in our lives and perspectives. He and I agree. Like, I don't really want to make changes, not because I necessarily dislike the changes. I completely agree with your suggestion. I'm just lazy, man. Come on, man. So, that's my hang up sometimes.
And I've said that many, many times on our show, and I say that right now, which is why, once again, I'd much rather talk with you than about you.
I hope not a video game consultant. What, you wouldn't want to play video games that I consulted for?
He said, "Let me pop
me?
in." So when he
I
comes
don't know
back,
about that. Maybe this is
respond,
egotistical
right?
of me, but I
And
think I could
the idea
completely change the gaming landscape.
You said something about Keem.
Well, maybe not
can
completely,
respond.
but I do a
You come
pretty
back
damn good job at it.
And you can then respond to what Keem said while still keeping.
Give me a
you
game.
separate,
I'll tell you how to
right?
fix it.
But
wait, don't take me up
the
on that challenge. I don't
opportunity
know.
was like, hey, well, look, once again, Keem, you can talk about DSP. DSP, you can talk about Keem.
Okay. I got that. Okay. How to fix what's it called? The newest one that just came out, Concord. Get rid of all the characters. Just get rid of them. However, put that same energy at making really lame ass characters. Make a lolcow shooter. Those same artists who made those shitty ass character designs. I'm sorry, just the character designs are shitty. They look ugly and dumb. Have them do the lolcows. Perfect. Masterpiece. Sold out. Game of the year.
Don't you just talk to each other right now and hash all this shit out, and everyone's better for it.
Yeah, you got DSP with his different class.
If you saw
it now his weakness is his foot. You shoot him in the foot, he takes like 3 times damage.
It wasn't to create any distrust or anything. It was more meant to be a positive experience. And
Phil's definitely one of those assassin types. Glass cannons.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of damage, but
all right,
destroyed very quickly.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, he's always flinging it out, and then he can't take it.
And you ask me, hey, Keem's on the show already. Is it okay?
Hey, can we get to the part where you're yelling at each other?
I can confirm 100%. I mean, it's already recorded. But yes, you did that. Yeah. That's very respectful of you that you did that. And I said yes. In my mind, I'm already desperately trying to get back on the show because if it looks like I cut out of the show,
there would be more back
around
the road.
Going to say I'm a coward. I ran from the tough questions. So I'm doing everything I can to get back as soon as I can. The moment I get back, he's there, and it's like I've already being grilled, and this is probably a very stressful thing going on. I'm sure you can figure out for me, and then to now be presented with the man who I told you specifically I didn't want to talk to on the show. Yeah, it smacked me in the face, and then on top of that, you say, well, is it okay? Now, what if I say no? Again, now that makes me look bad. I look like I'm the guy who doesn't want to play ball, who isn't willing to talk.
DSP.
That's who you are.
He is. And that's the paradox of DSP, is that he's not even good at being DSP. He's really not, because he says himself that it doesn't matter what I do, they're always going to make fun of me. So why don't you just take that mentality and do what you want to do? Because he's not wrong. We're going to make fun of him no matter what he does. I mean, honestly, DSP could go out and cure cancer tomorrow, and I'm still going to make fun of him because it's just so fun to make fun of him. But if you have that going against you where nothing you do matters and you're going to be made fun of no matter what, why wouldn't you do what you want? And DSP should want to get rid of Keem. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Can you make sense of that?
I tried not to rationalize Phil because it just makes me dumber.
Yeah, that's true.
It makes my head hurt.
Yeah, you have to put yourself in the mind of stupidity to answer Phil's questions, and that's not a place you ever want to be.
Who's just an obstinate jerk who just wants
that's
to
a good
have
idea,
his way.
moniker.
So of course I'm going to say
yeah. I think Cyrax is
reality, did anything come out of that conversation with Keem?
Sorry, when you stare deep into the low-pow void, it stares.
We went back and forth
right
for like 5
back
minutes.
at you.
Nothing came of it.
And look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. That's what I think happened to Duty. I do like Duty. I do respect Duty, and I understand that some people's opinion of me might change for that. But I will admire his contribution to the detractor history. However, Duty, he stared into the void and tried to talk to the void. He tried to engage with Keemstar and DSP. Bad idea. Do not go on their level. Do not have conversations with them.
Yep. Well, once you're making $40,000, like there's that risk that you can take where, I mean, if you dance around with them successfully, you can move up to another tax bracket. So
it's just too risky. It reminds me a lot of you've seen the Boondocks, the moment. I'm not going to say the word because I'm saving it. The moment, and then they have their gun duel. Well, then it cuts to, well, this doesn't work on white people because the same situation plays out and the white person says, wait a minute, I'm white, and starts laughing and walks away. That's the kind of mentality you need to have with people on the internet who are just shitlords, like DSP or Keem. Like, if I don't need to have a conversation with Keem, I'm mentally well adjusted. What are we going to have a conversation about? He's going to be a crazy shithead and I'm not. Discussion complete, you know? Same thing with DSP. Well, I would love to talk to DSP, but...
Is that lawsuit still, like, being fundraised for? What's going on with that?
I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't think it's gonna... What's up? Do you think anything's gonna come of it?
If they have the money to go after him, yes, because if you get him in a civil suit and you get him in discovery and you start pulling his phone records, his bank records, he's going to be in a world of shit.
Yeah.
He is in a world of shit once you go into discovery. You don't need to win to really win in a lawsuit with Phil. You just need to get to discovery.
I think there was something. I think it was what's his name? Jesse Ventura. He was talking about the lawsuit against Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon, and he was talking about how he had tried to form a union amongst the wrestlers, which it doesn't matter your stance on unions. This is just a sequence of the story, and he got ratted out in some way to Vince McMahon, and so he used the lawsuit to figure out who it is that ratted him out. And he mentioned later, is like, that meant more to me than the winning the lawsuit or losing the lawsuit. Just figuring out who betrayed me. And you could kind of take that same approach with DSP with the lawsuits. Like, the win might not even be winning or losing. The win could be finding out that DSP basically just lives in total wine.
He's literally lost in the sauce.
He is. Do you think he's ever been escorted out? I would love to see footage of DSP being escorted out of Total Wine. I know it's never happened, but damn, it'd be funny.
Yeah, if that happened, we would probably see OWIs and DWIs.
Meth Bear hasn't told me something that happened. Damn. We need him to get... We need DSP to hang out with World of T-shirts, so DSP can get drunk in public. I think that'd be pretty fun.
And he plugged his Happy Punch boxing, okay? Which is really the reason why he was on the show, right? That's why he wanted to be on your show, to plug his upcoming content.
Well, why wouldn't he?
He did want to talk to me, for sure. That's true. But he definitely was on the show to plug
But in my
his
opinion, I don't
content.
think the lawsuit's going to lead to anything. I just don't think it has that kind of momentum.
Okay, real quick, and once again, it's been 18 months.
It's really hard to even get a well-established lawsuit off the ground.
things are a little fuzzy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through my email, and I actually don't see any reference
I'd have to look at it
to
again.
Keemstar at all in
Oops.
that. So maybe it was mentioned before. I don't know. Maybe I knew there was some sort of beef between you guys or something.
Yeah, we did. We had beef on the internet, and I believe at one point, I don't know if.
Wait, okay, so wait, we got
Keemstar.
Craig calling out DSP on being incorrect about emails. DSP's already on the defensive.
But I know you had said, you know, is there anyone? I said I just want it to be us, right? I don't want to have guests coming on and stuff. I want it to be our conversation, right? That's what it was supposed to be. So, having this guy,
exactly
shocking that he's in there. Why is he on this interview, right?
Okay, I get it, right? I
should do a collab with.
We did finish up, and you were totally pleased with things, regardless if Keem appeared or not.
Keemstar Animations.
Pleased as punch. Said you want to do a second time.
I could write up scripts for him all day. Just different goofy DSP scenes.
And until the next day, right?
It's been 18 months, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We had actually, in our
it's been a year and a half
about this interview. The discussion was we were going to do this giant, hard-hitting, harsh interview. And then once we got through it, I can't remember the exact wording you used, but basically it was kind of like, let's get through the tough thing, and then let's do the fun thing. Right? First, let's do the interview.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the fun
part.
part.
Have you on as the guest,
DSP shooting the shit about games, which would have been boring. But
so you're absolutely right. After the interview, I jumped on my own.
Yeah, I saw Silent Weapons. This is a very good video.
My audience, listen. I knew it was going to be a rough interview. I knew he was going to ask questions.
Anyone who's
I wasn't going to be able to
ever
provide evidence of my side.
Older Howard Stern, between probably 2004, 2010. Phil is literally Eric the Midget. He's Eric the Midget, but with all mental handicaps rather than a physical handicap.
Man, I don't know him. Can I Google him and not get anything horrible? What's his name?
Eric the Midget. Eric the Midget.
Yeah, are you sure it's not Erich? It's Eric the Midget. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much DSP cognitively. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I didn't really watch much Howard Stern or listen to him. I'll go ahead and out myself as a pervy little kid. I was just hoping to see some pixelated tits whenever that show was on. Other than that, I had no interest in that. This dude with the glasses on and curly hair, he was boring as hell. Robin would just sit over there laughing, and occasionally you'd have Beetlejuice show up and say something stupid. I was just hoping that the lady that they were interviewing was just gonna pull her top up. I'll be real about it.
Side of it or whatever. And that's fine. I just wanted to have a place where people could see all of my answers, so they'll stop bugging me on my streams about this stuff, because it really had nothing to do with my content. You know, you're talking about mobile games and expenses and shit. It has nothing to do with the broadcasting I'm doing every day of gameplay and stuff like that. I just wanted it to be somewhere else. So I actually was happy.
Well, it's now part of his gameplay.
Right? So by the end of that day, 100%, I was okay with how everything had gone down. Even the shocking surprise guest and all that of Keem, you know, whatever. So now, I would like to hear your methodology about what happened the next day on your stream, because you had publicly said... You
explain yourself, Craig.
You had publicly said on Friday,
he says he was fine
you were going to do a decompression day where you guys were just going to sit around playing Mario Kart and shit and having a fun day.
Did you hear the... You picked up on it, but I'm asking chat more than anything. Did you guys pick up on that level of just a pointed finger? Can you tell me your methodology for the next day? I'm sorry, what?
Which methodology? What?
Well, yeah, it's kind of already inappropriate use of language. But also, okay, you're pointing a finger at me right now. You're basically saying,
and you want to tell the audience what you did the next day?
Yeah, I will actually, Phil. I'll let you know what I did.
That was the original intention after this crazy interview.
Yeah, you lied to me and my audience.
Yeah, so you're right. I said we're going to do a decompression stream, and the intention was, you know, and remember, once again, we're a month into the show, and at the time, we actually did test out like Friday gameplay streams, right? We were trying to test those things out. Now, some more context for you.
Exactly, Miss Purple Smoker. Confess to your crimes. How does it feel having the shoe on the other foot?
Adam left. He went to go have some dinner. So, the first time that people saw Adam the next day was when I saw Adam the next day, right? Maybe 60 seconds.
Yeah,
before
exactly,
the
Roach
show.
bait.
Let's clarify. Adam is one of the
they're talking
co-hosts, so people
about
might
this
not
like
know.
it's
He's one of your
freaking
co-hosts on the
9/11.
side-scroller
Yeah,
show.
he was.
For
he was. He's
DSP,
doing
it
his own
was,
thing
man.
now, which is great.
Oh,
DSP.
He just had a kid and like.
What was DSP's 9/11? I would say because you can't just say the burst. That doesn't have the same impact. This seems really inappropriate to be discussing this on the day of, but I've already kind of gotten here. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna. It would be helicopter or panda leaving. Panda leaving.
What was his biggest disaster? And I'm not talking like in terms of, well, okay, the dude masturbated on the internet. Like, what really just utterly evaporated his life? I would almost say him taking down all those videos that got claimed for content ID. Because that shit killed him. That shit killed him in the algorithm. That was a disaster.
Yeah, but you can't call that 9/11 because everyone knew that was bad right away. So you have to think of something that in history when we did something really stupid that screwed us, like shortly thereafter, like longer thereafter.
Okay. I guess the bank leaks then. No, that was still really shitty right at the start. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say his biggest calamity, realistically, was that taking all those videos down. And it was so avoidable.
Oh, the WWE Champions left on his phone.
That one was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. Damn, dude. Right there on frame and everything.
The bankruptcy call, good one.
Bankruptcy call was pretty good. This is how you don't play was pretty rough, though.
I
feel like this is how you don't play was
on the show anytime. Which, by the way, I do think
this is how you don't play was probably
hash it out
one of
as
his
well,
biggest
right?
wasted opportunities.
Okay, so with that said,
because he
so the
did
next
become
day,
pretty popular
we
off
come
that
in
shit,
and
just
we do
shit
a
on it the whole
decompression, and really
time.
just,
Why?
for the first time, have an opportunity to talk about what's happened. Usually, this would happen like you did. You know, you left.
Yeah, I agree, Roach.
And you went on and did your own decompression stream, right?
Losing Twitch partnership was pretty bad too.
That was our first opportunity to do our decompression stream. Now, Adam thought you were full of shit, right? And he said so in so many words, right? And when, you know, I think that's the thing about
YouTube has just
the interview,
been
which
such a
was
good
really unique,
saga
was, you know,
I've just kind
done
of
a lot of
forgotten about
research
Twitch.
on you, and
yeah, me
everything
too.
leading up to based off
for
of,
some reason,
you know,
I just
what,
never think that
right or
DSP
not,
changed
what people were saying
venues.
about
He's
you
always
and
just
questions
been on
about
the
you.
internet.
That's a good. This
Good
is a
enough
good
for me.
point to break off before we get to your Friday stream. So, what exact research
that's
did
the
you
roach
do? Like, who
behind
did you
Pig
talk
Roach.
to? What information were you gathering upon when you went into this interview? Because I think people want to hear your perspective of what your notions.
Yeah,
were
answer
going
for
into
your
this thing
crimes, Craig.
and how it turned out.
Well, I mean, I did talk to pretty much anybody and everybody that I could talk to about you. I mean, I can let me see if I can find my Google Docs about it. And I can tell you exactly
Bring up the docs.
What my research was.
Look.
yeah,
I'm going to be a little egotistical, but can I just get this one time? I want to see my name there next to the line that says, call him out if he uses the escort saga. Please, Craig.
I went in and made that, but I do want to finish. Because
that's what I was doing. I was DMing him about
the
that.
idea
Well, not DMing,
that
but I responded in his Twitter post.
I had a somewhat of a background. I'd done a couple weeks of research on it. Like,
I knew
way more
DSP was going to
research
throw it
than
at
you
him.
Possibly should do for an interview, right? But my thought was, and I said this before, and I'll say this again. I wanted to treat you with respect. I wanted to treat me with respect. I wanted to treat the audience with respect, right? And I had a pretty good idea of what
one
the
thing
audience
this
was gonna
interview
look like, right, for
revealed
this.
is
Here we go. I got this doc right here.
side
Potential
scrollers interview.
DSP question.
Bill will remember until he dies, and Stuttering Craig will forget about in about 5 years.
Yeah, it's going to be the side scrollers interview, and Craig, in addition to that, will be the new helicopter story. I would say that. Because that he repeats the helicopter story. And the helicopter story is this weird tale for him. This tale of ultimate betrayal. You know, he worked so hard showing up for work and sitting there. And they fired him after they gave him an award. An award! You can't do that. And I would say that this is probably on that same level of betrayal. Yeah, you're right. And you're right, Hines. Craig's gonna forget about it in a couple of years. It's gonna be completely meaningless to him. But yeah, Dark Side Phil.
Okay.
He's the guy who masturbated on the stream, right?
It's all various things that we touched on, right?
Now, where did this come from? Was this like you asked people what questions
I hope that
you would want me to ask?
I hope that
DSP
Craig
and
uses
made a
DSP with his children.
Is that what this
like, hey,
document
don't
is?
be like this dude.
No, I think a lot of this was just through various DMs and communication, things that people had asked and wanted to know about you. Obviously, the WWE Champions thing.
Phil helped me change my life.
You know, various
and I'm
clips
being
that
straight. Being honest
broader questions. You know, how do you think?
I'm gonna be real. You guys could even say in the chat what you've changed about your life because of Phil. I will say this: I'm a much more positive person. I'm much more optimistic because my nature is cynicism. I'm a very cranky, frustrated individual with life. I find most of life to be unbearably stupid. But DSP already kind of has that perspective covered. So I tried so hard to move in the other direction. I think I did a pretty good job with it. I feel like I'm a far more positive person because this dude's pissed at everything. He hates everything. What a miserable life. That was me. Damn. Good thing I'm not that way anymore. How did if you're willing to tell me, how did he change your life for the better?
Quit drinking.
But okay, yeah, that's good. Very good. You don't want to be like this dude.
I mean, I was Phil. I would say that I was a smaller Phil because I would say Phil is just an amalgamation of every negative human behavior and emotion that there is.
Yes.
And really, if there's any negative habit or anything bad that you do regularly that you just want to quit doing, just look at Phil and like compare it to yourself and think, is that who I am? Mm-hmm. Is that me?
Oh, absolutely. DSP is a beautiful chimera of all of our worst parts. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Let's see, I'll just go down the list. I've been told not to interview you. Why do you think that is? When you stream, who is streaming, Phil or DSP?
The trick question.
What have you done to change perception?
Basically,
from a
no one.
Production standpoint, right? So, like I said, there's a list of these things,
right?
And then there's like some of my notes in here, right, where we talk about, you know, what there's. I remember one point in particular we were talking about your, you know, you've been doing this forever, but you don't have a business plan or a financial plan. People were really hung up about your taxes, so wanted to touch about that.
Yeah, DSP doesn't have plans because plans are for people who are already successful.
Champions,
stupid.
Which we can talk about that in a little bit.
So Craig, you have to understand. Literally every question you just asked. I mean, just think about it. Every question you just asked is basically like personal stuff, and it's stuff that my detractors would want to know. Okay, so now I'm just telling you from an outside. You know, from your perspective. From an outsider's perspective, or even my perspective, it sounds to me like what you did for 2 weeks is you just said, hey, everyone who doesn't like Phil, contact me.
That's not what he did. That's disingenuous.
I mean, he even had a clip from It's a Gundam, one of the most infamous people who rags on me all the time.
Not really. He doesn't really rag on Phil that much.
At the end of the interview.
It's just whenever he does, it's funny.
What I would like to ask you right now, and I hope that you'll be honest with me.
It's pertinent.
Sure, I will.
In your efforts to gather information about me for this interview, did you talk to anyone who actually likes me?
Well,
hold on.
I think I was open to talk.
Wait, you'll play it, but so the question is, did you talk to anyone who actually likes me? Watch how he follows it up. Watch how he follows this up.
Okay.
To anybody who would, but nobody reached out that said they really liked you. And I don't mean that negatively. I mean, I said I was.
Oh, no, there's a good reason for it, and I'll explain it in a second. But, you know, go ahead.
But, so with that said, like,
so,
you know, when you
why are you asking? So you're asking to waste his time, to play with him, to dick around with him, to dick Craig around, you dickhead.
It feels to me like he's trying to out Craig as being biased or being unprofessional. That this shows that Craig was bad at his job of getting information about Phil because they didn't ask people who liked me. And Craig just kind of perfectly parries and says, dude, the discussion was open. Anybody could have reached out to me. Your fans didn't.
You're going to do an interview with somebody and you say, hey, I'm open to talking to all people. If there are people who go out of their way to like you,
Yeah, the
they
balls
didn't
to
reach
say,
out to
be
me,
honest. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So you know, your theory of like I only collected things from detractors at the time, you know what? It may be right, you know,
But it was only
once
because
again,
of
it wasn't malicious.
because of
These
Phil.
are all things that people were curious about, and you have to admit, Phil, when you're essentially radio silent for a decade and people don't go in and they don't have an opportunity to interview you, it's important to flush those pipes out and just get it all out there, right? It goes back to the elephant in the room, right? When you have this giant elephant.
Wait, DSP should have appreciated it. That was a poop reference.
If you don't have an opportunity to talk about those things, whether they're personal or not, right? Then they should be addressed, because that is what the DSP lore is all about.
Phil,
right.
So he cannot just.
You can see him shaking.
He's horrible.
Yeah, you can see his left arm is tremoring a little bit.
You know, if you did have a, you know, to use the opposite side of this, the detractor versus the champions for DSP, not a single champion reached out and was like, hey,
they're not very good champions.
You know that Phil donates to charity? Do you know, whatever, right? And had they, then we would have. Now, with that said, you know, leading up to this, you also knew what this was going to look like, because you prefaced me. I mean, I have our emails pulled up, and you gave me, like sent me ammo. This is what I think they're going to ask, and I feel like I've addressed a lot of these things. You sent me videos of you addressing these things, but as you said, you wanted this to be the definitive DSP interview, right?
Right.
So if you want it to be the definitive DSP interview,
come on, BR
then naturally I should be listening to everybody who has criticisms of you. And if there is
this is sounding silly. Mods, ban crack.
I wouldn't be doing my job as the interviewer to do
and said that. Did he have mods for this interview? Because he's staring at the fucking chat when Craig's talking.
I think that I don't have an answer to that, but I would suspect that he would. DSP does do kind of rallying cries for mods, which I'll be real. This isn't a bad strategy from Phil. It's actually probably the best strategy he could do with this. When he knows it's going to be a situation where shitheads are going to be showing up in mass, he does call out to mods and say, hey guys, can you show up? And like when Cat came back, I noticed as soon as I saw 6 different wrenches in DSP's chat, we were going to see something pretty monumental. And sure enough, Cat came on. Like, okay, that makes sense. He calls for these dudes. But yeah, I don't know if he had them for this one. I would assume so. Imbo, you ask a good question here. Sorry?
It was a legendary moment when she came on.
Oh,
and yeah, you knew it was going to be a big moment when you heard that rumbling thunder sound coming, and
it's like the T-Rex, man. You got the little my glass started shaking. Imbo asked a question. What question would Dent possibly have? And I was going to bring that up too, in that what exactly information could you glean from DSP supporters? What could you... He's a chill, positive dude who makes content. That's all they're going to say about Phil, because they don't actually have any real information on the guy. Maybe they'd say something like, well, everyone needs to mind their own business. Okay, but that doesn't really answer anything.
Good and bad about the interviewee. Otherwise, it's a fluff piece.
Okay.
Fair
enough, and I accept that answer. But now I'm going to give you my response. Okay.
Sure.
And you probably don't know this.
You don't know this. There you go.
The reason that my fans don't reach out and get involved in this kind of stuff.
I accept your answer.
My detractors, okay, those people who you're talking to get questions to ask me, systematically hunt down, harass, dox, and do horrible things to anyone who publicly supports me. Okay? And I'm not just talking like, oh, someone was in the chat and said I like Phil. I mean, they'll try to hunt these people down, find their social media, find where they live, find where they work, call them, harass them, call them pedophiles, do horrible things to them. There's been supporters documented who give me a $100 tip, and then they get hacked. And stuff. It's real.
Phil, that's good because he wasn't he? I thought we knew this now. I thought we banned him for this.
Wait, what are we talking about?
You
talking about Derek?
Well, he's bitching about how... Yeah, he's bitching about how the detractors go after his fans and like call them pedophiles. Well, they were pedophiles.
Yeah.
This one was a pedophile.
Like DSP, I can
I don't know what
understand
he's
you being
getting at.
annoyed by that. I can understand you being annoyed that your fans get put under the microscope. But if they're put under the microscope and they're squeaky clean, what's the problem? But the other thing that DSP is completely being an asshole about and being very obtuse about is that there's still private DMs. Craig still has an email. They don't have to reach out to him on his replies on Twitter. It still doesn't add up. There were still mechanisms through which they could remain anonymous and reach out to Craig.
Really, really messed up. I mean, case in point, Craig.
I don't know.
Not remember. Maybe you don't remember this. It was
Redemption
like a week or
Games.
two
He's a wild
before
one.
the interview, they tried to dox you. You remember that, right? And I told you about it. I said, just so you know, they gave your an address on the internet, and I don't think it's real. And you know, they did it to you. So if they're doing it to you, obviously they're not going to.
I would say so. 6-star Nick phones
are not going to speak up in a public venue like that and be like, "Oh yeah, now I want to talk about Phil." No, they'll watch me. They'll silently support me as they have done for a very long time. But they're not going to put themselves into the line of fire.
Then you just answered your own question as to why he didn't talk to anyone.
You maybe didn't know that. So I got to give you the benefit of the doubt here. I got to trust you. Say that you were doing what you thought was fair. But
so, hold on. So he admitted that he knows deep down about his fans. He knows that his fans, when the going gets tough for him, that they aren't going to fucking go and help him.
No.
He knows he's on his own.
Yeah.
They're not. Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job of shitting on his fans indirectly. But I think that on some level,
well, not even shitting on his fans, shitting on himself.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's by extension. I think that on some level, DSP recognizes that his viewer base is very low functioning. And I suppose you could almost consider it a form of empathy, that he wants to protect them from us. I guess you could almost make that argument. But then he has to know exactly what you said, that these dudes will flee on him the very second something goes wrong. So that's a good fan base to have.
You're thinking, okay, he's going to ask tough questions, but at the same time, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the positivity about Phil's 16
People are telling me I love
YouTube.
that name.
The good old days, or even what's good about what he does today, how he's improved, stuff like that. Like, there was none of that. It was literally just like
I would say
negative,
I've been in
negative.
I've been watching detractor stuff since probably 2017, 2018. I think it was probably 2019. I was LARPing once, and I was drunk, and I was being a Phil, literally. LARPers are Phils. They're mini Phils. Don't forget that. And I gave Phil $5, and I asked him if he would be shutting the business down soon.
And he shut you down soon, didn't he?
No. He read out the whole thing. He appreciated my first part of my LARPing, because the first half was a good LARP. And then the second half, he's like, I don't appreciate how you said that. And it got uploaded by Aquateal. So that is basically all I have for detracting history.
Man, you know the giving Phil money thing was a bad idea. Well, I'm sure I don't need to beat you up over it. You probably beat yourself up over it already.
Negative. Now,
That's
I told
good.
you I was okay with that.
It's a good history.
But from, again, outsider, they're looking at the situation like Craig just sat around for 2 weeks claiming he did all this research, and all he literally did was talk to the people who hate Phil the most, compiled it into a ball of negativity.
Well, I actually started watching
and
Phil
that's
himself,
the perception of that interview.
Like in 2010, 2011.
Really? Holy shit.
So legitimately, so I was big into the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, the PvP multiplayer.
Yeah.
So Brotherhood, Revelations 3 and 4. I was legitimately one of the top 100 people in the world at that game.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, I was one of the gatekeepers on it.
God damn, I hate you. Continue. I'll elaborate on my hatred later.
And Phil, his Brotherhood gameplay was the first thing that I saw, and Yeah, he is a moron. He is horrible at Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Yeah, I'll just say that. And I learned at the age of 12 that this man-child exists, and it depressed the shit out of me then, and it depresses the shit out of me now.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I think I've asked this to the chat multiple times, and I'm gonna ask again, because what was a game that you had no trouble with as a kid? And I'll say kid age is 14 and under. Maybe even 13 and under, just in terms of this question, all right? I don't want to say anything stupid. Just in the sake of this question, 14, 13 or younger, a game you had zero trouble with that DSP struggled with. For me, it was Sonic Adventure 2. I had no problems with that game. That game was easy. DSP couldn't play it. It was too hard for him. But Assassin's Creed multiplayer, I had a lot of fun on that. Now, I hated when people were getting a little too good. I got a little cranky about that. But his multiplayer gameplay, I haven't actually watched a whole lot of it. I really should get around to watching it.
It's horrible. Now that I would watch, that I think that would be a good watch along.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. That might be. Is there a This Is How You Don't Play strictly for the multiplayer? Because if there is, I have to set it aside.
Oh, I don't know.
This is how you don't play Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
No. Well, I'll look into it a little
Well,
bit
I
further.
mean, the videos speak for themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure I could just find some
we'll
footage of it on his old channel.
His point from those who aren't my detractors, basically. In fact, just
30-year-olds are kids. Phil told me so. That's true. He was just a young kid at the age of 32.
Doing a documentary with this year said to me directly, "You realize that side-scrollers interview was just for your detractors, right? Like no one else.
No, it was for you, Phil.
No
it was your opportunity to redeem yourself.
It was literally a detractor interview, and it's all it'll ever be. That's why you should do positive content like a documentary, because you need to have parts of your truthful nature, your personable, personality.
Greg's kind of
no one
checking
saw
out here
that
a little bit
in the interview because it was literally
Updating
detractor
his
question,
email.
detractor question, detractor question.
With all due respect to Mike, do you not think he was just puffing up your chest to try to get you to do a documentary with him?
Of course he was. I mean, let's be honest. Of course he wanted to do a documentary with me, but I mean,
obviously,
all this
everyone loves
nonsense,
Phil.
There's always a little moment of truth, right? And it rings true. That interview, if you watch it back, you don't get to learn anything about me besides all the things people don't like about me, and that sucks because that's there forever.
We learned a lot in the side
a video that
interview.
Launched
For
you
real.
guys into prominence for a while.
I wonder if you could do like a well, it'd be impossible to do because it would be opinions, but it would be.
Oh, look at the crack face.
That is a good. That is good. You know what? I'm saving that one. That's a good. That's a good emoji.
He's just like
Yeah,
the
no.
smell of bullshit.
Yeah, that's not what happened, Phil. What's this? It doesn't matter. Moving on.
I think you can agree. Can we agree there? Can we just say that interview did give you a launching board to popularity, right? And I'm not saying that anything that came after is a result of me. I'm not. But was that not the piece of content
Nah.
that launched your show into prominence and people wanted to hear from the side scrollers?
I think that it raised awareness that side scrollers was bad.
Yeah, at
But
best.
to think that anybody who watched that, like, I would say, we had, Phil, 2,500 people tuned in live to watch that show, right? We had 3,000 watching our show today, right?
That's right.
Of that 3,000 who watched our show today, how many of those of that 2,500 were there?
Probably zero, because your show today
Right.
is a different show. It's completely
Right.
different content.
Well, it's not an interview. It's not about Phil. And I think I recognize that, right? Now, did it raise awareness? Sure. Is it why the show's been successful? No.
Oh, no, and I agree with
Craig
you. Your
just
show
got
is
he
taken
got
off.
to
And
the
I
point
want to say
that
kudos
what
and
Phil
congrats to
needs to
you
fucking
for
hear.
having a very successful show
The
now.
world doesn't revolve around you. That's what Phil needs to hear. The world doesn't revolve around you.
DSP is very obsessed with credit, and it's I mentioned this the other day. I kind of alluded to it a little bit. that DSP and Dale differ in some elements of their narcissism. They are ultimately basically tied. However, one of the things that DSP has that Dale doesn't really have is DSP is obsessed with credit. He wants credit for things, even things that he doesn't really want credit for. He just needs the credit. You know, he invented couch co-op. He invented that. Think about that. When you guys were playing Sega Genesis with your buddies on the couch, DSP invented that. You know, he wants credit for the term playthrough, a phrase that predates Phil. He wants credit for it. And even right here, you've got DSP wanting to take credit for Craig's success. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me that DSP is so desperate for that kind of stuff. And to his credit, Dale doesn't really do that. In fact, Dale's kind of weird. He doesn't really want to be remembered for playing video games. Kind of bizarre.
I mean, it's blown up, and that's great.
DSP has a low self-esteem, and Dale
didn't know about side scrollers until my interview. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's true.
It raised awareness. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. But just like
he invented vlogs.
The Tetris CEO, or us talking about Concord or Dustborn or whatever.
Actually, I think DSP invented inventing. So
we were trying to figure out what the show was, and it took about a year before we figured out what the show was.
Yeah, you remember you were saying on the show,
and he backtracked super hard there. Like, you see that?
It's completely flipped.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got your own show going on now.
I disagree. I don't think what we talk about is politics at all. I think we talk about the culture of this stuff. Fair
enough. Okay, not hardcore politics. I agree with you there.
Very rarely do we actually talk about, Democrats or Republicans or anything like that. No, we talk about the culture associated.
Culture, I get it.
Okay, moving on. DSP's done with this conversation.
Video game perspective, it's way more important than whether a game gets a 7 or an 8 in a score.
The reason why our society and culture is so polarized is because we aren't willing to talk about these issues. Mm-hmm. We avoid them.
Oh, yeah.
So it just Phil with his it's politics, so it's just inherently bad, or I think he's even insinuating that it's like lowbrow drama content, which it can be. It certainly can be. But if in a lot of cases people fucking work their asses off on it, so he's part of the problem, I guess, in my view on this one.
I would say so because DSP is not unique in that. DSP is a quality gatekeeper, the legitimacy of stuff. You know, this isn't pertinent. People don't care about this kind of thing. This is drama. No one's interested in drama. But like, dude, things are only taboo if you approach it that way. If you guys want to have a discussion about politics, you can. But it's people, exactly as you said, it's people like DSP that make it a problem. And then he tries to lord it over you. You're the problem here. I'm like, dude, you're the only one with the issue.
Yeah. And I think that's.
I like your insights, Hines.
You see a number of the reason why side scrollers is working is in our.
I hope you don't mind that I'm just repeating your points back to you. Maybe it just shows that I understand.
I'm not toxified. Normal men. They're called normal men for a reason, because there's a bunch of normal men who are looking around going yo, what the hell's happening? And this isn't right. This is not normal. And
I feel
the thing
like
about side scrollers, we do the exact
same thing. In fact, talk more, man. Because these dudes here in the chat hear my dumb ass all day. They don't need to hear me all the time. Get in there.
Different package, because a decade ago,
DSP, that's how you be a host. Being a host is cool because then you can kind of kick back.
Stupid shit that happens in the video game space that we can talk about it every day. It's the same premise. It's just in a different package.
If DSP was a talk show host, he would spend so long in his monologue that he forgot to have guests.
The show was evolving, the show was changing, and we haven't done like an interview on the show in I'd say almost a year. Because the interviews were fine, and they were originally supposed to be a regular weekly part of the show. But once again, it takes a while to figure out what the show is, and now we have a good idea of what the show is, who our audience is.
What's Phil's show?
And we're there.
You got this old guy. He kind of shows up and starts crying.
Raise awareness, absolutely. But
he starts banning people.
I'd say it's a chapter of
those new little trinkets he's got behind him now. I don't get why he thinks that he's upgraded. Like, just get a green blanket.
Yeah, for real, man. How much do green screens cost, DSP? How much do they cost? Let's look at it on Amazon real quick here. My wife caught me. She found my search history the other day. It was really embarrassing, Hines. She said, why is there in our recent searches on Amazon a full gorilla costume? Well, I guess it's not going to be a surprise party now.
Well, honey, you were just gonna go ape when you saw it.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna use it for future monkey-based collaborations. Dude, it's $10. You can get a green screen for $10 on Amazon. Dude, you're a bum, Phil.
Of the side scroller story, and it just
I'm going to be honest. Outside of my PC, I think I've invested more into content creation, and I haven't even started, than Phil has in 10 years.
No, definitely. DSP is minimum effort all the time.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You know what he needs to do, Hines? He needs to make that the draw. He needs to make it the draw that he's using vintage tech. I think it could work. I think that could work because, you've got like candy shops and whatnot that operate on vintage tech. You got the old hand press machines, stuff like that. And they use molasses and sugar combinations right there, and it's sold on that. It's sold on the notion that, hey, this is old-timey bullshit. Enjoy. DSP should do that with his streams. He should stream with a camera from 2004. I think that'd be great. That'd be terrible, but it'd be funny.
Is a chapter of the DSP story.
See, I just went on that long-ass rant that went nowhere. Hines, you got to save me from this.
I'm not trying to take credit for it whatsoever in that regard. You've done good for yourself, putting it in its
I'll
new
be honest,
space, and it stands out.
As someone who kind of grew up seeing, I grew up with those, ring phones, rotary phones.
That's what
it's called. For, a year. And I had dial-up. Yeah, I had it for a year. And then I had dial-up. And yeah, so I remember the older technology, the Kelso TVs, those giant TVs that you could kill someone with.
Oh yeah, we had one.
Yeah, I would totally get down with old technology like that.
Yeah. Whenever I see videos on look, sorry, maybe this sounds like I'm a Chinese spy, which I'm not. I'm not getting any money for it. I keep sending them emails and I keep saying, you know what they say in China, and then I do the DSP line and then say, can you guys give me money? But on TikTok, every once in a while you find there's this dude who his challenge, his whole gimmick is that he finds ancient ass technology and runs games on it. He ran Elden Ring on a TV that I think my grandpa had. It was cool. It was cool that he did it. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Man, DSP, you're missing out. DSP, go ask your mom if you can take the TV. Yeah. You probably still have it.
Getting back to now, because we did get derailed there, talking about the beforehand. So the interview happens. All of a sudden, all eyes are on you guys because you did this interview with DSP. Friday is supposed to be a decompression stream with Mario Kart.
Did you get two business lines?
It turns into something else. So now let's get into this. So what actually went down?
Oh, finally, we got to the damn thing we were supposed to discuss.
We talked about things, and we do what we do every day. We just talked about what's in the news. The difference was that we were the news, and the interview was the news in the sphere. And people wanted to hear our thoughts about it for the first time, and that was the first time we'd got together. So you listen to your audience, and when the audience says, we want to hear your thoughts about what happened yesterday.
DSP doesn't know what this guy's talking about.
For us, it was a Friday, so naturally we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna give the weekend to decompress, and then we're gonna resume the show on normal on Monday. It doesn't matter if Mario Kart was played or not. The intention was still the same, was to talk about.
Oh, that's cool, little Shadow.
What just happened.
See, I just love technology stuff like that. Because it reminds me of old vintage Star Wars. You got Han Solo plugging in some bullshit he found into the hyperdrive and it starts flying. I think that's cool.
Was it honest? Yes. And honestly, I think
when you do that in real life, it feels cool.
To the reasons why we were upset was, and specifically Adam was upset, was because he smelt shit, and whenever he'd say it was like talking in circles. And I think that there's like a lot of like
Ooh,
a
this
lot
is
of
good.
that stemmed from the WWE Champions thing. That's where a lot of the meat came from, right? So we asked you about that several times. You know, we got the runaround on it. We all knew it was the runaround, right? There were, you know, we talked about you sharing your account, and then
DSP's nodding his head. Yep, I lied to you.
Didn't happen,
yeah, I lied to you.
And that was when the internet went out and everything associated with that. And so you know, we were upset about it, right? Because we smelt the shit. And I think that there's like actually like a lot of irony when it comes to this, in that like just was yesterday, you know, I get sent clips to you all the time, and leading up to this especially, you know, where you talked about WWE Champions, and you said that, you know, you spent you know, forever lying about it, right? So with that said, like, do you think that you know, you admitted to lying about this?
Man, look at
right?
this defensive posture DSP
Do you
has.
think that we had a right to be upset because we felt you were lying? We knew you were lying. You admitted to lying. Do you feel that we had a right to be upset the next day?
Well,
let me okay.
Hold on.
Let me put it into these terms.
Oh,
okay?
I would, Sue. I would be very nervous. Because I'd be
guest is
embarrassed
gonna
that
be on
I would be scared to be
and they're gonna
embarrassing.
interviewed, and they know there's going to be hard-hitting questions. And
That wasn't the answer to the
previously
question, DSP.
established, all right, we knew all this was going to happen. That's why I agreed to do the interview, because I felt like this is going to be it, the definitive interview or whatever.
Wait, hold on a second.
All this, and there's going to be.
Yeah, go back. What was the question?
We had a right that you were lying. We knew you were.
Do we
lying.
have a right to be mad at you for lying?
Do you feel that we had a right to?
Very
be
simple
upset the
question.
next day?
What do you got, Phil?
Well, let me put it into these terms. Okay. When a guest is going to be on a show and is going to be interviewed, and they know there's going to be hard-hitting questions, and that was all previously established.
Dude,
right? We
answer
knew
the
all
question,
this
man.
was going to happen.
Yes or no will do fine.
That's why I agreed to do the interview, because I felt like this is going to be
To
the
lie?
definitive interview or whatever. Okay. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect that the next day after the interview you were going to do that. You didn't even tell the public you were going to do that. And now, let's be honest here.
Oh, hold on a second, DSP. Let me stop you there.
I'm sorry that hurt your feelings. Like, okay, what right do you have to control what the fuck he does on his fucking stream outside of, like, what you have scheduled together? Okay, so the next day he talks about you. That's his fucking business. What right do you have to control him and tell him that his behavior, he's behaving wrong? Fuck off, Phil. Fuck off.
I love that energy. Thank you very much, Hines. And not even because you put the question in the chat. Thank you. We're not even talking about what he was even the question. Phil, you're getting off track here. And furthermore, what's DSP trying to say here? Is he trying to say if I had known that you guys were going to publicly call me a liar, I wouldn't have lied to you? You should always assume that's the case, because you should always be ready to accept that people are going to say, yeah, I talked to this dude and he's full of shit. DSP just assumes everyone's going to be quiet or mum about things. But it's kind of weird that DSP would think that. This dude has his opinion on everything. But no one else is allowed to have their opinion. If I had known you guys were going to be mad, I wouldn't have lied.
What happened on that Friday show is you talked to my detractors almost the entire show. You were reading all of their contributions as they rolled in. I think some of them were previously from the interview the day before. I want to be fair here. I think
you did shout me out on that stream, by the way. You shouted out Linda Durango.
There was a ton of contributions that came in that day from my detractors. So you just sat there reading them. And
okay,
you're upset with
this
me.
Is
you
like
don't
one
believe
business.
me.
Okay, imagine you're selling. One business has sold you 1,000 tacos. Okay.
Okay, I was very hungry.
It's for a big promotion. It's Taco Tuesday year, okay? Whatever.
Oh, sweet, okay.
And you know what? They only sell 900 tacos on Taco Tuesday year. Oh. So, you know what? We're going to sell what we have left the next day. But the other business, well, how fucking dare you? We sold it to you for Taco Tuesday year.
Yeah.
This is what he's on about. He's...
You're right, Hines. It's this really stupid adherence to rules thing. Like, well, you guys said you wouldn't do this. I'm like, DSP, you say you're not going to do all kinds of things, and then you do it. And here's the thing, DSP, that's entirely you're right. That's entirely you're right. If DSP comes on stream tomorrow and says, yeah, I was going to play Marvel versus Capcom, but screw that shit. I want to play more WWE Champions. It's his right. 100%. But that right extends to other people, man. They can do whatever they want.
Scam people, you gonna spend it on burgers?
What's this?
Phil's mad because they didn't presume he was telling the truth after the interview despite actually lying. It's retroactive baby rage.
Yeah, for real, Meth Bear. He acts like they violated some non-disclosure agreement. You guys promised you wouldn't have an opinion. What? That's not a promise. Did we write this out? Now, if DSP said that they violated the non-disclosure agreement, well, technically that would be a problem. But yeah, I guess he just assumed that they were going to come on stream and say, well, that's his side of things. Anyway, let's play some Mario Kart. No.
I get it. Okay, so this is what has happened. He is the prime suspect that got brought in for an interview, and he goes through the interview and he gives up everything, but he doesn't really know it yet. And so afterwards he's like, oh, interview went fucking great. You know, I got away with it. And then the analysis comes and he gets arrested, and then he gets pissed.
Yes.
And then he's upset about the interview and he doesn't want it admitted in court.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh, I love that comparison. That is 100% Phil. Phil is that dumbass in those police videos. You know, it's like, oh, this was before, you know, she got killed. But anyway, what? They think I killed her. Well, you said that. That's good, Hines. I like that. Thank you very much, Meth Bear. I appreciate that.
You smell shit, all right? But there's a difference between saying, well, we just did this big interview, we don't believe him, versus actually, like, actively participating in memes that they have about
that's
me.
The problem. If you're participating in memes, it's a death penalty.
On the show, Craig, together. As if this was something
come on,
funny
DSP. That's the least offensive meme you have.
I was a guest on your show the day before for 5 hours. I was on your show. And answered hard-hitting questions.
I'm going to ask that to you, Hines. What is DSP's least offensive meme? Well, a couple of them are kind of mean to him, which I don't care. They're still funny. But I would say ack is probably the least offensive you got. It's just his laughing style. That's fine.
I would say
the tacos mango flavored, please, sir.
Probably.
Did you? I apologize.
I would go with the valedictorian. I would go with the fact that he's a valedictorian.
Yeah, it's not offensive. It's not
because
hurtful.
It's a mock. Yeah, it's not offensive at all. But if you bring it up, he'll be offended by it.
Yeah, he gets cranky about it.
Think you're mocking him.
He feels defensive about it. And like, what's there to be defensive about? DSP, honestly, you should just lord it over people all day. That's what he should bring up every day. Is like, anyway, valedictorian's streaming now. Yeah, your ad's not bad.
Believe the answers.
Hold on. Did you answer? Because you.
Oh, I did. Oh, indeed, I answered. You just didn't like the answers.
Phil, don't flip that on me because you didn't. You were dishonest with us, and we smelt that.
It's still an answer. It doesn't matter if it's honesty or not. It's still an answer.
Then let me ask you. Phil, don't answer.
As if this was something funny to do to deride Phil. I was the guest on your show the day before for 5 hours. I was on your show and answered hard-hitting questions. You didn't have to believe the answers.
Hold on. Did you?
He acts like that's a gift.
Because you.
Oh, I did. Oh, indeed, I answered. You just didn't like the answers.
Phil, don't flip that on me because you didn't. You were dishonest with us, and we smelt that.
It's still an answer. It doesn't matter if it's honesty or not. It's still an answer.
Then let me ask you this, Phil. Will you?
That might be the quote of the century from Phil. That might be the quote of the year, at least. Like, it doesn't matter that I was lying to you. You still should have accepted it.
This is his wrestling mindset. He thinks everything's a work, and other content creators, they're other wrestlers. So we're here to work together. We're here to get one over on people.
That's very well said, Hines. Because that extends even beyond the streaming stuff. That's why he had so many issues with the FGC. He thought people would get the joke that he was a wrestling heel and talk shit back and hype things up. Nah, man, that's lame. First of all, it's lame. Second of all, I don't think it's funny. But yeah, you're right. He thinks that we're all just supposed to be in on this joke with him. I'm like, buddy, no one's joking but you. That's good. I like that. That's an interesting insight.
This is what I can do when I'm not on a keyboard.
Do what now?
Well, when I'm on a keyboard, I type out like a whole fucking paragraph, and then we're off topic by that point.
Well, I mean, that's my
like,
fault.
In other streams.
I mean, I'm all over the place. I admit it. Look, maybe this is just a moment of sobriety on my part. I kind of am surprised that people even watch my stuff. It's like, dude, I just go off on these long-winded bullshit-ass rants that go nowhere and ultimately ends in DSP being some sort of space alien who sees the time of future and whatnot. I was like, what the hell am I even talking about? But I appreciate Hines. You keep it grounded.
Will you apologize for lying to us?
No, that's not an option.
That's where a lot of that came from. It's like, we knew you were lying, right?
Okay.
And I gave you an opportunity.
I'm supposed to be the heel. Yeah, just play along, idiot.
With you. Phil, just come clean.
I'll play along with you, Phil.
And the opportunity was there. And had you just come clean at that instance, everybody would move past this. So I do think that, like, once again, why were we upset, Phil? What's the root of all this? We felt and we knew and we smelt a lie. We smelt it, right? So, and you admitted yesterday to lying to us. So that to me stings, because you're not only lying to me, you're lying to your audience, you're lying to my audience, and you're lying to everybody else. So you should apologize to me and Adam and Travis and Blabs and everybody else who watched that show, because they were expecting the definitive DSP.
Yeah, because that's what DSP billed it as.
Was lies. That's not definitive.
It's the definitive lie.
That's the issue I had with this.
Okay, now since we're getting into the nuance of it, let's talk, because
he did never answer the question.
No nuance.
That's what we're talking about. Let's hone in on it.
Will you apologize though? Because that's
let's hold on. Let's talk. Let's do this.
Oh, this is what I was waiting for. This is the energy I was looking for.
Demand something from me now. Let's talk like men.
I'm
demanding shit from you, Phil.
If in that interview, all right, I had been honest with you and completely transparent, and I said, fessed up to everything.
This is where it gets really delusional.
Immediately, you would have said, that's great. Prove it. Correct? You would have said, prove everything you're saying.
We gave you the opportunity to.
Okay, now let's be real about this, because I don't want you to lie to the internet about it. I want to be real about this.
I'm not going to lie to the internet. I'm not.
In that interview, all right, you said to me, show me evidence of what stuff you're saying, show me screen captures or whatever, and I'm going to be honest with you. No, I was never going to do that on the fly, because I'm the kind of guy, I want to make sure if I'm going to do something like that, I want to make sure everything's safe. I want to make sure it's correct. I'm not going to send you something just to say it wasn't good enough. I want you to show you the definitive evidence to prove what I'm saying or whatever.
No. So, see, this is coped me. This is coped me. Because if you were really that committed to your innocence, okay, yeah, you can want to be safe about your information. You really can. Okay, I'll give you that. But you're telling me that this dude can't think of any better way to do it? He can't say, all right, you know what? Let's end the stream here. I'm going to start a private stream with you, Craig. Or something like, just something other than nothing. Okay.
It's almost on the level of the 1980s mobster sitting in court. Your Honor, on the advice of counsel, I reserve my right to not answer your question, and I invoke the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, you just get Fifth Amendment with this dude all day. Even when you're looking at the footage of him shooting up the Italian-style restaurant. I don't know, man. I don't know. That could be any Phil Burnell.
So I'm thinking in my head during the interview, because I didn't know you were going to hit me with that. Honestly, I thought
no
you were
problem,
ask
Kitty.
Questions and I was going to answer.
They were fun questions.
This is your opportunity to actually clear this up.
By the way, he never answered the question.
So I'm thinking in my head, okay, how can I prove it? How can I do this? How can I do that? I need to get this stuff together for you, right?
Exactly.
And you had left
DSP's
the door
wife's
open.
boyfriend.
In fact,
this was the definitive
lie. In the
lie.
interview, we were talking about this. If you want to, clarify everything, you can send it to me after we're done here. We even left the door open for that, correct? You remember
the door
that, right?
open?
I'm not making that up. That was correct.
Right, and to be clear, I actually have our emails. Pulled up,
which was weird as hell.
I think that itself, you can read your part and I can read my part, just so everybody is on the same page and there's full clarity on all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I don't need to read them. I know exactly what they say.
Well, I think it's important. Just
Here's another thing he could have done.
This is us.
Here's another thing he could have done. He could have turned off the feed on Streamlabs of what you're seeing, and he could have just held up his phone to Craig and Adam. because they're there on Skype, I believe, or not Skype. What the hell am I saying? They're on Discord. So couldn't he just show them that way? I don't understand. And where I'm going with this is that if DSP was really this committed to proving his innocence, he would be the guy trying to figure out how to make it work. But instead, he's just always helpless. You can't be helpless and innocent. You actually have to be trying to prove your innocence.
But
yeah,
see, this was laziness.
Yeah, it was laziness
because he would have had to go get a phone set up.
Once again, this
he would
is
have
part
had to
of
get
the
a new
story of how we
phone.
got here, right? So I do think it's important because I don't want to leave any context out. So
I mean, the reality is
mind
that
if I read our
DSP he was screwed
after the just our back and forth that we had after, because I think it does provide context to what we're talking
Join
about.
my clan,
Sure,
but I have to protect my family.
The
But
email
there's
that was sent
my
after
new
I got
WWE
off the
Champs
show.
account. I tied payment
yeah.
methods.
Because
Oh
I
yeah,
did there was
nice.
an email then, and then I emailed you again after I'd eaten dinner about, are you available? Are you going to be checking this email box? And that was where we had left it. And then the
Those
next
bullets
day,
were
you
not
told me something
authentic
in the morning,
Italian bullets.
correct?
Yeah.
That's the chain of events.
I only use
Okay,
authentic
so
ones.
I
You can't put this on me.
happened on, I guess we talked March
Hold on,
16th of last year.
What's up?
Listen
right?
to this.
All right.
So you emailed me at
No,
8:18.
listen how
Said, hey
nutty
Greg,
he is.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts on how the show went. I
Okay.
really hope that it was a big benefit to you guys. If so, this may have been the only time in history that my infamy has actually helped something. I know
This dude
you'll-
sucks
I
his
know
own
you'll wanna
dick
get
in his
back
own
to
emails.
normalcy, but I'm looking forward to hearing from you again about the possible next appearance. My viewers are telling me that they think that you and Adam were too harsh, but I disagree completely. As I told you on
nice.
the
Throw them
podcast,
under the bus.
You are nothing but fair. But there is pretty much 100% consensus that the Keemstar bit was intrusive, gave him free plugs for his own content,
Yeah, exactly,
and
Lex.
took away about an hour that should have been more on topic. I didn't mind. I didn't mind, but that's the vibe my viewers are sharing with me. I would likely be best for a repeat appearance to just be us, to avoid people feeling like it was a quote surprise or trick or shock me. How often do you check this email? I'm still 50-50 on showing you my Champions account at this point, especially because
Sounded
of
kind
what
of pathetic
Keemstar
there.
said. I feel nobody would be able would believe you
How
even if
fucking
you
nuts
vouched
is
for me.
he?
But I respect you and still considering it, despite the fact I'm incredibly scared my info will once again leak and hurt me. So that was the email that you sent me at 8:18.
Okay, which was 5:18 my time. Well, actually, I don't know what time zone you are, but it was
Central. So 6:18 your time.
gotcha. So
Okay.
it was right after dinner. Correct. Now
Oh, all
I will
right.
clarify what was going on. Okay.
So he stayed up
Now,
all
did you
night.
did you
Yeah.
see my show
Man,
last night? Where
I'm telling you, DSP's eyes were glued to his email all night. This dude didn't get any sleep that night.
If he was up at 6 a.m., he was up all night.
I thought he said it was 6 p.m. because he said it was after dinner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
That's fair.
I still
That's a
insist.
long email. Fucking shoot out.
Man, look, I get it. Sometimes you got an email that's kind of stressed out. I sent one the other day because I'm looking for leave coverage because I'm planning on taking a vacation at some point. And I was calling the lady and she wasn't responding. I got terrified. DSP would like yell at her. What's up?
Yeah, Roach Bait hit it. I'm emailing you to tell you I'm gonna email you. it's exactly what happened.
That's wonderful.
Also, yeah, I could tell you. I can just imagine working with Phil and just getting these fucking long emails.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is probably part of why he got fired. Is his boss was like, dude, I'm not gonna fucking read this. Like, I'm not reading all this nonsense. Phil, this is actually advice to Phil. Just take what you have typed out when you're all done, throw it in the chat GPT and ask it to make it concise for you.
That's
and
not a
you're
bad.
good to go,
That's not a
buddy.
bad suggestion. I think DSP could be assisted by AI in a lot of ways, but he would never trust it. I think he should have AI do his pre-streams.
talk the truth about WWE Champions for the
But
very
yeah,
first
you're
time.
right.
Have you
I'm
seen
sure
that at
DSP
all?
was a
You were-
terrible
I had
person to
I had
work with.
I had a clip sent to me. But
Okay.
I haven't like watched the whole thing. I've watched.
Okay.
Like,
You know, he would email someone in
In a
HR,
nutshell.
get super
All right,
pissed and
yeah,
annoyed,
the
go
account was
down there,
mine.
bang on their door,
I had it for many
demand to know
years,
why the
and
email
after
wasn't
years of
answered.
harassment by my
Never mind,
detractors, I
DSP was
sold the
management
account.
material.
Okay, so at the time that we're doing this interview, I don't
No,
have
listen to this
access
stuff.
to the account, so I can't
We have
prove
something like that done here.
really anything, right? All I could do is I could show you like a new account, which is the account that I had currently. If you remember, you would ask me straight up in the interview, hey, do you still play WWE Champions? Yes, I do. But it's on this new account. It's not the original account that the detractors knew about and were stalking me for all these years.
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't really care about WWE.
Okay, no, fair, but
really
here's,
don't. Like, I
I
don't.
understand, but you have to understand the situation.
Oh,
So
God,
I'm saying
just
to you,
keep droning on then.
I'm 50-50 on sending it, but if you had said to me, yeah, okay, I'm still open to it, send, I was going to show you the new account. I was going to try to explain all this to you and say, this is why I can't just on a whim show you everything. It wouldn't have worked. You easily could have said, oh, you made this up. This is a bullshit new account or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a convoluted story. It is,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, it's convoluted because
So
of you,
what was
dude.
your
You're the one who makes it
response to me
complicated.
reaching out to you, saying, hey, I have the information. I'm 50-50.
Yeah, I
on it."
hadn't
What was your
considered all the
response to that?
unban me emails he
Yeah.
gets.
So
I want
and once
DSP
again,
to
let's-
leak an
let's
unban me
make sure we
email
have
of his
all
own.
references here.
Mhm.
It's you send that March 16th at 18 p.m. So
Mhm.
it's evening time for me, right? My morning routine is I wake up and I start prepping for the show, right? So we're live at 11. I'm getting up. I'm getting prepped for everything. I have not checked this email, right? I've not checked this email, and you know because I told you prior to in our original correspondence, I don't check this email. I don't check this email very often. Sometimes it'll go weeks before I check the email, right? So you know this. So so you send me that email. The following day, March 17th, I respond at 7:45. That's the next time we have any sort of correspondence.
Is that AM or PM?
It doesn't matter.
PM.
Okay.
So it's been about 23 hours.
What kind
And
of
you've
line
already
of questioning
done your
was
show
that?
For Friday, it's already taken
Right.
place.
Okay, continue.
It's done.
Doesn't matter.
So here's my response to you.
Okay, let's hear it.
I said, and I felt like this was a very fair very fair assessment of things. And you can tell me if I'm wrong. I said, hey, Phil, I think the show went okay yesterday. We talked about it at length on today's show as a debrief. I think
Yeah,
we
exactly.
were all
6-star Nick
left-
phones. This dude's
I think
glued
we
to
all
his
left the
OBS.
interview mentally exhausted and feeling incredibly frustrated as at the end of the day, we want what's best for you, man. The things that are laid out about everything, the WWE mobile games, the bank stuff,
AM or
etc.,
PM, pick one,
it
man.
just doesn't make sense, man. There's too much evidence saying it's yours, and your only evidence is just saying it's not. I feel like we gave you multiple opportunities to turn this thing around, but you just seem so dug in. Even in the face of insanely detailed evidence, you wouldn't take it. Even with Keemstar coming on, I tried to lay out the similarities you feel towards him and the way people feel about
Yeah, exactly,
you
Wilson.
based
It's
off
very
of things that you
obnoxious.
said online.
DSP is
It
not
was
smart
tough.
enough to do this.
Honestly, I'm just disappointed.
I forget who
man.
said it. I want
Like
to
I
give proper attribution, but I legitimately forget which detractor said this, and it was so beautiful. I'm kind of just repeating it, but it was DSP was trying to be us during this interview with Craig. He was trying to be any of the detractors who were able to catch DSP on an inconsistency or a lie. He thought he could do that same technique with Craig, and it just really did not pay off because he doesn't have the skill set for it. He's not smart enough to do it.
Said I and we want what's best for you, man. We very much do, but you have to want what's best for yourself.
Yeah.
When you're ready to take that step, I will gladly help you, man. Help you, man, on your journey. You deserve to get to level 2. I know you can do it.
Look, can
And
you
that's
put it in
the-
like
that's
some
the
sort of
email
AI
that I
speak?
sent to you, and I think that was very fair.
Exactly,
You know, I
Spurs'
did not
moniker.
lie to you and be like, "Hey, Phil, it was great. It was spectacular. Can't
Fair,
wait to
it was-
set up number 2."
It was
As I said in the email,
an
we were
olive branch. It was a hand up. It was an offer to pull him out of addiction. At least his mobile gaming addiction. And it's more than fair. It's kindness. Anyways.
It
go
is.
on.
No, and you're absolutely right, Hines. And it goes to show that no good deed goes unpunished. Because Adam and Craig, maybe not even so much Adam, fine, I'll factor Adam out of the equation. Craig really was trying to reach out to Phil. Because what Phil will never accept or will never give Craig credit for, is that yes, it was a big groundbreaking thing for Craig to basically have DSP more or less confirm that it's him through his evasiveness. But it also would have been a huge boon for Craig if he had been the dude who exonerated Phil or got Phil the help that he needs or something. That also would have been a success for Craig. So there was no motivation to dirty Phil. And Phil will never accept that because he doesn't see it that way. He doesn't see friendship that way. He doesn't see compassion that way. It's what you saw with Howard and John. He hated them, even though they only ever cared about him. Well, maybe not even Howard, but John cared about him. He just doesn't accept that. He doesn't see that as compassion.
Exhausted.
But you're right.
And
this was kindness.
Mentally tired from it, physically tired from it. And
not much, Wesley. Just this dude.
We talked about that.
Lying his ass off.
We talked about that on the following debrief.
Stop. I think the reason why he rejects the kindness is because, at least subconsciously, he knows that he's not deserving of it.
Man, that's dark as hell. I really would be curious to know about DSP's subconscious, even though it is all terrifying and horrible. How much does DSP really know about himself? Like, is he really aware that he is a horrible loser who deserves nothing? And that goes along with what you're saying, Hines. Is DSP aware that he doesn't deserve this? That's a good question.
No, he can't, because if the moment you become aware, like you gain that mindfulness, when you stop thinking about what Phil needs to do is he needs to just, I mean, literally touch grass, just like put his hands on his desk, like smell around and think like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing. And he doesn't give himself that time to do it. And really, the addiction with the mobile games, the distraction, yeah, it hurts. So, yeah, he's a wreck.
Something you said there was very specifically something I latched on there was that DSP is an indication of when it's bad to live in the moment. Because the thing that you mentioned where he needs to stabilize himself, take a breath. What do I need to do? What are my plans? He doesn't do that. He always lives in the moment. And as much as philosophers and monks for centuries have said to live in the moment, DSP is a cautionary tale about living in the moment. This guy does not think 10 minutes into any future. He thinks that planning for the future is insanity. And like you said...
Okay, no, I'm being very specific, like with mindfulness, like being concerned about, I guess, because he's not living in the moment, not at all. Because he's just going through the motions. He's disconnected emotionally. He's disassociated himself from everyone in such a way that it has normalized it for him.
I see that. Okay. Yeah, good call on that. All right, Phil, what you got for me?
Just my thoughts.
Oh, that's good.
So,
thank you. That's what I like to hear.
Had we done that debrief immediately after the show,
I think
chances are we would have said the exact same
because
thing.
He stopped snorting, burping, picking his nose and ear when he was with Casey at high school. Yeah.
You can see in that email, we felt lied to.
He's on his best behavior on these.
Exhausted, right? And the reality is, Phil, we were lied to, right? So,
going back to the question,
you said we were lied to, and we knew that. So naturally, when somebody lies to you,
just breaks down and cries on
and continues to lie,
I admit I'd feel kind of bad.
You're
going to
be upset,
but not for long.
Right.
So we were.
I just don't like to see a grown man cry. I don't like to see any grown ass individual cry.
I will confirm everything that Craig just said is true. That is correct. Was what was in those emails. I know for a fact that's exactly how it turned.
Yeah, because he had the receipts. Okay? Otherwise,
so
DSP would lie about it.
He said it. I didn't say it. He said it. He literally read the emails word for word. No one can say that I made this up.
Cartman's fantasies of
so we got to follow the order of events.
Yeah, probably.
I'm on your interview. 5 hours, hard-hitting questions. I lie to you about WWE Champions.
Thank you for posting it again, Hines. I had forgotten what the question was.
To clarify all of this. Okay, that was said directly in the interview. You agree to that, right, Craig? You did say that.
As someone
I go on my show, I say that was a good interview. I'm okay with it. I even email you, say I'm okay with it.
It's about how much you talk, and if it sounds good coming out, it's not what you say.
You literally just publicly admit.
Okay, you said you're in political science. Do you think DSP? I'm not trying to be like cynical here, but I'm saying like real aptitude. Do you think DSP missed his calling as a politician?
You know, that's it. Okay, so that depends what he did in his youth, because I think he didn't. I think he left Connecticut because he burned too many bridges. I think that's why he moved across the country, because he couldn't go anywhere without running into someone that fucking had a bad run-in with him in the past. He was the Ricky Spanish of
nice reference.
So maybe he has the personality for it, 100%.
Yeah, that's more what I was asking.
If he studied it, he and then he kept doing it, he probably would have been a danger.
I hope you don't hate me for what I'm about to say, but it's just kind of my stance on politicians, where I just think this is their job. A politician's job is to convince you that they have experienced similar things as you, and then they just run in circles until you forget what was even asked of them, and then they just go along their merry way. You know, DSP, what are your thoughts on the economy?
Well, the economy is this. Well, let me ask you a question. Did you ever think about how toxic you were asking me this question right now?
Like he does have a gift for just tiring you out, and
making you forget what the question was in the first place.
Yes, he's kind of gifted with that. I think that DSP did miss his calling as a politician. Now, I don't think he would have gotten very far, but like this dude running the city council treasury, oh, he'd be perfect for it. He would be doing whatever the hell he wanted, and then when you ask questions, he would bring up about how, dude, I helped make sure that the roads got shoveled. I don't know what you're talking about. I think he did. I think that's missed opportunities from the guy.
Admitted, you don't.
Sorry, that's every debate.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just responding to Wilson in chat.
But I hope that doesn't bother you, because I mean it is your field of study and expertise, and I don't think it's ever appropriate to just boil down someone's field to something so simple. But
no. Well, one, political science is really the study of power, and the really kind of, I don't really judge anyone for how they view politicians, especially in America, because they have, at least at the federal level, let people down on in every way. So
it's why I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go ahead and admit to something. I might put a target on my back for this. I don't vote, and I understand that people's like, well, dude, they fought for your right to vote. I'm like, dude, none of these people represent me. None of these jerks ever had to wonder, should I pay the electric bill or should I pay the water bill? None of these jerks ever had to struggle with this. So you can't represent me. You can't know what I've been through, you know? You're not driving in traffic for an hour to get to work. You don't know what I've been through. You can't. Why the hell would I vote for you? You know, I get it. It's selfish, but it's just like, I don't feel like they could ever be something to me. They could never know my experiences. But then again, I encourage other people to vote. Go for it.
Now, this is because I did work on a U.S. Senate campaign once. I will say that one thing that I learned is people quickly forget the humanity that is behind everyone. Now, behind the politician and the public figure. Now, of course, a lot of politicians, most of them, come from money, and that is really due to the fact of how our electoral system is really designed. But I think that there are more people that have your experience than you realize. And We'll talk privately. I'll try to get you a vote. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, politics are just a difficult discussion to have. And you know what? I'm going back to what Craig was saying and DSP were saying. I don't think politics are that hard of a thing to discuss in the public space. But the problem is that it's always a long conversation, and people just don't have time for that. People just don't have the means to have 4-hour long discussions about politics because it's that complicated. There's a lot of nuance to it. So anyway, I'm sorry. I thought I'd pick your brain there for a little bit. What's Phil got to say about this? God damn it!
In this
I need to get a new
situation,
mouse. I keep
been a
double
day.
clicking or something.
Yeah.
Are you libertarian? Nah.
You ended
Look,
an
I really-
interview,
I can't even
the
tell you what I
hottest
am.
piece of
I
content
can't.
you ever made at that point on side scrollers. You knew all eyes were on you. You knew people were looking to see if I was going to follow up with you and send you this information, and you decided not to check your email, but instead to do a show ragging on me the next day. Is that a correct statement?
It is
I
an
would say that
oversimplification.
Between me ending the show, being done with the internet for the day, going to sleep, and waking up the next day and then doing the show.
Yeah, see on that
Like,
Cardinals.
Phil, as we said at the time, you had one opportunity to send the stuff. It wasn't there, right? You passed on that. You
Whoa.
Passed on what? You just admitted. You just
Oh,
admitted
yeah, caught
the
you.
door was open
Caught you,
to
Craig.
send you the
You
information
motherfucker.
when I got it together.
during the show, Phil, during the interview.
Yeah, you're losing
Craig,
focus.
we're on an interview and a show. Craig. We're in an interview. The idea
Back in
of the interview
2008.
is for me to answer your questions. It's
Right.
not stop the interview. Let me dig into documents and get you screenshots and things proving. That's not what the interview was. Never once before the interview did you ever say that's what it was going to be.
But that's what it
and like
should
I
have
said,
been,
if
Phil.
I'm going to send you something, it has to be sure that it's proving my point. This was a convoluted story. It's not I could just send you a screenshot. I got to try to prove now that I've got a new.
That moment
Now
of
let's pause.
Yeah.
Who,
Go ahead.
okay. He's saying what this interview was, but let's think for a second. Who directed it? Who produced it? Who shot it? You were just a cast member, Phil.
Yeah.
You don't really get to dictate what show you're in or what. I mean, they can edit in. If you were filmed in something, you can be edited into whatever show, and they can turn it into whatever they feel like.
Yeah.
So he's such an idiot.
Yeah. If Craig wanted to, he could just open the Discord call to all the detractors. He could, if he wanted to. It's entirely his right. Now, I think that it would look kind of dumb for him, but it's still, again, within his rights. Something that this kind of reminds me of, DSP screaming, whoa, 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 whoa. It reminds me of, you guys all played, did you play LA Noire?
I did. I loved that. I platinumed it twice, actually. So I
Jesus.
platinumed it on PS3 and PS4.
Well, then, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. DSP is the dude who accuses you, or damn it, let me just find the clip. There's a perfect clip for it. What's his name? Adam Cole or something like that. What's the main character's name?
Cole Phelps.
Cole Phelps. Damn. There you go.
It's so unfortunate. The
This
way
is-
that they made that game.
This is DSP just here.
Not know his place. He presumed to ask me questions.
We do a lot of presuming here in the United States, Consul General. It comes with the turf. You fuck young boys, Valdez.
Are you a madman?
Craig, poor Craig just got
Great game.
accused out of nowhere. Whoa, 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 whoa! You cheated! You're lying! Like, what? Ah, man,
New
Phil, I
account,
love
it's
you.
not the old
You're a
account
great
that
guy.
sold
You're
the
such an
account.
entertaining
This is
dude.
complicated. It's not something I can
Thank you
just
for
do
joining me
during
on
the
my
show.
stupid ass little field trip.
I was literally, to be transparent with you now, as I sent you that email, I had everything ready. I told you I was 50-50.
No, this
I
guy
literally
is a
had it all
gamer,
ready to
yeah.
go.
Top
All you had
100
to
on
do was
AC
check your email
multiplayer,
and say,
but double
"I'm here, Phil, I'll
platinum
check
LA.
it."
What's my gamer accomplishment? Hold on, I gotta stop for a second.
My PSN is Hines and then 5732110.
That's what's up. Damn it, I can't think of anything I've accomplished.
And I would've
DSP was
sent it
right.
to
I was a
you,
loser all
and you
along.
would have had it. And instead of having a Friday show where all you did was beat me up all day, you would have had the Friday show saying the big reveal. DSP cleared the air. He said he was a liar, but here's the truth. But you didn't check your email. You told me.
Like, what do you want, dude? Like, I'm sorry that I didn't check my email for 23 hours. That's
You
not how
bastard.
people communicate in 2023.
Why wouldn't you do this?
And I know that's how you communicated, but like,
This is the nuttiest part.
I didn't check my email for 23 hours, and I'm sorry that I didn't check my.
Dude, I
email
could
for
have a
23
shit ton of
hours. I
emails right
apologize
now
for
and
that.
not know
Will
about
you
it.
apologize for lying?
Check that.
I apologize
Burn the
for
deranged.
lying,
Oh,
but I
bum
don't
the
want
deranged.
your
Yeah, there you go.
apology that you didn't check your email. I want your apology for being completely disingenuous about everything that happened after the fact, after the interview. That's what I want.
But the thing is, Phil, I don't think we were being disingenuous.
Ooh,
Like,
I
think
like
we were
this.
being
I loved when he
completely
put his
honest with
feet
how
down
we
about
felt.
this.
You know, like I said, we spent 5 hours talking to you,
This
getting the runaround.
DSP, he does this technique. I really like it, but it's very frustrating. That he speaks through implications. And I almost want to say he does it intentionally. But essentially, what his implication here is that Craig should apologize for not believing me, even though he didn't check his email.
Insinuating.
Yeah, it's like no. I didn't believe you because I didn't check the email. That's the problem. I guess he shouldn't have been allowed to form an opinion until he checked his email before stating his opinion. Well, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a page out of DSP's book. I'm gonna check my email real quick before I have my opinion, because that's fair. Let me see. Do I have any emails from DSP? No, I don't have any emails. Okay, I'm gonna state my opinion. I think DSP is really stupid.
Man, and like, it was not meant to be like. This was, once again, I go back to the definitive Dark Side Phil interview, and it wasn't.
Craig,
So
I
I'm
told you
disappointed
my
in that
fax
because there's
number.
things
What
that
do you want me to
you're
do?
telling us now you
Where
lied
is
about.
the fax? You
We
still
felt
haven't
it.
told
We knew
me.
it was happening in real time. We felt like we were getting gaslit. So naturally, yes, I felt exhausted and tired. And honestly,
Is that how it has to
didn't
work,
want to deal
man?
with you, which is why in that email I said, look, man, we're just disappointed. Like I said,
That's the worst.
I want what's
when your
best
parents
for you.
say that.
We very much do, but you have to want to help yourself. Is lying to us on stream helping yourself?
Yeah,
Not
Roach
mine.
mate, no kidding.
Of course
I'm
not.
just disappointed.
You deserve to get to level 2. I know you can do it. Right?
Craig, what you told me in that email you sent me on Friday, basically in other words says we don't actually care what the truth is. Because I had the truth and was going to send it to you, and you ignored me.
No, it's not that I ignored you. It's because I didn't check the email. And not
That's
checking
called
the
ignoring. Because you
No.
knew that was our line of communication. You asked me to send you the information.
Dude, what a
I was
little
going
brat,
to, and
man.
You
You're
chose
a
not to
brat,
check it.
Phil.
You actively ignored the way that I could have
Brats
cleared my
shouldn't
name.
exist
And
past
then
the age of
you went on
5.
to do a show that made you tons of money defaming me on the internet. That's exactly what happened. And there's
Okay,
no way
so-
that you can ever clarify that because it's in black and white. You just admitted it. You read it. You just admitted it publicly
so stupid,
that you
Phil.
didn't check the line of communication we had. That I
All right,
cleared
you
the whole
got me, Phil.
situation.
I'm guilty.
Is this like the gotcha? Like,
There's no gotcha. There's no gotcha. You read it. I actually wasn't going to read the
No,
emails.
like,
You did it.
Well
No,
done, Craig.
I don't apologize for not checking my email for
This
23 hours.
is a moment where, like,
I'm an adult
mindfulness.
with a family and kids.
Listen to yourself. You're yelling at a guy who has a family, who has his own life,
Yes.
for not checking his email and responding to you within 23 hours. It is that life and death. Everything is that life and death. It's not that serious, Phil. It's okay.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's not a slight to you, Phil, that he didn't respond right away. That's the problem. He takes it as a slight. He thinks that he's intentionally ignoring him, and he's getting anxiety because he's left in the dark. So he's taking it out on Greg. So there we go.
No, I agree. DSP it goes back to what you said earlier, that he thinks he's the only person in the room. He thinks that Craig is going to be sitting there refreshing his email, just hoping that DSP sent him something. Like, no, man. You're not that special to me, man. I got shit to do.
He's God's gift.
And honestly, I was tired of it.
You
right?
really should
The fact
just
that
be
I
waiting
did
on
check
Phil
my
hand and
email on
foot.
Friday night was fascinatingly amazing that I did that, right?
DSP thinks he
That's a
understands
big
what it's like to
dub.
have a family, and
But
since Phil
I'm
has so much
sorry
free time,
that
he assumes
you
the same
felt
about.
betrayed
Yeah,
that I
exactly.
didn't check my email.
I
It's-
always
and
assume
once again,
people are
there's
busy.
A big difference
Always.
between ignoring, because
Even when I
didn't
see you're
know the
online, I
email was
assume you're
there
busy.
in the first place. You have to know it was there to actively ignore it. I did not actively ignore your email.
That's true,
I
DSP.
didn't know it happened. So I can't ignore
Well,
something that
and
I
this
didn't know
also goes to
happened.
the point.
Craig,
Phil
in the
has
inter-
nothing else going on in his fucking life.
No. Phil needs a hobby, man. An actual hobby. Instead of gambling. Gambling's not a hobby.
He's got nothing going on.
You would think a man who claims that he works like 16 hours a day would have more understanding for a fellow working individual. Nothing.
Interview, we ended it with,
Well,
the
you'd think
door is
that he'd
open,
be too
you can
busy
send me
to
the
like
information.
Yeah.
be up on this.
So,
you need a
You didn't know
response
it
in 23
happened.
hours.
You need to have a bomb go off when someone sends you the thing you directly asked
Dude,
for.
you're being a child,
Would
Phil.
you not even in a moment think, hey, maybe
You're
you
being
should
a real
contact me
child here,
today
Phil.
about this, and I should check, because how else am I going to send you these documents anyway? By the way, it has to be an email attachment, right? I can't just call you and give it to you.
I hardly
didn't
email
have your
anything.
Discord or anything.
I think I
right? We
email
were
my
doing it through some other
coworkers and
screening
sometimes
client.
my mom
So I
or my
had
dad.
to send you
That's
an email.
it.
All right. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. We can talk about this for the rest of the show.
Oh, Little Shadow. Thank you very much for bringing that up, because it was a stray thought that I had there for a second, but thank you for fleshing it out. Yeah, DSP had multiple options here. Again, DSP has so many options at his disposal, but if you do not accept the thing that he chose, that's on you. DSP could have DM'd him. He could have commented on one of his recent posts. He could have messaged Adam. He had options. Chose none of them. Craig, apologize now because I didn't choose any other options.
Allow me to kind of...
One more, and then I want to move on because this is taking...
Yeah, you're clearly
That's
felt it.
fine.
Moving on.
I'm just going based off of our track record of emailing back
And I
forth,
think that was the
okay?
moment where
I'm just
he's
looking
like,
at
"What
how
the
we
fuck am I
emailed back
saying?"
and forth leading up to this thing, right? There's pretty
He's slowly
much
explaining what
least
ignore means.
a
DSP needs
day
that.
between
He
every
needs to be talked to like
correspondence
that.
we had, right? Almost every single time there's at least a day between our correspondence. So based off of our track record of corresponding with each other, I'm not gonna go. Like I said, I'm
Craig, this
exhausted.
is a really bad cope, bro. This is really bad.
Oh, I love
You're
that face that he does there.
We just ended
Oh
the
my
interview.
God.
You said the door is open. Send me the information, and then you just say, "Well, I'm just not going to check for the information." That's a bad cope. Previously, our correspondence was never a reason.
This
for
is
you to
where I
check
would
right
have
away. Now
screamed
you
at
had a
Phil.
reason, and you didn't.
Craig has a
Instead,
lot more
you
restraint than
actually
I
did
did,
the
that's for
opposite.
sure.
Instead of giving me the fair shake, but see if I was going to
Yep,
send you
this is
stuff,
where I would-
you went
and
on
there
a,
it is.
a
Look at
show
the face.
defaming
Yep, it's
me
over.
the entire next day. That's the worst situation possible.
He's done
for you,
playing with him now.
but you
I
didn't
have a-
care.
Phil, you got me. I didn't check my email.
You got me.
I'm sorry.
Sentence him
Hey,
to
with
death.
that said,
Oh
why do you need me?
god.
If you want to put this out there, like, you have an X account, you have a Twitter account,
That's
you have
true.
social media,
You
have-
don't
have
really
a,
need him.
a YouTube community tab. You can post all this
Agreed,
stuff
Meth. There it
available
is.
Right,
Mhm.
like literally right now. You said you have it pulled
Especially
out.
with
Like, you
emails,
had
that
all
does
this
help
stuff
things out.
available. It's still got to be on your computer somewhere.
Is this your gotcha moment? You're gonna try
Yeah,
to
I
get me to post
email
my shit on
daily
the
as
internet?
well.
No, Phil, I'm saying is you don't need.
I'm
me.
also really
You
bad
never
about reading
did
my
need
emails.
me,
I get
right?
I
And-
needed.
I get talked to
that's
all the time
actually
about
untrue.
that at work.
Because what
It's
you
like,
don't
man, I
understand,
sent you an
Craig,
email
because,
2
again, you
days
didn't
ago.
know
Why
it,
did you
is
respond? I
that
was like, because it's an email and I don't check those.
Anytime that I try to defend
You
myself,
know where I work. Just come
the
talk to me.
detractors move the goalposts. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a little
it's
innocuous
not a
thing that
good
doesn't matter
outlook.
at all. It could be a big, full-blown lie that I've been doing for years. Whenever I try to do something, all right, they move the goalpost. Right now, I could post all the information up, and they would say, that's fake. That's not true. So it doesn't matter what I post or what I don't. Now, in the
Now
case
that's
of
a
you,
bad cope, right, Craig?
you have presented yourself as a neutral third party. You were going to be someone who was going to do
Yeah, I
this
agree,
interview
Charles.
and be fair.
DSP just shouldn't talk to
and then
people
you
who
were
are
going to
smarter than
judge
him.
for yourself,
Which you would say, well, that's
actually
everyone. And
seems
yeah,
like that's
basically.
what happened. Except you didn't actually give me the opportunity to send you the information to clear my name
DSP,
and tell you
know
what really
you.
was going on. Now,
you always
whether
had
or
the
not
opportunity.
you checked
I'm
your email
sorry.
or not, it's
You
not a big
didn't
deal.
give me the
I'm sorry I didn't check my
opportunity
email, and I would like
to
to take this
send you the
moment
bullshit.
to apologize to you
Yeah.
and apologize to all of your champions, and especially all the detractors for not checking my email. for
Apology
23
accepted,
hours.
Craig. I feel like you
sorry.
really screwed
Okay,
up, but I can
so let's
get past
move
this.
on from
Yeah,
the
we-
email because this is going to be so boring.
we
if
would've
keep talking
loved the
about this. And I know
content.
that your time is
Yeah.
valuable. You said you could only be here for about 90 minutes, right? So grab
Yeah,
another 20
I got
minutes.
about another 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly,
The
Roman
next
Brumman.
day you do a show. The entire
It's
show
not
you're
a
bragging
lie
on
if
me
you
saying didn't
participate.
believe me at all.
Then you're just an
You
accomplice.
laughed- Okay, go ahead.
Which he didn't give us reason to.
Okay.
Which you admitted to yesterday.
Fair enough. You laughed with my detractors. You did all the memes. You got a whole bunch of detractor contributions. Correct?
Oh, hell yeah.
That did happen.
Some dumbass named
Okay.
Linda Deranged ordered a
Did
shirt
you
from your guys'
continue
channel.
to do content based on me after this at all?
Not especially. You know, I think there was a.
Wait, what did he say?
Yeah, what was that question?
After did have detractors. You did all the memes. You
Okay,
got a whole
memes,
bunch of
ack,
detractor
ack.
contributions. Correct?
All right.
That did happen.
Sure.
Okay. Did you continue to do content based on me after this at all?
Well, it really depends on your definition of continue. Like, not really. He did do it
Not
occasionally.
especially. You know, I think there was.
I guess maybe
a,
I'm being kind of evasive here.
I don't remember the context.
Yes,
of
but
it,
doesn't
I remember
matter.
seeing, you said something about us, and I was
It
just kind of like
wasn't
done with it. And
more
I think I went
than
live,
really what
and I did.
was.
what
It wasn't
was called a
excessive,
monetize the hater
and
stream,
it wasn't
and
wasn't on the
but I
schedule. It wasn't on
remember
the docket.
context of it, but I
Yeah,
remember
It
being
showed
like,
up in the show
I was
because
done
fans brought
with
it up.
right? That's the thing, Phil. You got to understand. Like, we've done almost 400 episodes of Side Scrollers, right? Your interview was one day, right? Now, once again, was it a chapter of the show? Yes, 100%. Do we appreciate it? Yes, 100%.
My answer is very
But,
clearly
like,
maybe.
We're done. We've turned the page. Just like I don't watch your stuff on a day-to-day basis, just like you don't watch our stuff on a day-to-day basis. I have too much going on to worry about what somebody else is doing
What?
online.
You're too
right?
busy for Phil.
So,
All right, this
you
dude
know, you get
definitely
brought
needs to
up
be dealt with.
occasionally, but it's just part of the Side Scrollers chapter.
Yeah,
in
for
our
real,
book
Golden
at this
Spoon. I'm
point.
liking it.
Part of the lore, just like Side Scrollers is a part of yours. So, you know, so yeah, I was pissed. So I went live and honestly,
start
I
a
will like to give
fucking
credit
academic
to my boy
program, bachelor
Jeremy
degree,
from Geeks and Gamers for
based
his
entirely on
monetize
Phil
the hater
lore.
thing. So yeah, I think I went live.
I mentioned that. I really. I think sometimes about this, and I try and be careful about it coming off as clout chasing, but it's more like, okay, when this comes up or if this comes up, I know what to do. I would like to collab with some of the lore masters and create a DSP standardized test. And you could gauge your score on DSP knowledge that way. And I don't mean like one of these ones that you can do on the internet, you know, like figure out which Ninja Turtle you are. No. I want 300 questions of Phil lore. Now, I get it. That looks really dumb. I get that looks really silly. But I particularly would be interested to know how I scored. And that's what I would love to do. I'd love to do it, you know, make sure you fill out your Scantron correctly. Don't do answer 2 on blank 3. It's going to mess everything up.
with a monetize the hater thing, and
I just hijacked your
and
statement. I apologize.
just kind of railed for a little bit because I was tired. I don't remember the context of it. I was just tired of hearing you talk about us. So, you know, it is what it is. Do I
DSP
regret it?
SATs. Would it be
Yeah,
called the
kinda,
ACT
But at the
Act?
same time, you know,
Ooh,
it's
yeah.
just part of what it is.
Okay. All right. I wanted to hear that straight from your mouth that this happened because I was, you know, the truth is, Greg, I don't even know because, like you said, I don't watch your content.
Wanted to hear that
so
from
I actually
your mouth,
don't know the
bitch.
truth of what happens and what doesn't happen. I just hear people saying, "Are you aware that right now Craig has a stream called Monetize the Haters? He's making money off of your detractors. He's saying that he wants to be on your show." I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you know, you're right. That's what it was. You were live. That's right. You were live, and I think you were talking shit about us or something along the lines, and you know, talking about how bad we were to you, and I was like, and this was
there you
another
go,
thing
Dapper
where, like,
Dragon.
look, I will come on your show right now and do exactly what we're doing. And this was, I don't even know how long ago this was. It was just like, let's just get done with this. And as I've said at the start of this, like, I reached out to you multiple times to do exactly this, to just get through this shit. And I told you, like, I don't care if it's on our channel or on your channel or some other
hear you
channel,
in.
right?
Exactly.
Let's just do it. So I was actually
DSP
glad that
simultaneously
you reached
knows
out
nothing
because,
and knows everything.
You know, this is, I don't think about you a whole lot, Phil, except
Act.
when people bring you up to me. And,
Exactly, Lionel.
And
I forgot what the
you know,
question was.
You're upset that people
Like I
are,
said,
like,
DSP is
you know,
good at
giving
that.
super chats because
He's very
well,
good at making you
maybe they
forget what was
enjoy
even
what
asked.
we do, right? And I'm not going to say, like, you know, some people were just excited to see that the interview was done. They were congratulating us for
Craig,
doing the interview.
they don't enjoy what you do. They enjoyed that you were bullying me. That's what it was. You were doing
Hold
a
on,
whole
hold on,
stream,
hold on.
monetize the
And-
haters.
Well, hold
you were
on,
making
Phil.
money.
Phil,
What you
if
got?
they were enjoying you being beat up, if they enjoyed him bullying you, that would indicate that they don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Which would... So, what does that say about you, Phil? Does that mean you're an unlikable person? You just came off unlikable in the stream.
Absolutely. And you never really cheer for the downfall of a person who doesn't deserve it. You just don't. Like dude who tripped at the grocery store the other day, I didn't cheer for that, man. Dude fell. That sucked. DSP falls at the grocery store, man. I hope I can capture that on video. It's gonna be funny. But yeah, 100%.
Off of making fun of me, which is what everyone.
And that's also just not true in general. That all you have to do is bully Phil, and people will like, you know, it's not that simple. It's not. DSP, you don't get it, man. I'm
Oh yeah, and yeah, he was being bullied.
yeah, he wasn't being bullied. There's no power imbalance here, Phil. If anything, you could only bully him because you've been around longer, right? You've got the prestige. But I'm not. I promise you, I'm not sick. Go ahead.
Sorry, it takes 2 fucking people to interview him because he's so dominating in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. It takes one person to remember what the question was, and the other person to listen. But I'm trying not to say this to like shit on detractors. I promise you that's not the goal of my next statement. But it's that there are detractors who showed up about DSP, and again, I really don't want to say this, but like they weren't as popular. And I'm one of them. I'm not as popular as some of the others. And what does that stem from? It's like it stems from a personality. You know, if you have a gift of talking about Phil, or you've honed your gift, or you've worked on your gift, or you bring something else to the table, that's what's going to be the draw. But DSP just assumes that if you shit on me, instantaneous success, instantaneous views, instantaneous money. It doesn't work like that, Phil. It's never worked like that. Ever. And he's accusing Craig of this thing, is that the only reason you would do this is because it would just benefit you. It doesn't work that way. Sorry, that was my rant.
He needs help. It's
Why was I
the
live?
truth.
It's true. He's disconnected
Because
from reality
you were
all day.
talking shit about us.
So, okay, now on my stream, was I sitting there saying, hey, Craig haters, come on the stream and dump on Craig, and let's accept all the donations for everyone who doesn't like Craig?
You might
Let's
as well.
talk about
It would have been
all
kind of
Craig's dirty
funny.
laundry on my stream today. Did I ever do that, Craig?
So I don't know. I don't watch your stuff, but
You've
you're
lost
telling me
some.
No, I never did that. Not once. The only gripes I ever had with you was that
Low-some
how you
dung eater.
behaved after the interview. That's literally it. That's the only problem I have with you. I don't have a problem with anything before or during the interview. It was the fact you left the door open for me to contact you. You ignored that line of contact. You did a harmful show.
Didn't ignore.
Because you know what? Now I got to talk about this publicly.
Does Craig have
right?
detractors? Yeah, he's got
Are
a
you
couple.
aware that because you didn't
Look,
give me the chance to defend...
I'm gonna be completely 100%. I'm not even really a big
Everyone's
Craig
got
fan.
detractors.
I don't really like this dude. He's kind of a shithead. But it's when you can look at it exclusively through the lens of his interactions with DSP, Craig has actually done nothing wrong, and he actually did everything correct. But if you look at his recent, you know, saving gaming thing that he did, it was on its face manipulative. Like, it was on its face scammy as shit. Send me a bunch of money and we'll save gaming. What? No.
myself after the interview. You did a bullying show where you ragged on me, and I wasn't
Yeah,
there
I
to
don't know
defend
much
myself
about
against
Craig's
any of that.
background.
Yeah,
You know
I mean,
how
that's
that hurt me and my
there's really
viewers
not
and
a whole
my
lot to learn.
content. You
Okay,
probably don't.
Hold on. Let me just talk about this real quick. Europe, and by the way, this is something that I do want to talk about. You were upset
Yeah, there you go, Cobain.
that we went live and talked about this, and you were pissed.
I
that
heard
you
that they were
weren't there to
cheering about
defend
it.
yourself.
That he told him to go
Right.
fuck himself.
You did a decompression show.
DSP is saying
literally
it.
Immediately after, you did a decompression show about Keemstar last week, and he wasn't there to defend himself. You did the exact same thing that we do, Phil.
Whoa. You just proved you don't watch my decompression shows.
I
You
don't.
just proved it. The decompression shows have nothing to do with
Poor
talking
Greg is
about
so
and ragging
good.
on the guest that just appeared.
So,
Hold
so
on,
you
go
did
back,
that.
go back.
Last
Hold
week
on.
we
Listen to what he's saying here.
Alright,
Listen to what he's
alright.
saying here.
I laughed over it. I
Exact
apologize.
same thing that we
Is-
do, Phil. You
Whoa,
did
I'm listening.
No, you're okay.
You just proved you don't watch my decompression shows.
I
You
don't.
just proved it. The decompression shows have nothing to do with talking about and ragging on the guest that just appeared.
So you.
In
you
fact,
never,
last
you never
week
talked
with
about what
Keem-
just happened.
Last week
You
with
never-
Keem, I had a whole stream where I said we are not going to talk bad about this man. Instead, we're just going to talk about the future, building bridges, and things like that. We didn't say one negative word about Keem. I didn't accept negative contributions. I told my audience to not contribute and insult Keem. And they didn't. Because that's wrong. That's capitalizing
And guess,
on an already
guess what
bad
he did
situation.
after the
'Cause
stream.
Now I'm going to talk. Craig.
Guess what he
Capitalize
did
on it.
after the stream.
Capitalize on it.
He
After the interview.
Yeah, he took in tips. He decompressed and soaked up the super chats, bitching about Craig.
Yes.
Doing the exact same thing that he's
Did
bitching
the
about
exact
right
same
now.
thing. And there's something else that DSP's not saying here, but of course, he won't bring it up, is that DSP has shit on Craig multiple times, and people donate not long after he shits on the person. And the person donating will say something to the effect of, yeah, you were right about that person. By the way, here's some money. Is that not the same thing? But because Craig had a dedicated segment to it, it's evil. But DSP dispersing it over months, that's not evil? Is that how it works? If you just stab a person occasionally, over a couple of months, that's not evil. Now, they stabbed me 30 times in one day. Now, that's evil. Still screwed up. You still shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, I'm getting DSP on rules.
I had to cancel
What the fuck is a
whole
negative
fucking
contribution?
show that I had planned. That
It's
was called
one that's
DSP
razzing
Asks
on
It.
people.
I had guests lined up to be on this show that I was going to interview. It was a big project that I had lined up for my React channel. I had to cancel it because the guest said, well, after the side scroll
Exactly,
appearance,
Little Shadow.
they really
I'm
dumped
starting
on
to
you.
agree
It's
with
not
all
the
that.
interview we have issue with. It's the fact that they dumped on you. So now literally everyone who saw your interview thinks you're an asshole. So because of that, we're canceling. So I had to cancel the whole show.
Who said this?
My followers came out and said, we didn't mind the interview. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Which voices in your head are telling you this, Phil?
After the interview, my followers said, we don't
Did
care
he
about the
say
interview.
that
We
he
care
had
at the
shows
finish."
lined up
Said,
after
cancel.
Side
After
Yes,
the
let's hear it
Side
again.
Scroller's appearance,
That
they
we
really
claimed?
dumped on you. It's not the interview we have issue with. It's the fact that they dumped on you. So now literally everyone who saw your interview thinks you're an asshole. So because of that, we're canceling. So I had to cancel the whole show. My followers.
Look, man, I'm gonna be real with you. If that
Yeah,
happened to
that's-
me, I would
yeah,
kind of be
yeah.
annoyed by it. Why didn't DSP ever bring up their names?
That's so full of shit.
Oh, that's a lie, man. That's a lie. DSP will shit on you for far less than that, and he didn't shit on him. Who said this, DSP? You know what, DSP? I'm actually completely serious. You can name these names because they sound like assholes. I'll call them an asshole with you, Phil.
Came out and said, we didn't mind the interview. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Let me finish.
Yeah, exactly, Core.
After the interview,
Crow.
my followers said, we don't care about the interview. We care that they ragged on you after. Now it makes
we
you look like an
care.
asshole.
Jade
Now
was
that
furious.
Makes us look like an asshole. We all want to be your fans, but how can we do it when the entire
You're making
interview
us look
hates you,
bad, Phil.
right?
Phil.
And you don't understand what you thought you were doing was decompression.
Hey, Phil,
Let's
I'll
just
have you
be
know
honest.
that the other
What you
people at
did is you
the
gave
mental hospital are
more
making fun of me
avenue
because of you.
for the people who already hated me to hate
That's
more.
true, I was.
All you did
I'm
was
there
you gave
too.
a public grandstanding spectacle to my
He's
detractors,
literally
and the worst
claiming
part about it, Craig,
his handicaps.
publicly monetized it.
Went to him saying, "You're making us look bad. You're making us look like an asshole because they made you look like an asshole."
I wonder if that's a LARP angle you could go with. Hey, DSP, I'm a huge fan of yours, but unfortunately your recent antics are starting to make us look bad. You need to get it. Oh man, he'd ban the shit out of you. That'd be funny.
You have to be established first.
We have to get Jay to say it.
You monetized bullying. That's the problem with what you did the day after.
Yeah, no kidding, Little
You
Shadow.
hurt my business. You hurt my followers. You hurt me. You
Cat
owe
just
me an
slugs him.
apology for that. I don't care about you not checking the interview. The email. I care about the fact that
You're not getting one.
Not once, but then again later down the line, monetized hate against me. I literally never monetized hate against you ever.
You monetize hate against everyone, Phil.
Sure about that, Phil? You've never once monetized your hate against us? You never talked poorly about side scrollers?
Oh, I absolutely talked poorly about you, but I certainly didn't have entire shows based around it, inviting all of your
damn it, Sue.
detractors. Because you want to know something, Craig?
Oh my
They
god.
contacted me about this show. They said, here's all the dirt on Craig. And you know what I told them?
Let's hear it.
This is the truth, Craig. I said, fuck you.
Yeah,
I
fuck
said, I'm not
you.
going to do that.
I
I'm
mean it.
better than that. I'm not going to talk about Craig's dirty laundry because that's not what this is about. I could
You should have
easily
said
been
it,
doing that
Phil. You should have
all
said, and I
along.
mean that.
Everyone has skeletons in the closet. We all know this, but I'm never
What's
gonna
my
be like
skeletons,
that.
Bill?
I want to
That I searched for gorilla suits on Amazon?
All right. At the end of this conversation today, I don't want to be at your throat. I don't want you to hate me. I just want us to be at peace. Even if we never speak again, I just want us to
Peace
be at
that you
I'm
submit
tired of
to
this
me.
internet drama
Nice.
bullshit. But you hurt me bad with your behavior after that interview.
Unfortunately,
and I want you to
when you
understand
drink
how bad it was.
nonstop, you have anxiety,
Yes.
so you'll never be at peace.
DSP doesn't know what peace is. Because he's constantly pissed. You know, it really does demonstrate that with his recent resurgence that he had. He could have had peace. Chose violence. Well, if you put it that way, DSP's kind of cool. I thought about having peace, but I decided to just be a problem.
For me, I had to hide for a year.
Phil has the
And
guinea
now,
pig
to just
skeletons
show
in the
you,
closet. Oh
Craig, how
god,
different it could
poor
have
guinea
been,
pigs. Now that's
Did
some
you
deep
see my
lore.
appearance on Kino Casino recently and how different
No.
that went?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly,
Kino
Bill.
Casino
Yeah.
was a show
You
over
know,
on Kick. They had
Good
me
catch
on.
there.
We
Do
joked
what?
about everything. We joked about WWE Champions everything. We made a big laugh about it. But they
Yeah.
Yeah, something?
I feel like if Phil grew up in Montana, he would have tortured young animals, and he would have grew up in an environment where, yeah, he would have become a serial killer. All right,
I can see
let's
that.
go.
I think that DSP in some ways lacks the constitution to do that stuff. Because DSP is very weak. I think that even if he tried to like kill a squirrel and dissect it, he would just be too squeamish about it to do it. Which, I mean, I don't know. Does that kind of insult him more that DSP's too weak to be a serial killer? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
He also treated me like a respectful human. He didn't monetize hate against me. We had fun conversation. We watched video clips. We laughed. You want to know what it was? I was a guest on their show. Like,
Exactly,
I was supposed
Fort
to
Worth
be a
Ridge.
guest on your show. But never happened because we did the interview. You want to know what happened? Public opinion has changed, Craig.
Everyone
You may not
loves me,
realize
Craig.
this. Right now, people
This
like
is-
me
this
for the
is
first time in
DSP
ages.
redemption arc, right?
That's right.
He's
Because
scared
they
of
gave me
Walmart,
a
yeah,
chance.
exactly.
Because they didn't rag on me, they didn't bully me. They were
They
bullying
were
me.
bullying
But
you,
once I
Phil. You just don't
personally
realize
talked to
it.
them nicely and say, hey, just have me as a guest. They, whoa, what the hell? So everything they say about you is actually isn't true. Well, not all of it, but
No, you're still
the
a
thing
huge
is,
piece of shit. That's
that
true.
Being treated kindly instead of being bullied and being monetizing the bullying led me
Yeah, I
to
would
a redemption
never-
arc where now I'm finally
I'm
fessing
sorry.
up to all the
I'm
stuff
not- no,
I've
I'm
done
not gonna go
wrong,
that
and
rant.
it's all changing for the better, right? That
Phil, you
could have
had-
happened with your interview, but
You
that's
ha-
not
no,
what
no,
you
no, no.
did.
We gave you an opportunity to fess up during the interview, Phil.
Which I couldn't do because I couldn't prove it during the interview. I had to get the information together, and I was going to do that, and you didn't give me the opportunity.
Well, no. Did you have any of that information available when you talked about this yesterday?
Oops.
All you did was you just
Oh,
you just
shit.
talk- you just
Uh,
talked.
cut
That's
the
it.
stream, Phil.
So all
That's
you
right.
needed to do 18 months ago was just talk, just like you did yesterday on your show.
But you started
Whoa,
crying
whoa,
about your
whoa,
wife's
whoa.
restraining
now
order.
You're
Exactly.
moving the goalpost. So first it was the only way anyone was going to believe you is if you sent me all the documentation during the show.
I wanna see that
And
now.
that's the
Now it
perfect
was-
thing
yesterday
that
on your show.
Look at Craig's face.
Whoa.
Honest about it.
Now you're moving the goalpost. So first it was the only way anyone was going to believe you is if you sent me all the documentation during the show.
Well, you're-
now you're saying
Craig's
I
having
could've just said
flashbang
whatever.
grenades
I'll give you
bounced
this,
off
I'll
his
give you this,
head.
but I will give you that, right? Documentation would have helped your case, 100%. With that said, Phil, like just you saying, yeah, I played WWE Champions. Yeah, my name was this, whatever it was, right?
How's it going, David?
You know, and just saying those things.
I'm not sure if you
absolutely,
noticed,
that would've
but,
gone
I'm
so
kinda the
far, right?
king
And I
now,
feel like
Craig.
we-
It's
we
kinda
extended
special.
the,
Perhaps you've heard of
extended
my,
the olive branch many times
my
during that
tithing.
interview, right? And once again, you left that interview feeling good. Your point of contention is that after the show,
Exactly,
we
and
spoke
Bode off with
honestly
his
about our
ass.
frustrations. Once again, why were we frustrated?
Can you make an
Phil?
ass
because
guillotine?
We felt lied to, which was validated yesterday, literally yesterday. Later
Seems
on,
like something
did I do a
Dale would have
monetize
already
the
tried to
hater
make.
stream? 100%. Why? Because you were talking shit about me, right? We've never gone out of our way to go off and say, hey, it's time to
He
dump
doesn't
on
get
Phil
this.
because it's fun to dump
See?
on Phil,
No.
right? We
Go
don't
back a little
because
bit.
we were
When he
pissed
says
at the time.
you were talking shit about me, you can see it in Phil's face. He realized that was a moment of realization for him. He's like, "Oh right, I did." You can
Branch
kind of
many,
see
many
that there.
times
Let's watch
during
this.
that interview, right? And once again, you left that interview feeling good. Your point of contention is
I
that
agree with Dapper
after
Dragon
the
there.
show, we spoke honestly about our frustrations. Once again, why were we frustrated, Phil? Because we felt lied to, which was validated yesterday, literally yesterday. Later on, did I do a monetize the hater stream? 100%. Why? Because you were talking shit about me, right? we've never gone out of our way
Yeah,
to
you
go
kinda
off and say, hey, it's time to dump
got a
on
little
Phil
froggy
because
there.
it's fun to
Yeah.
dump on Phil, right? We dumped
Yeah.
because we were pissed
The
at
smile-
the time.
the smile
the result
shrunk.
of the interview, we felt lied
Yeah.
to. Once again,
He just
validated.
exhibits
And you were talking
anxiety.
shit. So naturally, it was like, hey, and the idea of going live there was, let's go on Phil's show and hash it out like we're doing now. So look, I'm Phil. I mean this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you were hurt. I'm sorry that your community was hurt. And I'm sorry that you felt that way for a long time. That's why I'm on this show. I want to help you close the door with this chapter, right? I'm not your enemy. In fact, I've been your biggest champion. I've gone
That's
out of your
true.
way, as in that email.
This
I
dude-
want to help you get to level 2.
And it's another thing that DSP will never ever take into account with any of the people that he's
Closest
spoken
thing
to.
John.
Huh?
Sorry. It's just he's the closest thing to John
Yes, he is.
that he was ever gonna have.
Yeah, this was John too, and DSP pissed it away. He pissed it away even faster. It's kind of like when you, your new game plus is always easier than new game. You know, piss off my biggest fan or my biggest friend or whatever. But there's something that DSP doesn't ever realize with any of these individuals, and that's because he's a narcissist and only cares about himself. Is that every single one of these people who've tried to reach out to him, who have ever spoken to him, whoever did interviews with him, and it's going to happen in a couple days with June the King talking to Phil, they put their own credibility on the line. Every single one of them did. Now, some of them, they walked away just looking like a fool, like quartering. But Craig put his reputation on the line by talking to Phil. Phil cares nothing for that. He doesn't give a shit about any of that. And likewise, he doesn't give a shit about June's reputation. He only cares about himself. And because they also have their own interests in mind, he thinks that's probably very selfish of them, that they have their own interests. But why is it selfish? You know, I'm going to interview Charles Manson and then come away from the interview saying, yeah, Charles Manson's actually a really cool dude. He did nothing wrong. He actually did everything correct. No. Reputation destroyed. DSP doesn't see it that way.
Whatever that looks like, right? I've said that
I'm
continuously.
not sure if Phil's even
in
listening. He's
every
not.
single email correspondence we've had.
He's
I've
listening
said,
for keywords.
Six
Like,
I want to let
sorry.
you know,
Neck
let's get
phones.
together, let's hash this out, let's move forward, right? Every single time, even when it comes
Six-star
to
neck phones,
inviting you on the show,
yeah,
or one.
trying to show him compassion but hold him accountable. That's what you have to do with addicts. That's what you have to do.
Yes. Like, it does suck, Phil. There are certain parts of DSP's life I do kind of feel bad for him. Like, being an addict does suck. It's not fun. But if you really don't like it, you're going to reach out to people to try and help you. Like, people who smoke crack, they don't enjoy it. People who do tar heroin, they don't enjoy it.
Your anniversary. Hey, Phil, come on the show. Nothing serious. Let's just come on. It'd be fun. People would have it on. Hey, Phil, do you want Street Fighter 6 is coming out? You want to help hash this out? Let's just.
Well, I
hash
mean,
it
I
out. Let's
care
talk it
about
out.
things
It'd
from
be
like
great
a
way to
more
build a bridge, which,
generic
once
or
again,
general
that's something that
perspective.
you
Not
want
any
to
of
do.
his, not any of
listen,
DSP's antics.
if we wanna
Like
go with
any
the
of his
build a bridge
personality
metaphor,
traits. No,
I put
I
down
feel nothing
lots
for
of
that.
wood over the last 18 months trying to build a bridge.
I
And
do
every single
feel
time the email
kind of
wasn't
sad for him
responded
that he
to,
doesn't have any
or-
friends.
Or
Kind of sad, but that's his
maybe you
fault.
didn't check your email. I don't know, right? So
Oh, I did
who
check
knows?
the email. It's just there's no way I'm going to be
That's
playing
true,
Street
Kobe.
Fighter.
It's a completely
The guy
different
who
mechanism.
doesn't play Street Fighter, where I'm not going to benefit from it whatsoever. You will,
But don't
because
you
you're going to get
understand-
another boost from my appearance on your show playing Street Fighter.
Phil,
I'm not
we
going to get a
could've
boost.
I never care about
Phil,
Phil
we
in such a
could've
way
done
that
it
it
on your
changed my
channel.
opinion
That's the
about
thing.
him.
You didn't even respond.
That's
But isn't
entirely
that
up to
the
him.
fun of it? The idea that
That's
you play
DSP's
Street Fighter
accomplishment,
6,
that even if you
lay
feel
into
bad
me
for him a little bit,
fucking
you never
9
change your
for
opinion
9
about him.
matches, you
He's
destroy
that
me,
deeply
you're the
entrenched in
definitive
being a
champ, and all
piece
of
of
a
shit.
sudden the king is back.
Nobody cares
Right.
about that, Craig. No one cares about you playing
All
Street
right,
Fighter.
pause it.
What are you
I'll
talking
pause
about?
this.
What's that?
I'll say this.
Okay.
There is absolutely a possibility with Phil that he experienced some form of childhood trauma with his parents, and he, as a result, is in arrested development, and he feels incapable of taking care of himself, and he's just a traumatized child on the inside. He's a traumatized child, really. That's what we are seeing. And that's why he's always so aggressive and angry, is because he is still in his fight or flight response mode, and he's always responding,
Yeah, Imbo said it.
thinking that everything's a threat.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. DSP definitely shows some very stunted psychological, emotional, and hell, I would even say spiritual development. He is truly a toddler. He's a 4-year-old trying to cosplay as an adult, and he's not doing a good job of it. And this kind of comes from my line of work. I work with a lot of juvenile delinquents. That you can have empathy for a person's tragedies or their traumas. I feel bad for you. However, get your shit together. Because it is hard to say this, and it's very mean. It can sound very dismissive. But we've all been through shit. We've all been through shit. Now, some shit is far worse than other shit. I'll give you that. But you gotta work on yourself, man. And DSP's been completely negligent on working on himself for his whole life. And when people try to tell him, hey man, work on yourself. No, I don't want to. Okay, well. Yeah, exactly as you said, man. I wonder what exactly, I would love to know what thing happened. But I don't know. It might be that DSP himself doesn't
If I may
know.
ask, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cobain, if I may ask, what was the moment when you like realized and you actually made a decision to stop using? Because for me personally, it was the moment when I realized that it was taking away, like, it was, one, negatively impacting my schooling, and two, it was negatively impacting the few people that I actually loved. So when I quit, like, part of the motivation, yes, was Phil, but the big motivation is to do it really for another person.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I mean I'm just kind of curious how you quit Cobain, and the reason why I ask is how would Phil quit at this point? Like, I said earlier, like, he doesn't have anyone there who is his support network. And what I'm getting at is he knows this, and that's why he won't change.
If I would be so dark as to say this, I'm sure he doesn't even really care about Kat. And I think it even stems from the realization from him that if he drops dead, Kat will just find a new benefactor. He ultimately means nothing to her. Now that's a really dark place to put yourself, but I think that's true. I think that's how also DSP justifies not caring about her. Like, well, if I die, she'll figure something out. Probably.
She's just her roommate. Get a hold of yourself.
She'll find a new roommate.
Fun of it, the idea that you play Street Fighter 6, you lay into me for fucking 9 matches, you destroy me, you're the definitive champ, and all of a sudden the king is back.
Nobody cares about that, Craig. No one cares about you playing Street Fighter. What are you talking about?
Ken Jasper
They
didn't
care
probably.
about us getting together, and Street Fighter is the conduit to do that. That's what I'm getting at. Move past the idea of Street Fighter 6, Phil.
Big ups, Cobain.
It's bigger than Street Fighter
That's
6.
awesome,
The
man.
idea was just get together.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Like,
well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
You
good
just
for you.
apologized to me because I was hurt. I want you to apologize to me because you did it, because you know it was wrong.
It's hard to pinpoint, honestly.
I don't think it was wrong because like I said, you yesterday, as you said yesterday, you lied to us. You lied to us. We felt that lie. We
Yeah,
knew it
I
was-
want
we
you
knew
to
it was a lie.
apologize for
So, was
having
it
a negative
reactionary?
opinion about me
100%.
lying to you.
I'll say yes.
Man,
It was
that's as
wrong and it was
narcissistic as you can
reactionary
get,
with the
man.
monetize the hate stream, right? That was a
And
reactionary
if I
thing.
may,
and
I
I'm
want
proud
to
of
pull
it.
out what Cobain said here. He said it's hard to pinpoint, honestly, when he made the decision to stop. But he was homeless and at rock bottom. And that was the thing for me. I was at rock bottom.
Mhm.
For me, too. I hit rock bottom. Phil won't hit rock bottom until his business ends. And yeah, it's truly a shame.
And something to add to that is that you know it's going to have to be, you know it has to be rock bottom with DSP because he refuses to ever budge on anything until it's too late. Something that's already the norm that, you know, you change when you hit rock bottom, and DSP's refusal to change anyway, like that rock bottom's going to have to hit super hard and super fast for him to pay any sort of attention. He's just going to have an eviction notice stapled to his door. before he thinks maybe something's up. Maybe.
No. Right. And you know what, Phil? I'm going to do you one better.
Yeah, let's let this breathe.
Give me a charity of your choice. Give me a charity of your choice.
What?
I will.
What's that?
I will don't.
Also, disagree with that, Lynn. I believe he thinks... someone's disagreeing. Ban him. He thinks he has feelings of love, but those are not real or are self-imposed. He's too mature to understand love for another person. Yeah. You're absolutely right. That is a major component of it. Is that DSP has a very, very... I almost want to say pragmatic, but pragmatic in the wrong direction. Understanding of what love is. You love a person, and so you feed them. No, I mean, yes, that's technically love. Like, I love my dog, so I make sure he gets fed. But it's also, I also take my dog on a walk because I love my dog. I play with my dog because I love my dog. And likewise for everything. It's like, you do more than the bare minimum for love. And yeah, DSP just never has that capacity. And he is all about the bare minimum. You know, you got him saying Cat has to sit down and watch the washing machine. What? No. That I would, first of all, I would never let that happen. And second, I would never tell people, like, yeah, you know, I send my wife upstairs, make sure she watches that washing machine, make sure that shit gets done. That's messed up. It's not love. Well
I'm
said.
just imagining Phil right now. I'm just imagining him just screaming out into the void. Foreigner. I want to know what love is.
He's saying that when he hits rock bottom. He's saying this as he's getting tossed out of the condo.
Can you guys tell me what love is real quick?
Donate. That day on that stream, we made $633.08. I will donate $633.08 to a charity of your choice.
All right.
Craig,
That will help close the book.
If you actually cared about anything that you're saying right now, you already would have
Big up,
donated
Soul
that
Shadow.
money. So you can do with it however you want. But
If
the
you actually
fact
cared,
is
you would have done it
done
already. Then
absolutely
what's
nothing
your
in this
excuse, Phil?
appearance to show any kind of responsibility or remorse for the things
care
that you
about Cat
did
because,
regarding
Rick
me, my
retweeted him,
community,
but I
or my
posted his wife's
reputation after
frustrating
the
word, and he
interview.
said nothing.
And you've publicly admitted
he
you
didn't
didn't
his
check
account
the
about
avenue
it.
that you could
Yeah, there
have
you go.
gotten actual
He definitely
evidence
prioritized
of
certain
what
things.
I was going to tell you about the truth. So
I did not check the email.
So I don't really know I can help you anymore at this point.
Help?
You know, it's
What
like
help?
I've been saying to everyone recently. What's
Yeah,
happened
and
in the last month
see,
and a half is pretty
here-
remarkable. All right.
What's up?
And he's talking to Craig now like he needed this conversation. Like he asked for this conversation. Like, I don't know. Like, he's lost. He's so lost in the sauce. He doesn't even know what he's mad about now.
DSP walked into his house and all of his friends were sitting around in chairs.
And he said, finally, you guys showed up for your intervention. All right, let's talk about your problems you all need to work on.
Yeah, DSP flips it on him. It's kind of a baller move if you think about it. He brought on Craig to discuss Craig's intervention.
Incredible mental gymnastics.
I love it, man. I can't do anything more to help you, Craig. I was here to be helped.
Basically, everyone for the last like 10
Yeah, he
years
does
who
love
really
the idea of being
to me
married
and
because it's a
hit
status
on me.
thing.
It's kind of all coming
I'm an
back.
adult. Adults get
Karma,
married. You're
you
a
know?
child.
Now, in your case, you're definitely not egregious. Okay, I want you to understand something. After today, I have no grudge against you whatsoever.
We'll see
all right?
about
I'm gonna
that.
act like none of this ever happened. Really, I mean it too. I'm gonna act like none of this ever happened. We're just gonna
His
move on with
face
our
when
life.
he
You're
said,
going in one
"I have no
direction. I'm
grudge
going in another
against you
direction.
whatsoever,"
All right.
This is
was,
But you
are
don't
nothing.
understand that, like, when you have a platform,
That's what that was.
you have a responsibility to be
That was an
responsible with that
intense
platform.
grudge, man.
If you were going to have the big definitive Dark Side Phil interview, and even if you thought I had lied the entire interview, which I did about
I like that
WWE
interview.
Champions, that's what I lied about, okay? You still have a responsibility after the fact to follow up. That's what you didn't do.
But-
you actually didn't do the most important
Okay.
part.
It goes back to my weird little thesis that DSP operates on these presuppositions and assumes everyone else has to operate on them. Why? Why do I have a responsibility to follow up? We're done, man. We're done. Discussion over. He just assumes we have to follow these rules. Why? Does DSP ever feel any responsibility to follow up on anything? No. Never. If he's done with it, he's done with it. Dude, what's up with this shit, man? That's really
Part,
world
what you
orbits
did was the
around his
equivalent of if,
kingdom.
let's say, Barbara Walters was going to interview
the king's rules are
a
different.
big prominent person. I don't know. We're going to make this up. Barbara Walters was
I agree
interviewing
with you.
Donald Trump, okay? And she does an interview with Donald Trump, and she hits him with all the hard-hitting questions, and he answers with bluster and everything. And a lot
Exactly,
of people don't believe
Cobain.
Donald
He
Trump
had
or
his
whatever.
responsibilities
The
too.
next day, she goes on a public appearance where she literally says, I don't believe a word Donald Trump said. He's an asshole. He's a piece of shit. I don't like his
That
hair.
does happen,
I don't
Phil.
like this. And then as she was doing it, all the sponsors of Democratic causes are sending money to the show.
I mean,
Because,
that,
oh,
it
this
would
is
be
great. She's
funny
ragging on
just to
Donald
see it
Trump, who we don't
happen,
like.
but yeah,
That's
I don't
literally
know
what you
about that,
did.
Phil.
That's not integrity. That's bullying for profits. All right.
Yeah.
And the fact that
She
you can't
bullied
admit
Trump.
that you did this, you say you're sorry it hurt me, but you're not sorry you did it.
Well said, Phil.
That just it speaks to your character. I didn't have to do anything. You literally just
Oh,
did
yeah,
it to
that's when he
yourself on
locked
the
in.
show.
Wow.
And that's
Phil.
the thing. I didn't have to monetize hate do
Oh.
anything. You're not sorry you did it. That just it speaks to your character. I didn't have to do anything. You literally
That
just did it
face,
to
man.
yourself on the
Speaks to your
show.
character.
And that's
Phil.
the thing. I didn't have
That's
to
when he knew
monetize
he was
hate
going to
against
tell
you at
Phil
all.
to go fuck
You
himself.
did it to yourself. And I'm not going to mind. And that's the character. You say you're sorry it hurt me, but you're not sorry you.
I want to see it in slow-mo. Oh my god, I'm actually getting mad. There you go.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. This is what I was talking about. I could not believe that Craig sat through this.
That just it speaks to your character. I didn't have to do anything. You literally
God.
just did it to yourself on the show.
That's when he
That's the
queued
thing.
up the
I didn't
attack.
have to monetize hate against you at all. You did it to yourself. And I'm not going to monetize hate against you ever. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be a decompression stream after this where we
Real
shit on
BR Joe,
you
you did nothing
at
wrong.
all. Because I don't have anything else to say once you're off this show. It's done. You did it. You did it yourself, my friend.
Just to be clear, so when Barbara Walters, who is dead, interviews Donald Trump,
Attacking
Yep.
character.
when
She
interviews-
passed away. Rest in peace. She
Okay.
was a great.
Yeah,
interview.
the dead
so-
person.
So she
Whatever.
has this
T.
interview with Donald Trump. Is she not allowed to talk about it afterwards?
Oh, she could talk about it, but she's not. Oh, she's not allowed
Exactly,
to
Dr. Greg.
monetize hatred toward the person she just.
Man, he
interviewed.
just
And here's
loaded
why.
up right there.
Here's why. No. Let me clarify why. Because if you're the interviewer, you're supposed to be fair and impartial, correct? During the interview. During
Were
the
we
interview.
not?
You were during the interview.
Then what's the complaint?
But then, if that interviewer immediately discredits the person they just interviewed, there's not one fucking person who's going to go back and watch the interview.
Then how about these
with a
dudes who
fair
interview
take
serial
and a
killers?
subjective glance at it and say, okay, so I will judge for
You just
myself if you told the
generalized
truth.
every
Okay,
interview
no one who watched the
into
interview gave me that
just a
shot because you
fact-finding
literally after the interview said he's a
mission,
bold-faced piece of shit
which
liar.
he
Let's
wants it to
laugh
be a
at him with his
fact-finding
detractors. Ha ha
mission
ha
to
ha ha.
find his
Ack, 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 ack.
facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your interview intention
DSP
originally
doesn't
was
watch
meant to
much
be
TV.
fair and balanced, and it became a
No,
hit
any of
piece
this shit
because of what
works.
you did after. And I don't think you've ever really consciously known that, but it is. It's a giant hit piece against me, and it always will be.
But that's okay. Look, I'll use
That's
an
your own
example
fault.
of DSP's argument where it didn't really work out that way. There was a time where what is his name? Oh, God. He would always tell people cut their mic. What was his name? I want to say Rush Limbaugh, but it wasn't him. It was the other dude. One time he interviewed someone who's I believe their dad was killed during the Twin Towers thing, the 9/11, second 9/11 reference. And the dude,
The Twin Towers.
yeah, the Twin Towers thing.
God.
This the minor fracas about that. That was really dark. I'm sorry, really, I'm sorry. I'm just playing around. Even it's gonna bug me. I can't remember his name. He got fired from Fox News. Not Rush Limbaugh, the other dude.
Tucker Carlson.
No. It was before that. It was during 9/11.
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly, that's it. Bill O'Reilly. He was interviewing this dude who his dad died during the Twin Towers attack, and the dude was very, very patient about it because Bill O'Reilly, he kind of had an objective with the interview. He was trying to get the person to vilify Middle Easterners. And he just wasn't having it. He just wasn't participating in that kind of approach. And basically just said, hey, man, the reason why this happened is because of all the histories with international policies and the Afghanistan invasion by the Soviets, and we helped, arm the Mujahideen, all these things. All these things happened in a way that this event was the end result of. So your attempt to try and get me to just condemn an ethnic group isn't going to work. He didn't say it that eloquently, but he was basically saying this. And Bill O'Reilly was getting pissed. He was getting pretty mad. And because this guy just wasn't participating. And then what happened after that interview? Dude, Bill O'Reilly just got on TV and started shitting all over him. Just hardcore shitting on him. And again, I'm not trying to make a case for or against any sort of political thing, but it's the exact same thing that DSP is describing. A person was interviewed, and then the next day the interviewer said, yeah, that guy's full of shit. He's an asshole. So, and did Bill O'Reilly suffer some sort of hit to his reputation for that? No. Not for that, anyway.
Phil,
Yeah,
you
that'd
did
wait
it to
later.
yourself, man. You had an opportunity with all this. If it's a hit piece, it's your words. Your words.
I was going to send you everything you
had a
asked
chance to
for.
talk. You had a chance to talk.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. You said with your own words, you thought it was a very fair interview.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
People
but
look
I'm
back
pissed
on that
now.
interview, right? And they
Yeah, that
are
was
upset
it,
about the
dude.
interview. It's because of the response that you gave. Nobody's going back and watching the monetize the hate stream, or no one's going back and watching the decompression stream.
Oh, I
What
thought it
they're
was a very
watching
fair interview,
is
but
the
now I'm being
DSP interview.
prosecuted.
And if they're
Dude,
upset,
the police
about
officer gave me
something that
McDonald's.
happened,
Why
or
am I
say
being
that,
arrested?
if they think a certain way about you or me or Adam because of that stream, it's based off of the conversation that we had then, and not based around anything that happened.
Yeah, for real. I never went back and watched
That's
the
main
Own the
point of contact
Haters
that people
or
are
the
watching.
follow-up video.
So look, you can try to put the noose around my neck all you want, right? And that's fine. Go ahead. If that's what makes you feel better, that's fine. But
Helps you sleep at night knowing that you felt it.
It was your lies that you told that led to the ultimate distrust with this stuff, Phil. And look, I'm sorry, man. Like, I hope that you can move past this. I hope that we have an opportunity to work together again in the future. I
do like his
genuinely
fuck it, we'll do it live.
Because
I kind of
do
tell
think
myself
at
that
your
every once in a
core,
while before I
do
start
think that
streaming.
you
Like,
are
fuck
a
it, I'm
good
doing it
guy
live. I
who
don't care.
just wants to play games and make
This
positive
is Craig
content,
just trying to
right?
end things on a
And you know what?
positive
I think
note.
that's extremely admirable.
Because that's what a decent
But-
person does.
You can't be upset when we talk about something and somebody
Let's see
super
how Phil
chats
handles it.
about it, right? I'm sorry
see.
that happened. And I'm sorry that your detractors gave us money, right? But you know what? It's going to happen again. It happened today. Somebody super chatted $2, saying, hey, did you hear about this? Should I give that $1.40 back? Right? Like, I don't know how to handle that, Phil. And I'm not going to apologize.
Yeah, I don't know what the correct answer
for
is, Phil,
people
because
who gave
if it's
us
the
money
correct answer,
because
he would do
they
it
felt
too.
we either
Phil
did a
never
good
does the
job,
correct
or
answer.
we felt like we missed something, or did you hear about this? I'm not going to apologize for that. I told you I will
A
gladly.
noose? I hope DSP tries it.
gladly give that
Man, which
money
one of
to
you
a charity,
goofballs was trying to add a
and I'll
noose
give
to
it
his
give it
Throne
to a
account?
charity in your name, right?
Oh,
But if
Damn.
you don't want that, that's fine, and that's totally.
I just
that's
want to
totally
say
okay.
I do not condone what you did, but I found
I'm
it
speechless.
super
You
hilarious
actually
anyway.
think that giving that money to a charity a year and a half later
See,
is
DSP,
going to
that's
somehow make you look
that's
good or
my
something?
political
Like, what are you
stance.
talking
I
about?
do not condone what you
I
did.
hope that
It was very
I
funny.
could care less.
See,
What
okay,
I
and
care about
This
is
I don't
helping
get.
you
Why the fuck did
move
Craig
on. Because
offer to
you
just give the
clearly
money
are
to
clinging
charity?
onto this, right?
As
And
if
like I said, I'm
that
sorry
implies that
that
you
this
did something
happened,
wrong,
right?
Craig. Like that dumb move. Dumb move.
Yeah, it is a dumb move. It's kind of telling that DSP had no answer to that though. But yeah, don't do that, man. You ain't got nothing to apologize for. You don't have anything to apologize with your wallet for either, do you? You don't owe DSP anything, man.
But I'm not sorry for the words that you said, right? Once again, if
Phil
somebody
acts like that's
has
fucking blood money.
feels a certain way about you, it's
You
based
owe
off
me
your
money,
actions,
idiot.
right? I'm live
Alright, well,
2 hours a day,
come get it, Phil.
5 days a week. People see me, they know me by now, right? I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So people have a pretty good idea of me and my character. And for you to attack my
Yeah,
character,
good point,
with all
Legslot.
due respect,
Why weren't any of these people super
go
chatting?
fuck
They could.
yourself,
Oh
because
God.
you don't know.
Okay, I gotta
I've gone out
go
of-
back. Can't
hey,
talk
5
over the
days
best
certain way
moment.
about you. It's based off your actions, right? I'm live 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. People see me, they know me by now, right? I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So people have a pretty good idea of me and my character. And for you to attack my character, I mean this with all due respect, Phil. Go fuck yourself. Because you don't know. I've gone out of my way, Phil, to treat you with respect via email the entire time. I've gone out of my way to treat you with respect and be courteous to you continuously. And I'm sorry that you're upset that I didn't check my email for 23 hours. I'm sorry.
Universal
like, I'm sorry that I was pissed that you were talking shit about me, right? But I hope we can move past this. I really do. And I hope that this helps you turn the page. Will it do it? Probably not. But one thing that I do really hope is I hope that people don't send you super chats in regards to me. But no, I hope people send you lots of money in regards to me. I hope.
Let's stop there for a second, because the whole anger that Craig has here when he finally says "go fuck yourself," and DSP says that it's a mask off moment, that Craig revealed who he truly was. It shows DSP's complete detachment from reality, because it's not a mask off moment. It's DSP never realizes that the people that he insults are actually people. That they have their own reputations that they want to maintain. They have their own character that they want to maintain. They have their own stake in the game. I know DSP says there's no stakes in the game, but yeah, there is, okay? And people have their own code of honor and their own system of values to themselves, right? And DSP shits all over all that. He cares nothing for that. None of that matters to him. So when a person finally has enough and says, you know what, no, never mind, this shit does matter, Phil. Kiss my ass. Oh, wow, that's a real mask-off moment. It speaks to your character, Phil. Sorry, were you saying something? I kind of talked over you. I apologize.
No. He's lost.
In the sauce?
People, I'll be the first one talking about myself, and I'll send you a super chat momentarily here in just a few minutes.
I don't want you to send me any super chat, Ray.
But I want to.
Well, I can't. Right? I can't stop you if you really have to do it. I mean, go. I can't stop you from doing it. I don't want any money from you. I don't want anything from you.
Man, how weird would that be to have your kid be
literally in a situation
getting shit on by the internet all the time?
You just told me to go fuck myself publicly on the stream. You realize that, right?
Why?
I didn't do it. You did.
Why? And you're so nuts. You don't see his point of view.
You did it. We were being cordial. I just had an entire show with Keem last week.
Dude, you were shitting on him. You were going for the throat the entire time.
And that never happened.
Did you attack Keem's character?
Oh, yeah. Of course I did.
Well, Keem's a loser.
He went back at me, and we went back and forth, and we hashed it out. Yeah.
Listen, then Keem should have told you to go fuck yourself.
All right, so there you go. Folks, there you have it. There you have it. Night and day. I mean, you can't. That's all. I mean, really, honestly.
Keem's trying to milk something out of him, so you just wait on that, Craig.
I'll apologize for two things. I'll apologize, number one, that I did lie to you during the interview.
Which
that was wrong.
To everything
exactly, David.
About.
That was wrong.
Yeah,
and
that was
number
wrong.
two, I apologize to the public that I lied for so many years, but I already did that last night on my own show, so they already know.
I lied to you, and it's your problem.
And I'll apologize to you now because we're taking too much of your time, and I know you got to get going. All right.
So let me close with this.
You close, and then I'll close, and we'll be good. Okay. You close first.
Then
I want you to really think about your actions here, right? Think about this logically, please. Do.
No, that's not going to work.
Why were we pissed the next day?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I'm asking you. Why were we pissed?
Oh, you want me to answer?
Good call, Imblows.
Well, it sounds to me like you wanted me to come clean on your show and get a really great piece of content out of it.
Exactly, Roman. DSP does operate on a level where he assumes everyone's kind of like him, and they're all just liars all the time.
When I didn't do that, you basically had a nothing.
It helps to justify his actions to himself. You know,
but it was
if you're in an environment where everyone's trying to kill you, you know,
but you didn't have
what's wrong with killing other people first, right? It's that kind of mentality. You know, if everyone's trying to steal from me, why don't I steal from them first? It's a toxic mentality, but it's the mentality Phil has.
That's why you kept putting me on the spot about send me the screenshot, send me the screenshot.
Hold up the phone. I didn't know what you were talking about for a second.
The interview. You didn't get it. You got upset about it, and that's why you didn't check your email, because you couldn't get the moment anymore in the interview. You thought you had wasted 5 hours of your time, and what you said was, "Well, now I'm going to get him back for that tomorrow. I'll make that money in this dice destruction show that we'll do on Friday." That's actually what happened.
I feel like we got a little distracted. Is it right for me to be mad because you lied to us?
Sure. And that also tells me where your head's at. We were mad because we were lied to. Had you not lied, none of this would have happened.
No, if you
were
just would have believed my
clear and
lies, none of
honest
this would have
with us.
happened.
Like you've been with like you were yesterday.
Look at
Everything,
look at him. Look
none
at
of
this.
this would have
This is
happened.
my favorite
You
part of
would
the
have
entire
moved
interview.
on, it would have been like, yeah, did we think it was full of shit? That's fine. And would the
For anyone who hadn't noticed this the first time, watch DSP's cursor down here. He's prepping up. He knew what he was going to be doing. He was thinking about it the whole time Craig was talking. The entire time this dude's trying, in the last moment, to try and get through to this shitlord. He had his finger on the trigger to end the call.
Friday stream have happened the way it did? Probably not, right? Would the monetize the hater stream have happened? Probably not, because
Linda
if
would
you
help things
just
out.
were
She had
honest
those strips.
from the start. None of this would have happened. So you can point the finger at me all day long, but at the end of the day, Phil, what's the old saying? You still got 3 more pointing back.
I hate that
right?
phrase.
Back at you.
I had
So
a
look,
teacher who always said that. It was really dumb.
I'll take
I don't
my
like it.
responsibility. I hope you look within yourself and you take some responsibility in this as well, right? And that's fine. I do hope that we can eventually work together in the future in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you come on Side Scrollers and we do a regular show. If you don't want to do
Okay,
with a
there he goes. He starts writing it up.
show that
Yep,
isn't,
yep.
Isn't whatever
Prepped,
you said, right?
readied.
You were extremely nice with your words, and by nice I'm being sarcastic right now. And when you told us to go fuck ourselves and all that stuff, so I would.
But don't
like
worry,
to
you're
give
gonna
you a
get
fair
another
shake
one.
someday on Side Scrollers if you're open to it. Like I said, I want to make sure that you and everybody else knows that I am open to working with you in some way, shape, or form. But
I want
I
there to
hope
be a
more
channel
than
too.
anything, I hope
There's
you're
nothing but
honest,
24-hour
not just
broadcast
with
of
your
Phil's
audience,
live stream.
but
That'd
with
be pretty
yourself
fun.
about
I'd
the
watch it.
situation. I appreciate your time today, Phil. I got some dad duties I got to get done. Thank you guys very
Yeah,
much. for
whatever
your
that
time.
is.
All right,
You were saying.
now hold on. No, before you go, let me say my piece too. All right,
Sure.
this
Shut
will be,
up.
it'll be
Shut
quick.
up, stupid.
I promise.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the end. There's no more feud between you and me. Do you agree? That's it. We're done. We can stop going
I
at each
mean,
other's throats.
I agree.
Phil, I haven't had a feud with you for 18 months, man. Like,
That's fine. Okay, whatever you say.
Exactly.
Monetize the haters.
It's a
but you don't have
one-sided
feud
battle,
with
man.
me. You want me to play Street Fighter with you. You don't have a feud with me. You want me back as a guest on your anniversary show because you know it's
Yeah,
going to bring
probably.
you hype and
And
attention
blows
from my
it. Wanna
detractors,
move
but you don't
past
have a
it,
feud
Phil.
with me. Okay? But okay, fair enough. You don't have a feud. But we're agreeing to this now. It's over, right? We're done. We're good.
it's over. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you were asking me now, a year and a half later, will I be a guest on your show? Which was
No,
what
I'm
originally was agreed to. Correct. Like, that's what you're saying. It was originally, that was the agreement. We were going to do the interview. And then after that, I was going to have the
Come on,
opportunity
Phil, just go ahead and
to
disconnect
be a
from him.
regular guest on your show like everyone else had been.
Set it
Correct?
up.
That was the agreement.
And after the
Well, he
interview,
still
I
wants
sent
to
you
get
that
his
email
point
saying
across.
like we were just disappointed, right? And the offer wasn't there anymore after the interview because we felt light.
As if we didn't hear
Okay,
it the first
so now-
five
Like I said,
times.
I hope we can move past it.
That's what I'm saying. Now that we've hashed it all out, right? We're all good. You're saying you're extending that olive branch, and you're saying that that opportunity is there again, possible. Not a lock-in, but it's possible that I could be on your show.
Sure.
Okay, I'm not interested. Go fuck yourself.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautifully
All
done,
right, guys.
Phil.
So
I like how he
that
set himself
is
off too. Perfect
the
DSP
appearance
energy.
of Stuttering Craig on the Level 1 podcast. I hope that you all enjoyed it.
Am I
very
interested
much.
in what else you have to say, Phil?
It was a good one, right? I hope
It's
that
incredible.
What is he saying?
And
Ivan?
yeah, way to
Beautiful.
closes out of the Discord call and just exposes the chats.
all right. For those who watched
Nice
the
job.
interview, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. And
Moron.
I'm going to be right back live on the stream.
Yeah, where does it
Okay.
exactly cut
Enjoy.
off?
It was I'm not interested. Go fuck yourself. But it's possible that I could be on your show.
Yeah, I want to slow it down. It's really spurky that I'm doing this, but I want to see. Sure.
Okay, I'm not interested.
Yeah, not you suck, Phil. You're so shitty. You don't even know how to leave and hang
He
up
didn't
properly.
even- Moron. He didn't even hear.
Yeah, you know what he should have done? He should have
Didn't even hear it.
reconnected and then did it. Yeah. One more try. Get out of here, Phil. You suck. Ugh.
That's news.
That's perfect. That's a perfect ending to that. It really is. I feel like I couldn't ask for a better ending. DSP messing up his own parting shot. Beautiful. Well done, Phil. He is an artist with stupidity. I guess that's the entire interview. I'm glad I watched all of it,
Amazing.
even though it was really lame in the first third. I like Craig getting progressively more and more frustrated. And that was beautiful. And then I love that facial expression right when he says, it speaks to your character. That's when Craig was done. Craig had enough of this shit. Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me, honey.
Oh, are we talking about our collab?
Oh, I thought that's what you were asking me about.
Come on, man. That was a callback, dude. It was a callback to the LTG collab thing because you did the. Man, I'm not gonna embarrass you like that. That's not enough. I'm just messing with you, dude. No, it was fun, man. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I love hearing people's thoughts on the guy. And I was mentioning this to you earlier.
Holy shit, we have 180 people in here.
Oh shit, we do. Oh god. It's 180 people who heard about my monkey search history.
Well,
the stream's getting taken down right now.
To us for as long as you have.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you to all heroes who showed up. This was a fun opportunity to cover the Craig interview. I think I'm more or less up to speed. I'm keep thinking I'm behind on some elements of lore, but I think I'm all right. And But that was fun. Thank you very much for joining me. And I mentioned this to you earlier before we started the stream, and I'll tell it to all you guys. I really love talking to you guys. I love talking to people about Phil. And even if it's no new information, I still love it because then I feel glad that other people had the same thoughts about Phil. And that's a beautiful thing. And I really thank you, Hines, for joining me and giving us your insights. You gave us some stuff to scratch our chins about. I appreciate it. And thank you to all your heroes again. I'll let you say yours. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say I appreciate it. I was nervous as hell before I came on because I didn't want to be boring or annoying. So I hope I didn't annoy or bore anyone. So really appreciate you having me on.
You have money, you scam
people.
You're going to spend it on burgers?
Unforgivable behavior. Toddler-brained.
Well, damn, I'm sorry, man. Look, I'll try and do better next time. I appreciate the donation. The criticism was a little harsh, but it was completely fair. I will try to do better on the next stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But no, definitely, Hines. I don't want anyone to ever be nervous on this show because you know why? Here's why you can't be nervous in the Detractiverse. It's because all these dudes are cool. All of them are cool. You know? And that's a beautiful thing. How often do you find that where a community where all the people in the chat are cool? You know, unless I'm there. No, I got you.
See, yeah, and that's that's kind of what I enjoy about this particular detractor stream or restream is you just in Pop's stream or in other streams you get a lot of aggressive shit. And this place is nice and chill.
Well, you just have to deal with me going on long-winded bullshit rants that lead to nothing, like that one. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll probably be heading out now. I'm going to be restreaming Phil tomorrow. Same bat channel, same act place, and yeah, what's he playing? He's playing that Marvel vs. Capcom collection, right? I don't know. Hopefully it'll be funny. But any last
come
words?
Over and subscribe to me.
Okay.
Come over and subscribe to my channel.
Sure. Post it. Yeah. Let's see.
If I get some people following me, I might start posting stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I encourage everyone to make DSP content. Always. The important first rule. Do not be cringe. Be cringe later. Don't be cringe at the beginning. But you won't be cringe. You're cool. And let me grab your channel, and I'm going to post it in the chat for anybody who is interested. There you guys go. Enjoy. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head out, everyone. Thank you again so much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow to restream Marvel versus whatever. And got Going Green coming next week. I'm gonna talk to my guest and see if he's got a game picked out, and I'll let you guys know so you can get properly hyped. And thank you everyone for being so cool to my wonderful guest Hines. And in answer to a question I saw earlier, what's the process to get on the show? I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really have an idea of what the process is, and I will work on that and hopefully come back with a better answer. And thank you very much, NWO News. Sorry that you're toxified though, but let's see. Try not to do any furious coping towards Phil. Not a fan of that apparently. What if I'm already cringe? Ah, that's too late, man. Too late. No, but thank you again, everyone. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Enough of the Midwestern goodbye. You got any final words for us, Hines?
Stay strong, stay positive, and remember, if you're acting pissy, think for a second. Am I being Phil right now?
Good advice. That's very good advice. DSP is kind of like the opposite of the "What Would Jesus Do" band. What would Phil do? And that's the answer you avoid. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic night. All right.
Have a great, safe, blessed day. You know what? I'm going to end this video on a really good, highly vibrational note.
Why should I allow you to talk when you don't support me? You don't give me any money to pay my bills, so therefore you're worthless to me. You don't have anything nice to say, therefore you're worthless to me. All you want to do is say snide comments, snide remarks, therefore you're worthless to me. You guys don't support me financially. You don't support me in a positive way. You don't encourage me to do great things. You don't fucking support me. So why should I support you and give you motherfucking assholes the right to say whatever the fuck you want? You don't get that fucking privilege. I won't let you have that fucking privilege. You want an opinion on this channel? Then donate some money. Put up or shut up. You want the right to talk on this channel? You want privileges? Then start paying my bills, motherfucker. Until you start paying my fucking bills, then you don't have the right, you don't have the privilege or the authority to say whatever the fuck you want on my fucking channel. Because I won't give you the privilege. Because if you're not supporting me monetarily, then you're fucking worthless to me.
Take care and be blessed, all of you. And may you find great light, power, and goodness within yourselves and redeem yourselves and just get out of the toxic minority, period. Be with the majority and be good.
Get a 60-day supply of the platinum.
No? You know what? I'm gonna say somebody in Russia just died, and no other just died with that second gunshot. Somebody really toxic. Maybe Putin died by his own sword. Anyway, we have cleared the air. Everything is good. All of you take care and have a blessed, safe day and night.